Ding ding, day 2 here on Racing Post Live. Dave Orton, thrilled to be back in the seat with you for another, well, how are we going to topple yesterday? That's the question, isn't it? But we will try to do so here on Racing Post Live with you until just after the cross country. Queen Mother Champion Chase Day? I guess that's what we call it, isn't it? Outstanding support from you guys out there yesterday. Don't forget, thumbs up, like and subscribe on YouTube. It's an interactive show. This is your chance to have your voice heard during the Cheltenham Festival. That's right, we'll shout out everything. Send us in all your tips. Let us know how you did yesterday. We'll be having a recap. What fun we had yesterday. Can we topple it? I don't know. We went off air after Honeysuckle. Not a dry ear in the house at Cheltenham. I hope you enjoyed all the content that came your way on the Racing Post. After that as well, we're playing for this trophy, guys, as well. We'll be doing that. Maybe you want to get involved as well. And you can see who's with me. But like I say, anything on Twitter, hashtag RPLive. Let's ramp it up. Let's have some fun. It looks pretty calm down there at Cheltenham at the moment, weather-wise. Will the rain come? Slightly quicker, of course, on the cross-country. That's our final race at 4:10. There's some belters along the way, including perhaps the hottest horse of the week. Is it possibly Impair Pass in the first? Let's find out. Get it up. We'll build your socials as we go along. We're going to see Best Odds Guarantee. We're going to showcase everything about the app. Enough from me. Let's move along the panel. Now, you might notice there's an empty seat here, actually. I mean, there's Bruce Millington coming back in, which you'll be delighted, no doubt, here. Natalie Green is stuck. There's no tubes in London today. And Bruce, this morning, I got from Marylebone to here. It took double my usual journey. Did you just have a nice, easy one in? Or
straight in, yeah, because I'm south, so we don't really have the tube south of the river, so it doesn't bother us.
It's all academical. How are you, man?
Very well, yeah. Well, it was so emotional. Apparently, not only was there not a dry eye in the house, according to you, it wasn't a dry ear in the house either. You need to get a doctor to look at that. But it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Did I say dry ear?
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Dry ear. Well, indeed. Listen, if you'd have been in this studio, your eardrums were pulsating, I can tell you, and all that sort of thing. Robbie Wilder's back as well.
Back, mate. I was going to say, it takes you back to the days of sort of wet willy and kids when I was in year 6. You know what that is?
Used to give a wet willy like Bart Simpson used to do, didn't they?
Yeah, you know what that is? Finger in the ear.
Bruce, since the last time you came on the show, it hasn't changed. Trust me. It's certainly, look. How is the day one gone for you, Bruce? First of all.
Well, I mean, from a sporting perspective, absolutely unbeatable, that, wasn't it? I mean, they're one of the best days of racing. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say it's the best day's racing I've ever seen. That
I honestly think that was the shout.
It was phenomenal. It was just ridiculous. Yeah. Constitution Hill being everything we dreamed of, and then Honeysuckle winning at the end. It was magnificent. Everything else was great, so I loved that, and also managed to end up in front. So from a punting perspective, it was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, tell us why, because this is a bit fiendish, this, isn't it? Because I asked you, I said, how are you getting on? You went, I wasn't doing very well until
Jazzy Matty. Yeah, there was. Funny enough, I played golf with a very good judge mate of mine called Lee, and he said, look at this form line with Jazzy Matty. He goes, it's actually got the beating of the Fav in the Boodles on this. And I was like, yeah, good, very persuasive. So I looked, and then obviously it became my own fancy, and so I take all the credit for it. But I think you were on it as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I gave Jazzy Matty and Biker a good show in the preview for the paper, so I was quite happy with that. It's always nice to get a big one on the board early doors because the pressure's basically off now.
Yeah, okay, so that was the Boodle.
How did you go? Did you win?
Yeah, I was all right. I was pretty good. Today's my crunch day.
Oh, is it?
This is, we all have a day, don't we, where you think, right, this will determine my week. This is me today. So you're going to get the thrill of going through that. We are what?
Good.
We're around about 15 minutes away from the Ballymore, of course, which brings up $1.5 mil, I think they had overnight. Probably just keeping it fresh.
So still soft, yeah?
It was spring soft yesterday, wasn't it? The times weren't bad, but
Spring soft. That looks like one of the things that you see on a can of cleaning fluids. Yeah.
Well, it's not winter soft or summer soft.
So
you know what I mean?
do you mean proper soft or on
It
the
wasn't.
good
I think
side?
it was. I think the only one was arguing about the surface yesterday. Of course, we had Henderson talking about John Bomber. Let's not go on about that. He was the only trainer that blamed the ground for him. I think so. It was a little bit tacky. Congratulations, by the way. The pressure's off you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I've been slagging off John Bon all year. I just think El Fabiolo is just a remarkably good horse, and he proved that. I mean, still there's a couple of things to work on in the jumping department, but the engine, he jumps well enough, doesn't he?
And we've got to have a word about Constitution. Did you play the race in any way from a training perspective?
Sit it out, really. Just sit and enjoy it. I thought Constitution will win by miles. I know there was some bookmaker offer that a lot of new firms are paying even money about Constitution Hill. That was obviously buying money.
You hear all these stories, don't you, of people going around all the shops and things like that. I think it was William Hill that went even, wasn't it, or something like that.
Yeah.
You could get a tenner on them. Some bloke went around 40 shots, but he Instagrammed the whole thing. So.
He does realise how much petrol is, yeah.
He ended up down on the day.
I could live near a city and then have to sort of go 20 miles from station to station. I'm not going to sit here and after time because no one wants to hear that, but I played the forecast. It paid about 1.85.
Okay.
I thought it was perfectly acceptable, and so it proved.
4 to 5 sort of price, yeah.
I was also on over 10 lengths, so Nico was a little bit economical late on. But then, to be fair,
there was a bit of chat about that.
I don't mind that because he's won the race, and hopefully he's not finished for the year. So what's the point of smashing him up?
The
Just
great
by
thing
12
about
rather than 9.
social media now and the Cheltenham Festival is that people get their different photos on, don't they? Of course, we were used to run the best in the business, Ed Whittaker, but now you get people, I don't know, I saw Niall Hannity, I think on Twitter, I don't follow Niall actually, for no reason, although I hardly follow anyone, but a picture of his came up on the timeline. He captured Constitution Hill at the last.
Amazing,
wasn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But did you hear Ruby as well? Ruby was saying that the horse was a whisker away from clipping the top bar and coming over. And I was thinking about that. Do you know what would have happened if the horse had come down? Everyone would have gone, oh, low sun, should have doled the hurdles off.
But it just shows you the fine margins, doesn't it? Because Benny DeJure he nearly Annie-powered himself, someone said in the comments yesterday. This was your big day last year, do you remember? It was a horrible day last year.
Commander of Fleet, wasn't it?
Shishkin blew out. Are you strapped to the seat, I was going to ask you, because this is when Bruce knocked it out the park. It was me, you and Brendan Duke, wasn't it? Do you remember him? And Bruce somehow got was it 50 to 1, was it?
Yeah, yeah, the Coral Cup.
You got anything special in that this time?
I don't know about special, but there is one at a decent price in that race that I quite like. And I also quite like an old horse later on in the Grand Annual, who we're off air for that. But I thought Battle Over Doyenne.
That's exactly your sort of tip, that is.
40s. I actually think there's a form case to be made for that horse.
Gigginstown horse. He's been to the festival a couple of times, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, and run well.
Yeah.
And
is he still Elliot?
Good festival form.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Good festival form is a theme of my fancies. It always should be. It's one of the most important factors.
As we saw in the Corach Rambler race, we're calling it now, aren't we?
I can quickly tell you, just so that viewers can realise how important this is, of the horses that won yesterday that had already run in the festival, I think the form figures were 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1.
It was an essential.
So, obviously, Constitution won last year. Gaillard Demesnil had 3 runs here and won previously.
Horse,
Honeysuckle's won 3 times here.
Yeah.
And then also in the Arkle, no, not the Arkles, one of the previous races, something had already won before.
Was it just El Fabiolo that didn't?
El Fabio, yeah.
He was the one that hadn't, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So if you've got good festival form, it is... Recent form's obviously important, but good festival form is worth its weight in gold. It's a totally different meeting. They run at different pace. It's a different course. It's a different test. And if you've shown you can stand the Cheltenham test...
Get through the bars and all that, a couple of horses went crazy,
Really
didn't they? All right, okay. So the highlight of the day was, of course, Constitution Hill. And there was a lot said in this studio straight after. As you know, I like to get the programme book out and all that. Well, this is the Bible, isn't it, of what we do with Constitution Hill. Turns out it's quite a popular topic. We'll see what Robbie and Bruce think. But they discussed it this morning. 8:30 every morning, of course, a reminder. We bring you Good Morning Cheltenham from Near the Track with DJ. Let's see what they had to say.
Natural to him. Like last Monday, was the first time in school since he ran a Christmas.
Jerry says, got to go
He went up over 5 hurdles once, that was it, and then ran the other day, or ran yesterday and jumped like he did. I know he was big and brave the last, but It's one of those very tricky now, isn't it? Because I'd love to see him go over a fence.
Well, you've guessed my next question.
It's going to be very hard not to try retain your champion hurdle, isn't it? Next year and maybe the year after. But I would just love to see him go over a fence.
What's your gut telling you?
Well, if I owned him, I'd be going chasing with him. Because I think he's better than some of these champion hurdle horses. They're just hurdlers. Your binoculars, your catches, few of them. But this horse is loads of scope.
Istabrack was just no ordinary hurdler as well. This horse could end up being one of the greats. We could be speaking about Constitution Hill in years to come in the same breath that we speak about Istabrack.
Yeah, and people are saying that Newcastle he was so low and slick and he doesn't give these hurdles much. I promise this horse has loads of scope if you want. I genuinely think he could improve again for a fence.
So do you think, in your head at the moment, is it even money each of two that he either stays over hurdles or goes over fences? Is it that close?
Yeah.
Really?
I have a feeling Mr. Buckley might be leaning towards going chasing, but Mr. Henderson might be wanting to retain his champion. Like Nicky just loves the champion hurdle. He just loves. I know he loves the Arkle as well, but he just loves speed over hurdles, just 2 miles.
9th win in the race yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Unbelievable.
There you go. A big topic indeed carried on this morning. I know you've been enjoying those shows right till Gold Cup Day. DJ and Friends with Paddy Power will be. So, even money each of two, they're basically saying. You could tell that Jerry McGrath, who's obviously got an in at Henderson's yard and knows the modus operandi more than most dual festival running rider for him, he said he's just not going to go Gold Cup trip and stretch him out, but he'd love to see him over events. Kevin O'Ryan says go and do an Istabrack. What would Bruce Millington do if he was Michael Buckley?
I would go over fences because I've got nothing else to prove over hurdles, and over fences is where you prove your greatness. So you go over fences. It's just a question of I'd start him off in classic novice chasing company, but I'd have him in the Gold Cup next year and I'd have it as an option. At the end of the day, what's the point of wasting a year? If he's as good as we know he is and he stays like we know he will, just bung him in the Gold Cup. What's the point of winning an RSA?
Because of course a novice did win the Gold Cup called Coneygree, and he's we love Coneygree, but this is
you're wasting a year if you just go novice chasing.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You're just way too better. So I don't know, Robbie, what would you do? You've been having a bit of mischief with this.
This is going to wind people. I've been saying this all week, but I would actually, because he's so good, he almost has nothing to prove over jumps altogether. I'd run him on the flat. I was going to say I'd throw him in the arc, but you've got to be an end tired to running that. But I'd love to see how quick he really is.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, they do talk about working with milers at home, don't they? Because nothing can get him on. That's a very unusual thing for Endo to say. By the way.
Wouldn't that be an amazing story if he was quick enough to actually beat properly flatbred horses?
A lot of people who haven't heard or read some of the stuff at the Racing Post or wherever, they'll go, that's absolute madness, what's this man talking about? But this is Michael Buckley we are looking at here, who loves his flat racing, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility, is it?
Cup, then.
I disagree with that, because that's a staying race.
Where would you run him?
I would aim him at the Champion Stakes on soft ground.
I mean, that's just that is mad.
Ascot Gold Cup, you're talking about 2.5 miles. He's 2 miler over jump.
It's hilarious. We were calling him the Frankel of the jumps. He could yet be the Frankel of the flat.
I don't think that's a race for slow horses on the flat. Why wouldn't you go for a race?
But what you're saying is he could win it, because Ross Bridie said, such could win this, such could win that. Marine could do this, and Constitution Hill could just win what he likes.
You'll never know unless you find out.
Right.
I'd run him in a maiden, a maiden, and then novice.
Stop being so stupid. Stop being silly.
Yeah, you're going.
Well, no, it'll never happen. But wouldn't it be interesting?
Of course, it won't happen.
Wouldn't it be interesting though?
No.
Oh, if he runs him in a maiden, what, a Brighton or something? Yeah.
Yeah, but
see that.
I want to see how he compares against a really fast horse on the flat.
Yeah, don't forget about how he's going to get to the Champion Stakes, Rob. That's when all of a sudden it does sound like voodoo stuff going on.
One thing's for sure, that's more interesting than winning another Champion Hurdle.
Well, this is the thing. Really so look, let us know what you think if you're late to this party or if you already have done. But we've got to hone in now. Natalie Green will be with us shortly. I can tell you she's going for Champ Kylie in the first race. There's what's coming up on today's show then. 5 beauties for you. The Wednesday, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Ballymore. What will we see? Will we see another real star coming from that? Let us hope so, of course. Then we've got the Brown Advisory, Jerry Kalama, warm order in that. The Coral Cup is going to be absolutely mayhem. That is Champion Chase. A lot more open than we thought at the start of the season, thank goodness. And we'll go off when it's cheese wedge time. And it looks like another match race for Gordon Elliott. Or is it? Let us know your selections. We've got to do a lucky 15. We've been partnering up with the Injured Jockeys Fund. We did a combination tricast that came in on the Arkle, so that gave us a bit of profit yesterday. So I'd like you to stick your best bet in that, and we'll build it if you don't mind.
Well, we changed the passcode.
Who's first?
Well,
you go first, because today's your day.
Shall I take the floor? This is my crunch day, and I think that Jerry Colomb is the banker of the day, if you have such a thing. He just wins, Jerry Colomb, I think. Are you putting this on, Robbie?
Oh, of course I am, mate, yeah.
Can you do that?
Jerry Colomb,
if you could just slow it down and do it, please, because we are showcasing the app. Look, Bruce, we've got some nice new graphics coming up. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, there's the app. Look.
Jerry Colomb is in.
Jerry Colomb, we'll have him in. Bruce, please.
ENERGUMENE.
ENERGUMENE. Now, just give us a little 10-second soundbite on that one.
Just different class, 4-9 to beat those two last time. A judging fall at the last halted his progress, otherwise he probably would have won that, and it doesn't matter that he didn't win it, it's just going to be too good for them today.
Robbie Wilders.
Well, I'd have probably gone the real Wacker and Edwardstone, but those races are gone out.
Yeah.
They're gone, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gone.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm a bit the cross country. I'm a bit. Yeah. Let's go for one in the Coral Cup then. Shall we? I'm a big fan of Phil Dorr. Off top weight, but Ben Harvey claims £5 off. I think he's wanting a trip for a while, and I'll elaborate on my thoughts later on when we look at that.
So who's
Phil Dorr.
Fedor.
Yeah, no, I can see that. That's a that last year's triumph's going to be a key form.
He's thrown a few darts again, Elliot, isn't he, at that off the mark yesterday, of course, with Jazzy Matty. And can we put Galvin in for Natty, I'm hearing, please,
Absolutely,
in the cross country? To beat Delta Work in that.
Galvin
They're down at the start.
Out to 3-1.
Yeah, there's a huge gamble there on Franco de Port, isn't there? It's almost second favourite.
He's a Grade 1 winner over fences for Willie Mullins. Willie Mullins in the cross country, you just don't associate it.
That's fours. Right, what we're doing? Lucky 15. Yeah?
Lucky 15.
£1 on.
Yeah. What does it pay, Rob? This will be.
I mean, a lot of them are short, aren't they? So.
That's all right. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm just for the each way element. I mean, I'm going to do £2 on the 15. Outright.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. We've got the profit to do it. That's the £30 outlay then, because again, once again, safe gambling is the MO. All this long week to go, and while we're not going to downplay betting at all on this show during the week, you've got to be very careful. Don't chase your losses, all that sort of thing. You've been waiting for this. You know your tips. Stick with it, but we'll try and put you on the way. Who wins the Ballymore? Well, Bruce Millington. There's a right tussle for favouritism now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the money horse, which is Hermes Allen. It's very difficult because Impera Pass could be absolutely anything. It's very hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, Good Land, if you listen to the trainer, he was so confident yesterday in that one, and he's equally confident here. Gaelic Warrior's been around, and I kind of like him. I'm not very confident here, but I just think Hermes Allen on what he's done so far. Tolworth win was good. I'm going to go with him. I'm
the same with you. Natty's going for Champ Kylie. I can tell you that. The Invisible Woman is going for Champ Kylie, who a lot of people have got some. That's a second string of Imperial Pass. Rob, all the talk about Imperial Pass. Have you been sucked into it?
Sort of. I've not backed him. The way I was looking, I've been changing my mind so much in this race, but I've eventually come down on Gaelic Warrior. I mean, there's been this thing that he jumps right-handed, but he didn't do it as badly at Leopardstown last time. And that handicap win for me sets the stand on this season's form. He was too big last night. He's more like the price he should be now. OK, Gaelic Warrior, of course, Tom Siegel's initial anti-post selection for this. Beaten in the Boodles last year and comes to have a go at this. It's always going to be his race. Patrick Mullins, of course, got the banker of the week for many over the line, didn't he, in the National Hunt Shows. Welcome along then. This is Racing Post Live. We're with you all afternoon. Great numbers on all of our outputs so far. On our YouTube channel, of course, and Twitter. Stick with us. If something happens at Cheltenham this week, we will react. All right, and Bruce is going to call the races today. Happy to do all of them today.
Very much so. Yeah, I don't mind. Unless you want to do one.
No, no. As a commentator, man.
Why not?
We've experimented with this, Bruce. It went terribly. Mustard.
Yeah,
absolute mustard. Yeah.
I mean, I gave it a go once. It's odd and it looks.
The Arch was giving it some bellowing yesterday.
Arch is good, isn't he? Yeah, he's talented. Arch.
Even Ross Briley was back on the show yesterday. Was like, give it to that man. Can I just tell you that the second favourite now in Parapass, he is a stinking price. If you're
second favourite?
He is, yeah.
Hermes Allen favourite.
Hermes Allen is now favourite on the exchange, yeah.
Who's at stinking price?
Yeah, in Parapass.
Well, as in no one wants.
Well, he was looking like he might go 6-4 at one point this morning.
I mean, we've been so the confidence seems to have evaporated.
Their banker, yeah. I mean, what do we make of this as a race? Is it? I mean, no one's mentioned Good Land. How good was the Marine National? And seemingly this bloke's right up with them, isn't he?
They're off.
Okay, over to Bruce then for the first.
Okay, so Champ Kylie, 2 mile 5 furlongs is the trip, and Champ Kylie's going to be the first one to rise. Takes her up from Hermes Allen. They don't seem to be going particularly frenetically. In third on the outside is American Mike, on the outside the double green of Imperial Pass. And then we've got the old grey in behind them, that is Marble Sands. On the outer going perfectly nicely is Good Land. And as they land over the second, it is still Champ Kylie making the running under Danny Mullins, being stalked by Hermes Allen. Harry Cobden. Nothing too much to report so far, chaps. Have you seen anything to catch your eye, Rob?
I know. What's catching my eye most is how how slick you were in the commentary.
Thanks.
See there, mate. I was watching your every move.
You've got all of them to come as well.
Champ Kylie jumped out to his right a couple of times, did he?
Well, we
Certainly the
isn't
first
it Gallic Warrior that we need to know about the straightness of his hurdling?
I keep missing him. I'm going to take a much closer look. He looks quite keen actually on the Patrick Mullins.
But they are dawdling, guys.
Are they 32 miles an hour? Is that dawdling?
It's sort of average, but for a Ballymore, I mean, you saw the Supreme yesterday. You know, that was a much more even gallop than this.
The mares was very slow early, wasn't it?
Just watch this then. So we've got Champ Kylie up there. Obviously, he hasn't run over the trip yet in Pair and Pass. At the moment, this isn't a searching test.
No, they're over the third. They've all flicked over that just fine. The one out the back is Persian Time for the McNeil family. Just in front of that is Master Chewy. But up front, still with his ears pricked, is Champ Kylie. With a slightly more head down posture is Hermes Allen.
I love the way he's going, guys, Hermes Allen, don't you?
Yeah. But I mean, I'd hate to think that anything wasn't going well. We've still got a circuit to go, haven't we?
Some of them just look a little bit like, I don't know, like out the back, a couple of...
Mind you, I backed the big breakaway yesterday. I mean, he
what happened to him?
Never going, was he? It was absolutely awful. Never mind. So as they jump, what will be the next time round? They're just coming up to it, and it's Champ Kylie still leading the way from Hermes Allen. On the outside is American Mike, on the inside is Impere Pass. In fifth place is Good Land. On the inside of that we've got Gallic Warrior, and then we've got the green and gold of JP McManus on Ho My Lord, and the last three are Marble Sands Mr. Chewy and Persian Time as they set off out. Away from the packed grandstands, there's a few flecks of moisture on the lenses, so there's a bit of rain in the air, nothing too torrential, and nothing really to report, is there, Rob? I mean, it's just they've all just been going along nicely. The market leaders are up there, so no excuses so far.
Harry Cobden's going to have to make a move at some point, isn't he? Because this is going to turn into something of a dash from 3 out, I think this is.
Do you think they've gone that slow? I'm not sure.
This is going to suit Impere Pass.
Slowed it down now, sure.
Good Land's got to turn a foot as well. He's travelling really nicely.
What's happened to Champ Kylie, yeah?
2-1 Fav in running, Hermes Allen. Look at
Gaelic.
This is what I mean. He cannot hold him hard enough, Patrick Mullins.
Yeah, there's a poor jump from American Mike on the outside. He's now pulled Hermes Allen out wide to challenge Champ Kylie. Impere Pass perfectly poised on their heels. On the inside of that one we've got Gallic Warrior, and also Good Land is going nicely as well. So most of the market principles are bang up there. Slightly untidy jump by Ho My Lord there, who's already got an F on his card. Who wins it from here, Rob?
I was just actually drawn to Good Land here. Impere Pass is looking pretty keen, Gaelic Warrior is looking pretty keen, Champ Kylie is looking kind of awkward.
There's only one horse that's key to this race now, and Harry Cobden is saying
Hermes
to
is
himself,
taking it up.
He is, because Harry Cobden's got brave man's game in his mind. Do you remember when Bob Ollinger, he thought he went a bit too hard and he just was running on empty? How much is that playing in his mind here as we come on to the far side? That's the question. Yeah,
coming to just at the top of the hill now, and actually Champ Kylie's forced his way back up there. Harry Cobden happy to let Champ Kylie set the pace as they turn to go downhill with 2 to jump. They are all stacking up behind Hermes Allen and Champ Kylie, from going ominously well in behind Good Land, and then on the inside Impere Pass. American Mike is hanging around. We've still got Gallic Warrior there as well. This is 2 out now, and rising first at it is just about, I think, going to be Hermes Allen. Yes, he is. Champ Kylie's still going well. American Mike's still going well. Behind those, Good Land is going well. Impere Pass is going well. This is going to be some race. This really is going to be good.
I think Hermes is beaten, isn't he?
About to turn in. Is he?
This is
no, I don't think Hermes is. Sorry, this is 2 out. Hermes is going to lead over it. It's not a very nice jump, though. He's really poor there. Impere Pass on the inside going well. Good Land has come off the bridle.
Is going well as well.
Champ Kylie is still in front, but Impere Pass comes through on the inside. Gallic Warrior comes in behind him.
This is all over.
Impere Pass is absolutely cruising on the inside. He's staying on the inside route. They're not coming over to the stand side here. But as they come down to the last, Impere Pass 4 clear. This looks like an absolute tool. Jinking a little going into it. He's absolutely fine. Jumps it 5 clear. Impere Pass is going to win the Ballymore as he likes. This looks absolutely superb. Paul Townend pushing him out. Imperial Pace is going to win it. Gallic Warrior is going to be second. In third, it's going to be Champ Carly. And in fourth, it is Good Land. Hermes Allen just about holds on for fifth. It's a 1, 2, 3 for Willie Mullins. And that is the birth of a superstar.
Oh, signed off in good fashion.
There you go. You like that, don't you?
Word,
You've got an afternoon of treats for this. Listen, that is the Ballymore, the first race on the Wednesday down. A 1, 2, 3 for that man, Willie Mullins. They called it the Banker of the Week. We wondered why he wasn't going to the Supreme. Now we know. I mean, that was absolutely sensational, Robbie.
That was really impressive. Considering how bunched they were, man in the home turn, he completely pulled them apart. Even the other two Mullins horses were well clear of Good Land, and where was Hermes Allen? Nowhere to be seen.
Well, if you think that Good Land is the benchmarker there, that is as good a Ballymore form as you're ever going to get. I think that is absolutely sensational.
Tell you what, Munir and Swade have got some horses at the moment, haven't they?
If Constitution Hill goes over fences, that is the horse that needs to go for the Champion Hurdle next year, isn't it?
Yeah,
Whoa.
for sure, yeah.
Whoa. I mean, Champ Carly's won a blinder. Gaelic Warrior, we know all about him. Hermes Allen went out like a light, didn't he? And
yeah, well, I just think the Irish Novices are just much better, mate. They normally are. And
first 8 in the Supreme. What's that? First 4 in the possibly the
I
first
think American
5.
Mike might have even been
First
fifth.
4.
Might have even been fifth there.
Oh, really? I'm
You know
not
what I mean?
sure.
So, I need to watch that back. I was focusing on the winner too much. But
No, I think he just about held on for fifth, Hermes. You could be right. But yeah, I think that was more impressive than Supreme win. And don't get me wrong, I like Marine National, but that was absolutely...
We're talking about
he
something
devoured them there,
completely
didn't
different
he?
gravy here.
That was really, really good.
He's
Champ
got the-
Carly got placed.
He's got the scope to go
look at the two horses
chasing,
he's
but
beaten there as well.
This is-
Gaelic Warrior, really experienced, had that top class handicap form.
Yeah.
And then and Champ Carly's come out and won a Grade 1 before that. So, and that was only his third start.
This is going to
a
set the
very good
rhetoric
horse.
for the day now, because you've got a sea of blue about Sir Gerhard in the next. Okay, you've got ENERGUMENE, who's already made his way to favourite, and we are hearing that Tony Bloom has played his card. We're hearing that there's a £400,000 bet gone
400k.
onto ENERGUMENE, and that
My
is
words.
It's a big day for Bloom, isn't
well,
it?
it is.
Brighton Palace
It
tonight.
is.
So we're hoping that I don't mind him. I want him to have a great afternoon and a horrific evening.
Yes, I'm telling you, I'm with you, Bruce, all the way. I mean, it was everyone's favourite Tuesday yesterday. The Seagulls boss is he's in for a biggie. And do you know what? You don't often see Paul Townend celebrating like that.
Gave it a big one there, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah,
he was
he loved
giving
that.
he was giving the Pro Cush a bit of this, and then
Well, he
got
was.
right up.
It's in stark contrast to yesterday, of course, when he came home looking so forlorn on thingamajig Facile Vega. Yeah, he looked very...
Well, I mean, and actually, he said that Facile took me to the front a bit too soon. He knew he was beaten fair and square. He made the mistake at the last, but I think if he'd have ridden it again, he would have tried to get a lead for a little bit longer. But that
Wouldn't
just
have won,
that
though,
was
would he?
just
But
no, he wouldn't have won. That shows you why you can hit a front on a horse, and if it's a superstar, they go clear.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Now that is also shows you why this game could be quite annoying, because I've just remembered that I backed Imperial Pass for the Supreme at 12.
Yeah, a lot of people did, Robbie, because
he'd have won that, wouldn't he?
he
Wasn't
ran.
even fav,
He was
5-2.
That's remarkable, isn't it? That is actually remarkable.
Hermes Allen going on favourites looking a little bit silly after that. Maybe an issue will come to light, but that was pretty flat.
Loads
The
of people
Nichols
out
horse.
there in the chat. Oh gosh, there are. I mean, we've had. I don't know. You should get it up, Bruce. The chat is absolutely sizzling out there. The community that we've got. There's actually one for you coming in here for Hugh Masson saying, has Steve Palmer recovered from the Weymouth game yesterday, Bruce?
Oh God, they got battered, didn't
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Don't they always get battered?
Yeah, they do actually.
Coming from a Watford fan. 06 Kylie says you have to feel bad for Daryl Jacob, you know, El Fabiolo, and I mean, but it's just the way it is, isn't it? We know from the start.
But it shows what a top man Daryl Jacob is. It was there yesterday,
Giving it the large,
cheering him home, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, I noticed something yesterday. I watched it on TV. I really enjoyed it. And as Townend came home after the Arcourt on El Fabiolo, he just looked across. He was taking in, the applause, and he looked across at the final flight because he was very concerned about Dysart Dynamo. And there was a lovely little shot where he's looked across and he's held his thumb up, and then they announced that Dysart Dyno's got up okay. So
that was a great
fantastic.
moment.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, all right, okay. So look, we're off and running here, and we're going to get firing on all cylinders shortly. What do we make of that, guys?
What price is that for the Champion Hurdle now, if you were pricing it up?
That's a good question. Let's get the market up, shall we?
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
3-1's your classic, sort of safe, sort of.
No, I thought 3-1.
I don't think anyone's going to be rushing to take that or go because
4-1 though. If you were 4s, Rob, and someone came up and said, "All right, well, I'd have a 4."
Well, Constitution was 2s on straight away afterwards for that.
I think 5s I'd have to consider. That's where I draw my line.
I think
your cut-off point?
the trouble is, of course, you know, Hendo being Hendo, he might fancy another year of hurdling with Constitution, in which case you've done your money straight away, haven't you? You're going to have to wait till the summer.
I mean, he's 8th with the firm. Mission controller telling me he's 8th with the firm. 8th at the moment with the firm. Because it all depends on what Constitution does, right?
And no one will commit until that, will they?
Well, State Man's still a very, very, very good horse.
That's true. Yeah, you are right.
He still won that by miles.
State Man, look, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Like, State Man is a very good horse, right? And he's been winning these Group 1s or Grade 1s in Ireland, but he's been beating his stablemates, right? Vauban and Sharjah. He was a county hurdle winner. This guy's done more than State Man had done at this time of his career by some
and he's not
measure.
finished yet.
And
that's
he's won that on the bridle.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
I mean,
I like that. I love that. And don't think, oh, yeah, but that was 2 mile 5. They've got to step back. History is absolutely full of 2 mile 5 Ballymore winners who go back and win the champion
It's the classic, isn't it?
Yeah. There's loads of them.
Yeah, there are loads of them. So what did we make of that? That was special, wasn't it? And that Matt Mullins at it again. How many's that for the week now? We'll have to have someone
3.
tell me. Is it 3? Yeah, okay. If you remember this time last year, it can change. Here we go. Okay, so this is interesting.
American Mike.
Paddy Power are going, champion hurdle, 8s from 14s. Arkle, 5s.
8 for champion.
Turners, 7 to 2. You're not going to go Turners.
Well, I assume that because we've not got the sound on, maybe Munir and was it Munir on the screen saying he might have said something about chasing then.
Which one did you
I
meet
met
at
Simon
Arsenal?
Munir, yeah.
Was it Simon Munir?
Lovely man, yeah.
You didn't meet Isaac?
And again, talking his interview yesterday, straight away he said it's a bittersweet win because we just hope Dysart Dynamo. Okay, he's a real gentleman. I saw him. I went to a rather nice hospitality lounge to watch Arsenal Palace.
Yeah.
And Simon Munir came up afterwards and introduced himself. And we had a really nice chat. He's a lovely man. He never gave us an interview when I was editor. I always wanted to interview Simon Munir, and he never would. But he's great. I didn't realise they interviewed him and Swade. Yes, I didn't realise Isaac Swade's American.
Right, no, they did not. Well, this is the thing. This actually came up on the story, and I counted. Look, Bruce will tell us tomorrow because I remember Bruce saying that he bumped into. I couldn't remember which one it was because they are quite elusive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, well, they're just private. I think they just say, look, we don't want people knowing our business. We just this is our release, and we don't.
Like the Donnelly,
so Anthony Bromley does all the media stuff for them, doesn't he? So you see him a bit more often.
Yes, you do.
Do you know where the gentlemen met each other to form this sort of partnership?
Well, probably through business. I shouldn't think they played badminton together. They would have worked together, I'd imagine, wouldn't they? That's favourite, isn't it? I mean,
I found out recently Keith Melrose plays tennis every Thursday.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I was supposed to racket sports, yeah.
Does he wear purple when he does it? Does he break all convention?
Quite ready to talk about badminton, I think.
Right, well, let's get news at 10. Never mind the budget. Keith Melrose plays tennis every Thursday. They'll be all over that, won't they?
The market's fascinating here. I'm looking at the chat as well, guys, out there, and a few people saying, what was Cobden doing? Kevin in particular, I've seen you out there having a right moan about it. I mean, what was Cobden doing?
What do you mean, what was he doing?
Well, that's what they're asking. A lot of people...
Riding? What are they saying? If he'd held him up, he would have won.
But this was the gambled horse of the race. No, I'm not suggesting that at all.
He should have made the running and gone harder.
I think that that turned into a sprint.
Yeah.
And he was the stayer.
I don't think it did. They went at a pretty respectable pace there.
I think from about 3 out
they were pretty closely bunched.
The way that Gallic Warrior jumped up, for me, that was a messy gallop.
Do you know what I would say about that race as well? Champ Kiley, considering how he was up there very early on, he's actually stayed on all right for
and there's
third,
a few people in the chat saying that he was the hare there.
Yeah, it's a good run, that.
He was there. Yes, and again, he'll be a lovely chase, won't he?
But at the same time, he's also 7 and the other 2 are 5, so...
We're going to be positive about that form, though, aren't we?
Yeah,
and the birth of a superstar, you said.
Well, I think birth of a damn good horse.
He's unbeaten.
He's unbeaten, and he took a big step up there. I mean, the reason I didn't back him or fancy him is that I just thought hype had got a little bit over the top there. If you look at the bare form, you couldn't really get a handle on it. You couldn't say, there's a line through that makes him really good or anything. But he was the absolute poster boy of the pre-Cheltenham preview evenings, wasn't he? I mean, he was the horse on everyone's name from kind of Belfast to Cork.
Yeah, oh God, absolutely.
I'd also give a shout out to the Model Kingdom, who was second to Punchestown, 33s for the Mares Novices tomorrow. So
absolutely. Yeah, she's held her form since then as well, hasn't she?
She's not actually run since then, but she shouldn't be 33s
she's got
on that.
The horse that beat that, is it Magical Zoe? That's in there as well, isn't it? That's been kept fresh as well. Yeah, anyway, I'm just looking at the Ballymore. Let's just look at it. I mean, Bruce mentioned, Forheen reverted back. Actually, since Forheen, you look at the winners now, it's been something of a sort of, I don't know, mixed bag, really. So Gerhardt.
Well, I mean, he's coming up next, isn't he?
So, okay, but we gave him a 154 RPR. Before that, we had Bob Oninger, who obviously had physically never really went on. Envoy Allen. So these have been sort of
There's
like
been a few disappointments.
the messiahs that haven't quite
Sandcrow?
gone there. Sandcrow, City Island.
So it's actually been a
where's he been?
a race that, you know, superstars have been born and then
York
haven't really
Hill
kicked
was
on
another
after
one.
that, yeah.
The new one obviously went on. Windsor Park. You remember him for Dermot Weld, and Willoughby Court, the ill-fated Willoughby Court. So it doesn't always go there, but you have to think that that is a Faugheen-like performance.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good race going into it as well. And the fact he's picked it apart, he's only 5, he's the least experienced of the ones at the top. So, yeah, really good horse. Not much more we can say.
All right, okay, that's done and dusted. But if you want to keep having your say about it, you go for that. A reminder of the free bets that you can collect here and your members club at the Racing Post throughout Cheltenham and beyond. Just go to racingpost.com/free bets. There's loads of them you can pile up there.
I'm a bit annoyed I got sucked into Hermes there.
Well, it was like I put Tamuras up yesterday in the Super 8, and now I'm feeling like, are we just going to do it? I've got to be careful that you don't get sucked into every year in January just going, they're just going to beat us. But this is what Tom Siegel did when we did our preview in here. It was his nap in Perrin Pass, and he goes, come on, Keels, you know what's going to happen. Hermes could run an absolute blind, and it's just going to come and beat you. And unfortunately, their novices are just streaks ahead.
And yet slightly odd that it was so uneasy in the market, because, I mean, he ran like a horse that would have been smashed into evens rather than drifting out and not even going off Fav.
Yeah, it's a strange old move.
Look
sure,
at this.
but-
Look, this is the RP Trophy that we are playing for this afternoon. 5 points for a win, 3 points for a second, and 1 for a place. And we're lagging along. We've got Mission Control. That's the gallery boys. They're a shocker so far this week. Don't worry about them.
Mission Control.
Natalie Green has got 1 in her absence because Champ Kylie and Robbie Wilders. There you are.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm still in the place part. Gaelic and Impera Pass. So
What did you do with Gaelic Warrior now?
Gaelic Warrior.
Send him over? Do you think he wants a bit further?
I don't know. I mean, before you were saying, would he get the 2.5 miles? He seems to get it perfectly well there. Just think, I mean, you could you could win a novice hurdle at Punchestown for him for sure, depending on where Impera Pass goes.
I wouldn't be surprised if we went up in trip looking at that.
They're both only 5. They're both a lot more to come. So.
Okay, all right, okay. We've got to move on then. And it is 2:10 coming up. It is, of course, the Brown Advisory. We're on the old course today. I'll get you the time from the Ballymore. We'll get you quotes as they come in from the track. Our roving reporters will be out there, not just the winners, not just the Mullins 1, 2, 3 trifecta, but also the beaten horses as well. They always make for interesting reading, and we'll try and gauge just how much the drizzle has got into the ground as well. What are you really looking forward to today? Is it ENERGUMENE?
Yeah, that race. Your show. Yeah, that race. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I think it'll be fascinating. It's always one of my favourite races. You know, you look back down to Viking Flagship and, you know, all those fantastic 2-milers from the Moscow Flyer and those kind of things, and Flagship Uber Islands. So it's just a great division. It's a proper division.
Is it a race that you've often took punting profit from?
I don't know really. To be honest, when I look back in the annals of history, it's more about how great the horses were rather than my punting. And I think this is a really good heat. I think it's really interesting. It was a race that you know me, Dave. I said to you last week. You say, who do you fancy? And I said, well, you know my tactic. I don't look till the night before.
I love the fact that you can do this.
I think so many people. I don't know if you find this, Rob. So many people go into Cheltenham and, like, you know, from say the Friday or the weekend before, and their heads are frazzled and they're full of bits and pieces of sort of.
Yeah, you do.
It's me this year. It's me.
And I to be honest, I kind of follow what's going on and I look at the performances, but I don't start trying to form concrete views on anything.
I mean, how Kills must feel, you know, after it's just insane,
exactly.
isn't it?
How we all feel,
I came in
mate,
much fresher than him, but I must admit, you said that to me, and I said I was envious at the time.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
on Sunday night when the decks were there and I know what the ground's going to be like, I know who's riding what. Then I can look and say, this is the race. I don't look at any other race, you know, 3 months before. I'm going to try and work out.
It's become such a different beast now, though, isn't it?
But
This
honestly,
week?
I think going into it with a clear mind is the way forward, and that's helped me with ENERGUMENE, because I was kind of thinking, Christ, I'll probably leave that race alone after last time. But then I looked at the race again, and it was such a fascinating race. There's so many interesting things. You've got Tom Cannon sitting too far off the lead because he's only interested in stalking ENERGUMENE. But for me, the pivotal moment is the final fence when ENERGUMENE absolutely clouts it, almost comes down. One of the most underrated things in jumps racing is the effect of a mistake. People just think, well, as long as he stood up, he's okay. It absolutely drags you on momentum. Yeah. It's kind of, if you imagine running along and every so often someone just grabs out and grabs the back of your jacket or your shirt and you just lose a bit of momentum, it really does butcher you.
How many lengths do you reckon he lost?
I think pretty much as per what he got beat by. Plus, obviously, they both gave Editor too much rope.
Yeah.
So I just feel with ENERGUMENE, Willie's not going to have been too fussed about that. Obviously, I know that the Clarence House was at Ascot rather than Cheltenham the year before, and I know that the horse that beat him was Shishkin, but he still came back from a defeat in the Clarence House to win this. He's 5 from 6 at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
I think Edwardstone is 1 from 6 at Cheltenham. You know, and Editor's just got a weird profile. So. Well, I've completely done my spiel on an hour too early, but that's the thing I'm looking forward to most today.
We'll have a whole new raft of viewers by then, mate, so we can just...
Oh, okay, fine.
Well, that is tend to be what happened. Let us know where you're watching out there. We'll build your socials up and start again. Loads of time in between the races. We've got loads of internationals. I've seen a few from Australia coming in. Don Jenkins, not a name I recognise. Great show. Listening from a beach in Colombia.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Oh, he's not doing too bad for himself, is he?
You probably, I don't know, Colombia. Have you ever been to Colombia? Anyone been to
No,
Colombia?
I haven't been to Colombia.
I've not been to South America, mate, to be honest.
My friend's daughter went backpacking and she loved Colombia. She said it was absolutely superb.
Every programme I ever see.
In particular?
No. She enjoyed the beaches and the culture and yeah.
Every programme I ever see, you end up bundled into some sort of, you know what I mean? I know, 4x4 and taken off somewhere.
It's not all narcos, I don't think.
No, okay, fair enough. But welcome along, Don, and let us know what your naff is.
Imagine being on a beach in Colombia watching Cheltenham. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Sat over pina colada.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see if these geezers are going to tell me exactly what I'm going to put my hard on now.
Only Robbie Wilder's ruining the whole experience.
Yeah, I know, absolutely, yeah.
Well, Nat's not here to ruin it for him, is he?
Yeah, Nat is incoming, by the way. You'll be delighted to
I would
hear.
be delighted.
Nat was there yesterday. Just something I want to touch on quickly before we move on and start looking in on the Brown Advisory. Can we... I mean, after yesterday, you said it was the best day's racing
I'd ever seen.
I think so. And it's very hard to put something up against that, you know.
You don't need to, though, do you, Dave?
Not really.
But
can we all agree now
that
that it really is all about Cheltenham, isn't it, the jump season? When you have days like that, of course it is.
Who denies it? I mean,
look at Honeysuckle's a great case in point.
Take this out of the way, though, because I always look forward a lot to Aintree, bit of Fairy House and Punchtown as well.
Yeah, because of course they're great affairs in their own right, but this is the pinnacle.
It is the one, yeah, but I mean, don't forget there's another 6 quality weeks coming up.
It's up to us, I mean, it's up to us to get the prize money so that these horses come out elsewhere if we want to do it. A bit like the Dublin Racing Festival, it's a great inception. If we want to see these horses doing it, it's quite simple. We've got to get the prize money up there. And then they might start thinking about it differently. But, all these weekends, like the weekends I think about, like the Classic Chase at Warwick, I love that weekend in its own right. But the supporting races and the cars, it's just miles down, isn't it?
But the trouble is, of course, all the good horses are in Ireland. So, that trend looks like it's going to continue, doesn't it, right now? Everybody wants Mullins or Elliott or de Bromhead.
If you're Paul Nicholls now, how are you feeling?
Well, he's had a bad time, hasn't he, so far? I mean, he's obviously yesterday wasn't great. He really would have pinned his hopes in Hermes there. He's still got Brave Man's Game to look forward to, but yeah, I'm not sure I'd be grabbing him for an interview if Brave Man's blows out.
There's a theme running, isn't there?
What I love about Paul Nicholls is his passion, and obviously when things go wrong, then the disappointment must be absolutely crushing, mustn't it? But he generally still fronts up. I mean, he's an incredible guy. And I'll tell you one thing of talking about trainers yesterday. Saw an interview with Willie before the first yesterday, and even Mullins, you could tell he was nervous. You could tell. And Willie Mullins is the world's most laid-back human, but you've just a little bit of tension there. Whereas Hendo was an absolute wreck. I mean, and of course he's going to be, isn't he? I mean,
yes.
There's no enjoyment with training Constitution Hill. It can only go wrong, can't it?
Yes, I was reading some comments from Charlie Swan, who was asked yesterday when he was at the track about what he thought about Constitution Hill debate. He said we can't compare the years. I think that was the straight bat answer, because what you don't realise is how difficult it was for Istabrack to come and do that 3 times. Of course, you remember when he pulled up on the 4th because the physicality started to go wrong. That's the key now, isn't it? And that we've got to get these horses back to the track, So what goes into it, stuff like that, it's so hard. So Honeysuckle, while all these people that said, well, she wasn't actually that good, actually coming and winning all that stretch of races and coming back, it's a remarkable feat.
Why would you like horse racing if one of your opinions is that you're so happy to actually speak and verbalise rather than even think? Oh, Honeysuckle wasn't that good. Shut up!
I know.
It's just pathetic. Why are you a racing fan if your conclusion of it is that Honeysuckle isn't that good? That's just pathetic. I can't have people like that. I can have people who say, look, if you're analysing the form from a perspective of having a bet, she's of questionable value sometimes. But it's the way people go, oh, she's never beaten until she's rubbish. I can't just go away with your pathetic negative opinions.
The fact that yesterday I think that was the best mares. All mares
By
race
a
I've
million
ever seen.
Absolutely. 24 Grade 1 wins.
Tell me a mare that wasn't there that's in training. It was
fantastic.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
And also, I don't think you could say that Constitution Hill's win was devalued because Epitome wasn't there or Honeysuckle wasn't there. We know that State
Yeah, he
Man
beat the
covers
right
all of
horses,
those
yeah,
off,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was fine.
She ran the right race.
Totally.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing left to prove. Retire,
Totally.
just chill out now.
All right, well, Willie is right in the huddle at the moment, getting interviewed. We'll get the quotes coming your way, as
What a gentleman,
promised. Let's get some socials up. Let's open it up. Who's coming up? We've already had Don in Colombia. Who else have we got coming up? I was promised some socials. Mission Controller putting them up right now. Scott Fleming, welcome along. Watching from my apartment in Amsterdam.
You ever been to Dan?
There's a link here, isn't there? Colombia and
I was gonna
Amsterdam.
say,
There's a bit of a link going
Just
on.
in Marbella for the Holy Trinity.
It's a party after all, Cheltenham, I suppose. Max says, punting from Bangkok.
international show, isn't it?
I hope punting means what it does over here, over there, Max.
Someone
I
from
can tell you.
Magaluf.
No, this is a
And
wind-up
what the
now.
frock?
This is a wind-up.
What the frock says, watching from a laptop in Bali.
There's absolutely no way that all
superb.
these people are in these places.
Surely there must be someone in like Droitwich or somewhere watching this.
Great Dunmo with G-Rod, absolutely. Oh,
It's an
marvellous to have you
international
out
show. I
there.
don't care what you say,
Oh,
mate.
absolutely. Jet setters that we are, quite right. I've never been to Bali. I must have got a mate that went
looks
there recently. It's a
gorgeous.
right old trek to get there, but it looks absolutely superb.
I could see you there, mate.
My son's girlfriend is Australian, and that's their sort of Tenerife.
Ibiza, isn't it? Yeah.
And she says that it looks nice in the brochures, but once you get there, it can be. It's not as nice as you might think. Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm getting a lot of chat from colleagues that are listening to this show, and they're like, "That's absolutely got me." Jamie John Bon Philby out there punting from Bangkok. It's absolutely superb. Let's keep it going. Let's have some fun. It's a celebration of the greatest show on earth this week, and 50% off your members club. That's the offer, isn't it? $19.98 for your first 3 months. Dean Gripton brings it back. Thank you, Dean. To the Brown Advisory. How is this real whacker so short? Robbie Wilder's taking the lead.
I was thinking,
take the floor, my friend.
it's more like Dean Gaffney, mate. I mean, the real whacker should be shorter than 7-1 for me.
More like Dean Gaffney. It wouldn't be surprising if he turned up on this show one day, Dean Gaffney. He's on
Well,
everything
tell
else,
that to
isn't
open a packet of crisps, that fella, wouldn't it?
he? Yeah, the Grippers is not going to be happy with you,
I
rather.
disagree with Gaffers, to be honest.
Those grippers.
Grippers.
Yeah, no, I'm calling him Dean Gaffney now
Okay.
after that comment. Yeah, I just think he's the best jumper in the field from what we've seen. I think that did perform pretty strong. He's the best of the British. RPRs, he's dead level with Jerry Colombe, dead level with Time Hill, dead level with Gallia de Lito when you're taking the mares. So Gerard's price is what's confusing. He's the one that's too short.
A lot of chat
5 to
about
2.
this bloke doing a Coney-Gree, who we mentioned, of course, and doing what G-Rod hopes that Constitution Hill, and lots of people will be thinking, just go and win a Gold Cup and make it the ride that with our dreams.
I mean, they made the right call, haven't they?
He won the Dipper, which in the last, how long has it been run at Cheltenham now? Since they moved it to Cheltenham, it's become a serious pointer towards success.
Yeah,
even beaten horses run it. Long Press, they obviously came and did this last year. So the real whacker, he's going to try and get out in front, and he's got his ground. Sam Tristan-Davies got a great efficient. I'll tell you what, he's probably the most imposing looking horse in this race.
I think he's a certainty to be in the first 3.
I think he's a really big each way better.
Yeah,
So should we put this on for the jockeys, funny? Because Robbie's leading the way somehow with the trophy hunt at the moment, despite the fact he sits right in its rightful home next to me.
I thought you guys liked Jerry, no?
Well,
I don't. I put. Pardon me. I put up Sir Gerhard just because he's got 2 festival wins in 2 runs, and I don't think he's done too much wrong since switching over to fences. So, but he's short now, isn't he? I mean, if I'd known it was 5 to 2, 7 to 1, I'm all over the whacker.
Yeah, absolutely. Segura, he opened up about 11 to 2. If you're on that price each way, then fair enough. But I don't know. Is it 3 miles? That worry me a bit.
It's not very good. I don't think it's a very good Brown Advisory. Do you? I've seen better.
I think it's pretty good.
Really?
Well,
I think it's better now that the
better,
whacker's gone in there.
The
But
top 4 in the betting are very interesting horses. I've backed Jerry. It's one of my bankers of the week. I think I got something like 9 to 4 after he won at Sunday. So I've got a mate who's absolutely infatuated with this horse. His name is Dan, the United fan. He always calls himself. He's infatuated with this horse. And he tells me this is going to be, like, 2 years ago, this would be a Gold Cup horse and all that sort of stuff. He was watching the decks. He was on deck watch at Sandown when he ran that day. And he was like, is there enough rain and all that sort of stuff. And when this won, we were so infatuated. I was in this studio, but we were proper fingers on the buzzers, and we were just waiting to see whether he was. There was talk about him going for the National Hunt Chase and things like that, and Turners straight away afterwards. We knew he was going for this race. I think I'm on around about 9 to 4. I've kept going in if I've got to be honest. I've saved on one.
Go on.
Because the rain has come for Gallia de Lito.
Yeah, that's my friend. Whoa, 18s though. I backed her at 20s.
This is a skeleton thing why she's this price. I wouldn't worry about it at all. She pulled the only blip on her form this season is when she ran in the Corto Star behind Time Hill, but just nothing went right that day. She's unbeaten on a left-handed track. She gets the mare's allowance. She'll stay all day. She's a cracking jumper. I don't think she's slow either. I could have seen her in the mare's chase as well.
Yeah.
But I think she's potentially the danger for me.
I must admit, I thought she'd be around 7 or 8 to 1. To be honest.
I don't like Sir Gerhard.
You don't?
No, I don't. I don't like 8-year-olds in this race. We've got a 9-year-old in this race as well. It's like the equivalent of a pensioner running in this, isn't it? That's Time Hill.
Are we in agreement that the real whack has a very good chance of getting the first 3?
If you would like to put a £10 each way bet on, Rob,
yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
please do. And showcase this, please, if you don't mind, on the app.
Of
You're
course.
accused sometimes by Mission Control of being rapid. You're too good on the app.
Too slick.
We need to
Tech-savvy Wilders.
We need to take a breath
The wager is on.
and show people to do it. Okay, the wager is on. Did Mission Control get that? I know they're scrambling around in there. It's all kicking off in Mission Control out there.
It's on, baby.
Okay, all right.
What do we
well
think,
done.
though, Sir Gerhard? He's 2 from 2 at the festival. He just about won the bumper, didn't he? I don't think it was a vintage bumper. And then he won the Ballymore last year. Again, potentially not the greatest running of the race
He's
ever.
surprised he's not
but
running the Turners.
No, he did make a terrible error on his chasing debut.
It was the third.
And he made another couple of fiddly ones.
If
the
they'd
real
have been the
whacker,
fences of old, he might not be here if he'd have jumped it on the fences
the
of
real
old. It was that
whacker
bad.
will get horses under pressure the way he
I
runs.
don't. There's something about his head carriage, Bruce, that I didn't like. I don't know why.
who?
Sir Gerhard. I didn't like the way he went around his racing. I know he's got a serious engine.
It's one of those things I don't care about.
He just looks a little bit.
Have your head wherever you like, as long as
He
you
looks a
nose
bit
in
like a
front of the
giraffe to
line.
me. Yeah, well, that'll be a big nose for you. I just wasn't sure. I don't know if this was the plan for him.
He doesn't have plans, Willie.
You know, he's rated officially £1 higher
doesn't
than
he?
Jerry Colomb.
No, he changed his mind an awful
I'm
lot.
not surprised. This Jerry Colomb, I mean, there's a string of ones by his name, but I don't know.
He's a magnificent beast.
So what?
He keeps winning. He
So
only
what?
He's more because he's going to win.
What, you backed him to win Best Turned Out?
Well, that,
Who cares?
No, I'm not saying he looks like a magnificent beast, although he is a great-looking horse. What my point is, this is a magnificent horse in the
The
making.
form is now there. It wasn't there until this season. He's won 2 Grade 1s. It's now there.
Did you
All
rate
right.
the Sandown form, the Scilly Isles?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, I bet Balco Coastal in the Turners tomorrow. Well, I think Mighty Potter will take a lot of beating. I think he's definitely the danger. I've got serious prices about him. It's one of those smug bets that never comes off. I'm on 25s in him. I think he's about 8 now. Maybe less than that. I really rate it. I think that Thunder Rock
I
and
think he's ever
reopposes
so
here.
short, Jerry.
Thunder Rock gives you the line on the
I do
real
as
whacker.
well.
I think he beats him.
think he's ever so
this
short.
horse, watch it back. You can do it in your members club. You can watch it back. Every time he looks beat, he keeps putting up
Sandown.
more.
I was
And at
gonna-
Limerick over
Yeah, I was
Christmas.
going to say Jerry rally well. He does rally well, doesn't he? I will say that for him. But
I'm on the Jerry and Eddie show today. We'll work out which Eddie a little bit later on. Okay, let's take a pause for breath. I'm telling you that the Queen of RP Live is about to walk in the studio. After this.
Okay, Tracy.
All right, you got it all. So much great output coming your way. So much to get involved with here at the Racing Post. If you're enjoying the show, like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's etched on my retinas how to say that at the moment. But let's hope you're doing it. All the likes and the subscriptions going through the roof. The numbers were fantastic yesterday. Stick with us. We've just seen a superstar born. We've just had a superstar arrive. That was a tenuous link. I didn't know I was going to do it. You've been having pelters from these two since you walked in as well, saying 7% off the fee.
No,
and all that sort of
not at all, no.
Robbie, I said the RP
been
Live
hard
Queen's
work,
about
mate,
to come in.
to
He
be
said
honest.
Kate Tracy's about to walk in. Welcome.
Hello.
I knew what you were wearing because you've been, the reason why you're not here, you've been Instagramming yourself at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Modelling all your clobber.
Listen, nothing's going to dampen my spirits today. I've had a nightmare journey, 5 hours, 25 minutes. Everything was cancelled, everything physically possible. But very excited to finally be in the studio. Very sorry that I'm late.
I mean, I gained
know
how to
I'm
get in here with
happy.
you last week and you still managed to mug
You
it
know
up.
me, I'm pretty laid back, so there's no point getting stressed, is there?
No.
Sure isn't. No, it's fine.
No.
We're okay. We're
No.
all right.
I
You're-
knew you'd be absolutely fine.
No, you're sort of carrying a bit of extra at the minute as well, aren't you? And how was
the lift was-
well, she is.
The lift was also broken at the train station. I'm 7 months pregnant and my bag is
7 months?
I
Yeah,
know.
and my bag is
This is-
28 kilograms.
I know.
So I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to smack someone in the face today. But then I thought, be nice, Natalie.
Yeah.
Just be nice.
Come on, it's the best day's racing ever yesterday and you were present.
Do you know, I was going to talk to you about this. I got berated on Twitter for saying the day I did a piece with Constitution Hill was my best racing day ever. And I stick by that. To get to have met
The
him
fight
at
in Fifth Day,
Newcastle
yeah.
and stroke him and speak to Jaden and walk back to the stable with him and look at him and actually feel like I got to know him. I mean, it was an emotional day yesterday, Constitution Hill, but the story was honeysuckle, if you like.
You were there. Tell us about it, because obviously we get it all, and we were
Well,
feeling
you
the
could
vibe.
see on the screen Rach just her spine curving, hugging Honey, because I do think their affinity together is just incredible, and the narrative of the day just kept getting better and better. And it was one of those days where usually we'd go and have a hot chocolate or hot chocolate or champagne or whatever, but literally we were parade, race court,
Was it a bundle?
racetrack, because we just wanted to see. I wanted to see everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Lucinda, what a day for
Fantastic, wasn't it?
And I think just before I came in, you met a horse with a high head carriage. Is that the real whacker that you've
No.
got?
Sir Gerhard.
Oh, because I've gone off that stat. I keep saying Cork Rambler's got a really high head carriage, but it doesn't stop
matter.
it from
Doesn't
winning.
matter.
It doesn't stop it from
Doesn't
winning.
matter, honestly.
So it doesn't matter.
More lose than they win.
So
Trust me.
anyway, sorry, I've just filled like about 4 minutes of your time, haven't I? So,
You had
so
Champ
much to
Kylie in the
say.
first. You got a place there. You got a point on the board. You'll be thrilled to know, because I know how competitive you are about this. You're with the Wheel Whacker as well as they start to amble round for the Brown Advisory.
Great news.
That was to you.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right.
So, no, can you actually speak?
Hello, Natalie. The real
Probably just
whacker.
need to lie down after this.
Cheltenham record obviously had that eventful, started with the trainer, then went to Anne Duffield, then back to Patrick Neville now. It's the jumping I like. Very, very good jumper. Of course, Sir Gerhard could come and win this. Would I be surprised? Of course I wouldn't
That's
be
what Bruce is
surprised.
on.
Of course I wouldn't be surprised. Sir Gerhard's so,
He's slightly
classy.
weak now, Sir
Look, there's
Gerhard.
confidence going into this. Yeah, lack of runs, lack of this, whatever. Baloney, because he's had plenty of experiences point to point, so that's a load of rubbish. So Sir Gerhard, no surprise. Jerry Klom, yeah, follow the voice, follow the money. I mean, we don't know how good he is yet. Yeah, I stepped up to 3 miles as a big positive. Cracking looking horse, but for the
He's
jumping,
a cracking looking horse. Magnificent
cracking
beast,
looking
isn't he?
horse, isn't it?
He's a magnificent
Why do
beast.
it is there, isn't it?
We need to talk about Time Hill before we start.
He's
'cause they're
coming in for
almost
money,
off,
Bruce.
and there's money for him.
We could defy the stats,
I
9-year-olds.
I can't particularly have Time Hill.
And
'cause
not in a million
I
years.
thought that race fell apart
Yeah, it
at
did,
Kempton.
yeah.
I did our
Jump
preview.
better though at Kempton. Jump better.
It
than
did
the
jump
Oh
previous.
yeah,
It
if
did.
you go back to Newbury, it's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have him.
We did our
I agree
preview,
with
and the
Bruce.
three of them
Flags
looked
up.
at me like I was mad because
Well,
I
that's
couldn't
me,
have him.
Guinness 0.0.
I'll tell you what, guys, I've
Very
got
nice.
to also commend Cheltenham for their punctuality. I mean,
Yes.
they were getting them off ridiculously early yesterday, and here we are at 2:10
right.
and 4 seconds, off and running for the Brown Advisory Novice Chase over 3 miles, half a furlong on the old course. And the Real Whacker is the first one over the first fence from Bron in the double green. That was the colours carried to victory in our first race by Impere Pass. Bron is a slightly bigger price to double up. On the outside, number 11 is Gallia de Lito. On the inside, we've got Jerry Colomb. And then the grey Ramesses is in 5th place. Being held up outside that is Thunder Rock. Time Hill just been ridden into the first one there. And then we've got I Am Maximus. And out the back, Sir Gerhard. Are you happy? If you're on Sir Gerhard, Robbie, Would you be happy to see Danny Mullins? Not Danny Mullins, Paul Townend at the back.
He's probably ridden to get the trip, isn't he? Off the pace. I don't know how quick the pace is, but I did know.
31 miles an hour.
Hey. The real whacker didn't jump as nicely on the first one as I expected. I was saying I think he's going to keep making ground up offences, but he was better there. I'm liking his position. I'm liking my other selection, Gallia Lito's position as well. Yeah,
Gallia Lito has got herself into a lovely position. She's right up against Jerry, isn't she? Jerry's done everything right so far. This is Patrick Mullins and Gaillard de Menil, what Paul Townend's doing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
right out
it
the back.
Actually giving him a
That
lot
was
to do.
great, actually.
Well, we'll talk about that because I think Patrick Mullins got very lucky there. But what's caught your eye here?
Slow behind though with his back legs.
He was there, and Time Hill wasn't great either, guys.
Slow, to be honest. If you just the real whacker, I love this. Ears pricked. Just that lovely sort of bright bass and a nice.
Townend's not happy.
Wouldn't want to be on Sir Gerhard here, would you? I don't know.
No, his ears are a bit back on.
That's what I mean. He's got a funny way of racing. I don't remember him being like this at Gowran. I just wasn't taken by the way he went around his business.
Right,
A bit like me on the train. He's a bit like meh.
What, crowing?
Right, coming to the ditch at the top of the hill, and the real whacker leads them over from Bron. In third is Jerry Colombo, and on the outside in fourth is Gallia de Lito. On the inside, we've got the Grey Ramesses. On the fence is I Am Maximus, and in behind those, we have got just the others, really. You know the names, don't you?
Thunder Rock, adamantly chosen.
Who's Ramesses?
I Am Maximus.
Ramillies. All right.
Oh, come on, you didn't mug me off.
I would have done it, yeah, of course
I don't know what
valid.
to be in running, but
A lot of people saying
Jerry
that-
Colombo looks good at the moment.
He's gone. Even money's about to go on the
I
exchange
can
at the
see
minute.
absolutely why he's in it. He's in a lovely position. He's
So jumping
A little
again.
mistake from Gallia there.
So up front, it's Jerry and the Pacemakers. The Pacemakers are Bron and the real whacker. And then in behind those, going really nicely, Harry Skelton on Gallia de Lito. Ramillies is on the inside. Thank you. Tynehill's being sort of bustled along to stay in touch, and still out the back, sitting very quiet, is Paul Townend on Sir Gerhard. I wouldn't want to be that far back, but it may be an absolute masterpiece. I guess it does show, as Robbie said, that they're just riding him to get the pace. So they come into the home straight, and the real whacker is setting the pace. Up front, he's going really, really nicely. No harm done at all. There's about 7 lengths between first and last, and for novices, they're jumping pretty well, aren't they, Nat?
They are. Jerry Colombo got a bit tight into that, but that's
First
okay.
semblance of an error.
But it's an error you can forgive.
He recovered the
Knees
next
got in,
fence.
just got a little bit, but they can get tight to them. That doesn't bother me so much. He's not sort of taking the birch out with his back end. They're just starting to form that little bit, aren't they? The first group here getting a little bit detached from the ones in behind. I still think the real whacker is jumping really nicely. I am surprised to see Sir Gerhard at the back of the screen, but he doesn't look quite into it
He's
today.
getting very low.
It would be a hell of a ride. I mean, we've seen wondrous things before, but yeah, they're just starting to bunch up a wee bit, aren't they? These.
We've got a gang of 4 at the front, haven't we? And the real whacker just injecting a bit of pace there. Bron wasn't too tidy over that. Jerry Colombo has got these 2 in his sights and still going nicely is Gallia de Lito, and then there's probably 4 lengths back to Adamantly Chosen, who is making ground and trying to bridge the gap to the front peloton. Jerry Colombo just slow into the water there. Just he's dropped 4 lengths off the pace
again
there.
Outpaced.
Tynehill is being bustled along, and Sir Gerhard just beginning to get woken up, no longer in last
Sam
place.
Twiston Davis just picking it up slightly now, I think, in front.
Yes, he is. Yeah, absolutely. So he's our length clear. Bron is holding on to his tail on the outside, and then
6 to
switch
4
the
on
ins.
Jerry.
6 to 4. Yeah, I wouldn't be anywhere near that. Sir Gerhard noticeably closer now, lobbing along. 27 miles an hour. The pace has dropped. Robbie, who wins from here?
The real whacker wins. He's going to
Nat?
keep finding.
Yeah, well, obviously, the real whacker's my pick, but I am slightly worried about Jerry Colombo as well. Just tracking right there. It's a good position to be in, isn't it? I think a lot of Jordan Gainford as well on board, but this is Cheltenham there yesterday. It's a long way home.
Look at
That's
Paul
a proper
Townend now.
move on Sir Gerhard now. He's fit.
Yeah.
Put another 0 on Time Hill.
is.
He's never looked happy.
No, he certainly hasn't. And we know with Jerry that he does, as I say, he does rally well. He's absolutely all guts. But if you've backed him, you kind of...
They're coming back for Sir Gerhard now.
Sir Gerhard still hasn't moved as they're accelerating down the hill. Is this 3 out now,
This is
Dave?
the tricky one, isn't it?
This
Yeah,
is
we should
3
go head
out.
on in a sec,
And
I
now,
think.
here we
Yeah,
go. It's the real whacker with Bron on his outside. They've been first and second throughout. They're all over that really well, apart from Tynehill, who can't win. The real
Jerry
whacker,
Colombo.
they're preparing to turn in. Jerry Colombo started waggling his arms aboard
he
that.
has.
Going on the inside nicely is Gallia de Lito. So Gerhard still hasn't moved, but he's going to have to get there because he's got some ground to make up.
Keep finding.
So Braun is still going really well here. The real whacker now is being ridden to try and get
Jerry
away
will
from
pick him up.
Braun's going well. Jerry's 4 lengths behind in third. So Gerhard coming up the inside route and he's still not really lively. It's the real whacker.
Here we go.
Jerry's 4 lengths behind. It's one of those things. It's the real whacker and Braun. Here comes the real whacker. Jerry Colombo. It's the real whacker. Jerry Colombo with the line. He needs to learn the real whacker. The real whacker. Just about held on, I think. That was an absolute thriller. Goodness me, what a brilliant race. The real whacker jumped the last. Braun's just faded away. Jerry Colombo's got the heart the size of a big heart. But I think he's just...
The whacker's got it.
The whacker's got it by a head. What a race that was.
What a race. I mean, you watch, look, there's going to be loads of people screaming at the telly here, and we'll give you the debrief on that. They too have pulled clear in the end of Braun. The real whacker then absolutely smacks them. Sam Twiston-Davies poured it on from about 4 fences and he just kept fighting. And the jump of the last was what sealed the deal. Jerry wasn't great at 1 in the home straight and he picked up all too little too late. How's the best horse? Finished second, we'll give you a debrief on that. They came well clear of Braun, who ran the race of his life, so Gerhardt hasn't got home. The rest, nowhere. They were thinking about going for the Gold Cup, guys. What a story this is.
It's a brilliant story because, you know, it's we've had Mullinses, we've had de Bromheads, we've had Elliots, and there's Philip Neville. Gary Neville, no, Patrick, their other brother,
Neville
has trained the winner. Good old Sam Twiston-Davies, local boy, absolutely loves it. It's great to see. And the owner, I mean, he's a massive character, isn't he?
Yeah,
he owns a nightclub in Ireland. He drove throughout the night to be there last time he won. Yeah. Fantastic stuff.
Oh, good lad, Sammy. And you know, he's such a horseman as well, isn't he? And obviously all the jockeys are, but I mean, Sammy just really was there like, I am having this. I am staying here.
It's a big moment for Sam Twiston-Davies.
Everyone loves the Twister, don't they? He's brilliant.
Look at the owner.
Oh, I love it.
He's the guy who's got the nightclub, hasn't he? So he's got a red and white scarf. Probably a Philip Neville scarf.
It's like Richard Fahey,
like a red sort of puffer jacket, like a red style,
like a red white shirt and red bow tie.
It reminds me of Iris's gift zone. He's very similar, isn't he? You know, got heart and sleeve stuff, and we're going to be hearing a lot about this. This is, you know, look, this is a horse that they very late decision. We were told that they were going to go for the Gold Cup. The Dipper form then at Cheltenham once again shines at the festival.
What a buzz for them. That must be absolutely brilliant.
Where's their nightclub?
It must be, where should we go? It must be.
I don't really go clubbing as much nowadays, but do you know where it is?
Somewhere in Ireland.
You and DJ Cuddles.
He's the Irish gentleman, is he?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, he's given Alice Blunkett a big old hug there. But
this jump at the last is key, look. Jerry got him tight, it's cost him.
That had taken a bit out of him as well.
Yeah, but this is the thing with the real whacker, his jumping is key. His jumping's excellent.
Yeah, he's that old-fashioned sort of...
Jumping is
I love
good.
Him. I love that horse. And you've got to take your hat off to Jerry Colombo. It was a fantastic effort. Yeah. He's a stride away from winning that, and he's got a big future now, hasn't he? I mean, that was really good. A really good running fourth from I Am Maximus, by the way. Well worth keeping an eye on.
I thought tactically it was good, though, because I think I heard you say it just before I came in, but the real whacker, I thought... My analogy was going to be he can put them under pressure with Sammy on board as well. And I actually think tactically that has played out, really, hasn't it? So
brilliant, the connections in the paddock they were watching.
Isn't it great?
Who was the other red and white scars back in the day? A horse for Paddy de Plaster.
Yeah, that's right, for Paddy de Plaster. Yeah, fantastic that, yeah.
We've got it back. Socials on the screen. Hugh Masson, that was good for the game, says Hugh. Well done, Hugh. Fair play to the horse and connections as well. This Cheltenham Festival just keeps getting better, doesn't it? They pulled clear of the overall form. I'll come to you, Robbie, on this. You'd be picking holes in it, I think, because you've got Braun, who's a 1.45 horse, and
let me just tell you about Braun. He did run Jerry Colombo quite close in his beginner's chase.
He did. He did.
If you look far enough back, and that was the first try at 3 miles, so I wasn't a complete surprise to see a big run.
You think he could have improved 7 or 8?
Definitely.
in defeat
Honestly,
there.
I didn't know they mentioned. I was having a look. I was talking about him in the office yesterday. Like, what about Bron?
What about Bro? 66 to 1 Bron was into 50s, and
It's another
the best
good
runners
Manir
can
and
do there is
Swade
third.
Do you know what'd be great as well? It's got a proper name, isn't it? The Real Whacker. There'll be
The
loads of
Real
people there for the
Whacker.
day, and they go, oh, "Look at that! I'm going to have that." The Real Whacker.
awesome, isn't it?
Brilliant. It's a proper,
Great
brilliant
name.
name.
I mean, he came to the. He's now 3 from 3 over fences. This horse. He came to the track behind shoot first in that attempts. He never went a yard that day when he was still actually in Anne Duffield's name.
I think his first ever run, I think he got ironed out at Carlisle at 150 to 1. You know, like 6 of 9
he
or
did.
something. And if you look at that,
It was
you
at
would
Liz
never
Stowell.
believe that's going to suddenly come
Yeah.
along and win a Brown Advisory.
He finished
would you?
2 lengths behind Marla Mission as a novice hurdler, and that's when he went onto people's radar.
Yeah,
Marla
that's
Mission, the
right.
horse that fell, of course, in
Would
the
have
National
won.
Chase. You think he would have won? Yeah, a lot of people saying that.
You referenced Patrick Mullins' ride yesterday on Guyard. I think he got really lucky there because I just think he sat way too far
Fowler
off.
was legless though.
I'm not sure he
I
was.
think he
don't
was.
think he was.
I
I might be doing Patrick Mullins a disservice here, but I was on Guyard and I was like, come on, when you're ready. And
I agree, but I thought the Fowler was legless.
Rob, you're going to have to book a flight to Limerick if you want to go to the.
Thanks very much,
that's the
mate.
night
Yeah.
of
to
the
the
Limerick,
Thank
yeah.
you to
Whereabouts
Steve
is
Dem for
how
that.
far away is that from Dublin? That's the only
it's
place I've
miles
been.
away.
Yeah, it's quite a long way.
I only do Dublin really, so we'll leave that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you swanned in there and asked for a vodka and Red Bull, they'd be,
go on
you
my
know.
back.
Oh,
Day 2.
can't stand Red Bull.
A lot of people saying,
G&T.
why wasn't David Russell on Jerry Colon when it's Jordan Gainford's ride? This is where Jerry lost it. We're watching now after that 3 out where they're climbing. He just got tapped for toe. He got tapped for toe. And
But he
you
does
think
though, doesn't he? He's like a big buck. So
Yeah,
he has
that's
a
what
flat
happened.
spot,
And
doesn't he?
watch him at the last. He's fine there. That's absolutely fine. And you're thinking, right, you're going to have to really show what you're about here. You've got to, if you're chasing 2 up front, he just gets in tight a little bit there, leaves his back legs in it. Probably cost him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anything wrong with the Jordan Gainford ride there whatsoever.
I think that's just angry favourite backers trying to find the hole, isn't it?
When a horse has flown like that and gets beaten a short head and it's a favourite, of course there's going to be a massive, smoke and
they're just
shout
too
about
very-
it.
I
all that
bet
sort of
if
stuff.
your hobby is betting and a favourite gets beat and your first reaction is to go onto Twitter or whatever and start slagging off the jockey, can you go and find another hobby, please? One that doesn't make you so angry, because it's not always the jockey's fault. Stuff just happens. There was absolutely no culpability in that ride whatsoever. Was
None
there?
whatsoever.
That's very rarely the first thing I think of if I back to Austin and lose about the jockey. Most on the biggest stage, most of them are basically top class riders, aren't
Can I just ring a bell, please? We've got a British novice winner.
Yeah, really good.
they?
Yeah.
Novice,
Yeah, it's great.
novice chasers, I
And
was.
you can only push and scrub a horse so much. At the end of the day, they're what, 595.
And fair play to Nat,
600
she
kilo.
put it up. You're having a good week, aren't you?
I am having a good week.
I'm not saying
Playing
that's
that, yeah.
surprised, but you put this up for the
Anti-postman.
Jockey's Fight as well.
Postman 20-to-1 winner.
Was
as well.
it?
Well done, mate.
Indeed,
Right,
Thank
there's a
you.
correlation with that 20 to 1. What price would you want with Paddy Power if you could back it now for the
Yeah.
2024 Gold Cup?
I just saw that email come in as well. 20-to-1 for next year's Gold Cup. I wouldn't get involved this early in advance, but I think that's pretty fair for next season's Gold Cup.
I don't think. I'd be surprised if something isn't better, but I think he'd give him a great run and he'll go close. So fair play to him. But I think 20s is roughly fair. Very well turned out head lad there. The groom, Robbie. You're obviously a man of style. I think when you see a front on shot,
style is
yeah. Yeah, obviously, I know you're dressed now as if you've just taken the dog for a walk, but you can.
He looks like he's a
I'm dressed on,
backstage
that's going-
engineer, doesn't he? He looks like he's a
roadie,
roadie.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is more like someone about
that's
to go into a
into
nightclub, Matt.
Oh, don't
By
get him
the
doing
way,
that.
talking of fashion, I thought your millinery was very impressive yesterday. Now,
Oh,
I've,
it was-
I've just started
Was it a-
following
Like a
you.
parrot,
I've
wasn't
just
it?
started following you on
it a
Instagram, and you
rhododendron?
account for about 60% of all postings. You're real. You're an Instagram sensation, aren't you? But you had a big sort of mauve.
Like a parrot.
It's trending
swirl.
the right way, if Bruce is saying.
It was pink and orange, which are two
Oh,
of my
very
favourite
nice, yeah.
colours. It was because Cheltenham, you can obviously go very sort of country, but I thought no, I'm going to just go so bright, the brightest orange.
And then you get to the mean streets of London, and you
and then I
you
thought,
look like you're in the
I
Cotswolds.
better go country.
Let's draw breath then as they come in and we watch the reception for the real whacker.
Oh, it's
and
so nice.
and they're really, I mean, it looks like a football match there, doesn't it? They're
That's great,
they're
isn't it?
really, old
great.
school. A lot of Peaky Blinder hats on amongst them and all that.
And you
sort of
need
stuff.
those scenes, don't you?
Yes.
If Cheltenham just looks like it's like on the flat when it's just all Magnia and Sheikh Mohammed. If Cheltenham looks like it's just an exclusive preserve of the big owners, then you know, it's a bit of a disincentive to get involved. But this lot, they've come
100%.
along and, you know, they've sent the horse to a little-known, you know, relatively little-known trainer, and it shows that the smaller trainers can get it done with the right ammo. So a fantastic story.
Yes.
Great for Sam Twiston Davis. And
Extremely important for the game, I think, as well, because a lot of people were saying that we had an outlier of Royal Ascot. Do you remember last year, Royal Ascot, we had like 14 different trainers had won the races up until Aidan O'Brien got off the mark with Little Big Brown Bear, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And I can't remember at this time of the year, but Little Big Bear. And this is important because a lot of people say that the jumps, grade ones, only go to the top powerhouse yards, and on numbers it's hard to knock that as well. So this is absolutely huge. You said you were there yesterday then.
Well, we had a feeling about this Cheltenham Festival where I think a lot of us said that the tables could level out slightly. I believed in Britain. I did think that we'd get some off the scoreboard. But do you know what? Yesterday, we got there really early, actually on time, really early, but pulled up the car, we'd made some sandwiches.
Had a picnic.
Yeah, had a picnic, but it was packed. It was amazing. Everyone's smiling. The sun was shining, and it is hairs on the back of your neck.
It was a lower crowd than usual.
60,000 compared to 68 the previous year, but all they've done there is just make it a little bit more comfy. Still a great atmosphere.
Which is what Ascot got applauded for, wasn't it? The other great big festival
and I
that we have
didn't
in
feel it in the car park. It just felt like everyone was genuinely waited the year to be there.
Yeah.
Genuinely. And as soon as you walked through the door, it was just...
What were those roars like for
just
Constitution and Honeysuckle?
Just incredible.
Honeysuckle must have been mad, mustn't it? Because everyone's got so revved up with Constitution, and then she wins.
I know.
Wow.
And to have both of them was just insane. And they did it really well with Constitution Hill as well, because the two hunt masters with the red jackets came out on two lovely grey horses, and then they followed in a line and they came in front of us, and then Matt Chapman was interviewing Nico for ages, so he was kept for ages. But it was good because it meant that people flooded down from the stands, all tried to get on the rail there as he walked back in, and it was like a Mexican wave of vocals. And Honeysuckle, of course, people were just crying.
Marvelous.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, in racing, there isn't enough of that where the winner gets lauded. Cheltenham's the only track where you have that walkway back in front of everyone, and they can all really see the horse get close. And there isn't another course like that, is there? And there's something really racing should think about trying to do.
Yeah, you feel like you're really involved.
Yeah,
and
you do,
Nico
exactly.
was massive responding to all of us in the crowd.
He was, wasn't he?
Yes,
you know,
he was.
Yeah, he was like this. He was like, you know, and it was just, it was.
Yeah, I bet that was
mind-blowing.
unforgettable.
It's awesome.
What a day.
Yeah, so that was the Tuesday, the opening day, which again, people say is kind of the purest day, doesn't get beaten, but so far we've had two absolute pearlers, haven't we? In Paris, what did you make of that? Did you watch it on your phone as you were coming in?
Yeah, I did. I had to listen on the radio.
Didn't tune into this show then?
No, I did. I was going to try and message you. I did, and then I watched your opening bit, but it cut off, and then I was trying to go live. Oh, Dave, it was so funny.
You got some bloke from Colombia, why would I be watching it?
Easy to say, but I promise you I could show you my notes. In Paris, couldn't get beaten.
No, you don't want to. It'd be War and Peace.
No, couldn't get beaten. That's what every preview I've looked at couldn't get beaten in Paris. So, and that's why I went each way on. And
you're dribbling down.
I even colour coordinate them.
Colour coordinate.
So
wow,
win.
talk us through it.
Oh yeah,
Win.
no, fair enough. Yeah.
Each way bet champ Kylie. So you won't be able to see, but you just have to.
I can verify.
You are having a scissor. So stick
Win.
with Natty Green basically is the order of the day.
Each way champ Kylie. They were the only two that I really liked, so it was good.
Well, should we make it easier for you and just go to the Cold Cup now? We've got
because
plenty
it's
of
so
time
easy,
for
isn't
that.
it?
We've got plenty of time for that. 26 runners go to post.
21 minutes.
And 21 minutes for that. We
21
must have a
minutes
bit of
to
profit
go.
now, Rob.
Can we take it down to say 19 minutes? Would you still ample? What's the tactic? Were you tempted to have a little glass of champagne yesterday, or have you been?
No, I did have a little bit.
You can, can't you?
Yes, I think you can.
She does.
No, you can though, can't you?
Yeah. I had heartburn,
moderation.
like to die for afterwards, but yeah, it was all worth it.
Are you sure? 7 months.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I do a lot of
Don't go
walking though.
It's a tiny bump, isn't
there.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, she basically.
what you had?
A boy.
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm having a grandson next month, so yeah.
Bruce is going to be a granddad.
Yeah.
I know, it's amazing,
that's
isn't it?
exciting.
Forward to that.
That's
I know, there's
So
a lot
maybe
of
there'll be
good
mates.
feeling in the air here.
Amazing.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yes, absolutely.
What's your due date?
2nd of June, my wedding anniversary.
2nd of June. Wow.
11 weeks left.
That's not Derby Day, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes, it is Derby Day. They never come on the date, though, do they, ever?
No, that's true.
Never, ever.
No.
No.
You'll probably be July sometime or something like that, I would imagine.
Especially with that little thing, I reckon August.
Yeah, all good. But you,
They've got the wrong date.
you've ridden the wave a little bit, but You pulled out of the HWPA awards, didn't you? You told me, I don't know, I can't be arsed with it and all that sort of stuff. And it turns out you were, of course, pregnant.
Yeah, I thought if I can't properly get on, it was the
You do have to sort of keep it down a little bit. Anyway, we're thrilled for you both. And okay, let's move on to the Coral Cup then, where we do have 20.
Not easy, this, is it?
Well, there are 26 runners, and
I find it quite easy, this race, to be honest, generally, down the years.
Right. Yes, very good.
I bet you like Beacon Edge.
Last year, I backed the winner, what was he? 50s
Is it Commander of the Fleet or Commander of Fleet?
You did? Is that when you fell off your chair?
Commander of
That's
Fleet.
right.
Is that when Bruce fell off the chair?
It was. Yeah.
I'll fall from my chair if I do it again.
Selection there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's 2:50. It's the first handicap of the day. It's over hurdles. I'm going to give you some times as well when the guys go down it. Market update on this is quite. I thought Ron Frosco would look certain to go off favourite. I really like him in this. And he is slightly on the drift, I have to say. He's out to about 12 to 1 at the moment. And the favourite on the exchange, and probably reflecting that on course, funny enough, the two Irish horses, HMS Seahorse, tiny little warrior of a horse, but gosh, he's brave, and Captain Conby as well for Keith Donohoe. That is the real money horse so far. Langadan, the best of the British according to the market. San Salvador for Joseph O'Brien as well. I don't know about you guys, but every handicap that Joseph O'Brien aims one at, they always have a say, don't they? He's got such a good target on his back.
Yeah, he's
picking
mustard.
his races. Rusted. Shall we go down then? Because you're probably leading the way at the moment. Shall we get a trophy update as well?
Matt.
Not good breeding for you and me, Bruce, I don't think this. But there's still plenty of time to go back. Let's have a look. Here it comes. Drum roll. Robbie Wilder's on 8 points. Natalie Green. Dave Orton. Michigan. Oh, Bruce, you're lagging away.
Honestly, I mean, the main priority is to win this, but if I can actually win at betting, then I'll take it.
You look absolutely
That
crushed.
trophy's worth at least £6.
Hey, hang on a minute. Would you, yeah, all right, okay. And Mission Control, where are they? They're on third as well. They're putting their tips in as well. So let's go down then. Robbie Wilder's.
Yes, mate.
Oh, we've got a social.
We've got a
Hang on
social,
minute.
yeah. Can we read that one out there? Just,
Bruce won me 170 quid last year with Commander of Fleet. No pressure this year. I was going to give the floor to Robbie Wilder's, but
sorry,
I'm now giving
and what
it
does it say at the end there? So no pressure this year.
Big man.
Big man, yeah, big man, yeah.
Big
Love
man.
it.
Bruce is shorter than me, by the way.
It's nice that someone's not calling me that for once. Right, okay, Bruce, take it away, because this is a horse that I backed in the Betfair Hurdle, and I've now jumped off him because it was so bad, but you're giving me a chance to.
The Ikare Allen. It was really just firm in the Betfair Hurdle, and he hated it, and he saved him for that. Willie Mullins trains, Mark Walsh rides as always. Fourth in the Triumph last year.
Yeah.
Just generally good, decent quality form, and I just think that the return to soft ground, an increase in trip. You can't have a strong view on this race, for goodness sake. 26 runners, I mean, it's so difficult. But I just thought at 28 to 1 with some extra places, I thought Ikare Allen was quite an interesting each way bet.
If you watch him back on his comeback, I think it was Fairy House, what drew me to him for the Betfair Hurdle, he's that sort of like juvenile, he didn't quite come up against Vauban, and you could tell he was going to be maybe the longer term of them, because it's bred to be the more sort of store horse, chaser of the future, maybe. He was given an interesting ride that day. You could tell there was a big prize in him. I think he was something of a sacrificial lamb for Filey Bay last time as well, keeping the weight down and that sort of stuff in the Betfair Hurdle. He's interesting over the trip, and he's got his ground, and I would not throw that out of bed at all. He's a talented animal on this day, and he's a right old price, I think.
Yeah, so just the one dart for you, Bruce, is it?
Yeah.
I normally like to have a couple myself.
Okay, well, where are you going?
Show us your arrows.
I'll give you two. Phil Dorr sort of ties in with Ikare Allen a bit, sort of juvenile last season. With the jockey claims, he's actually only given Ikare Allen £1. This Ben Harvey, £5. He's decent value, I'd say. But I've always thought this horse is going to be better over 2.5 miles. First time he gets that here, he bounced back to form over hurdles last time. He beat Sharjah, which is not bad form, is it really? And in his chase, he also beat San Wild. Basically, there's a lot of ability there. And with the jockey claim, he's down to 146. I've always thought this is his true trip. He's the first one. The second one is Beacon Edge. Was he fourth in the Stayers Hurdle a couple of years ago?
He's become the tipster's horse.
Is it?
Beacon
Oh, I
Edge.
know Rodders does. I don't know if anyone else does.
DJ.
Oh, DJ as well.
Yeah.
Has he?
Tom
He's
Siegel
more of a
was talking
presenter
about it on our
nowadays, isn't he?
preview as well, saying if he gets to good ground.
Yeah, I like Beacon Edge. Basically, just looked in the Boyne last time. Let's see if he's coming back to a little bit of form. He's been a bit, but the Cheltenham form is there, and as Bruce pointed out earlier, that is a crucial factor. And of course, who's on board? Michael O'Sullivan claiming free. There's a lot of good Irish claimers this week, and I think Ben Harvey and Michael O'Sullivan are two of them.
Going back to Fedor, I've got a mate who religiously backs the top two in the weights, no matter what they are, no matter what the form is in the Coral Cup. 152 for Commander of Fleet and 151 William Henry.
I read a stat that if you permed the first 6 in the Coral Cup in like tri-casts over the last 10 years, you'd have made like 80 quid profit from £1 stakes. I know that's niche stuff, isn't it? But it's just an indicator that
You are niche.
class
You are a bit niche.
Thank you.
Ben Harvey is 2 from 6 at Cheltenham as well, by the way.
It's our mate on the telly, that is.
Oh, John Harding's in
Little
as
Johners.
Is he going to get in trouble
Shout
for
out
being
to
in the
the
camera?
shout out to the prefect.
Clark Kent, yeah. Clark Kent. Ed, we call him now because why do we call him Ed?
We call him Ed because Gay Calloway called him Ed live on Sky Sports Racing, and he looked like his face just dropped when it happened.
You know when he went to
nominated,
Ukraine,
hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
he's been nominated for a global journalism award for his piece in Ukraine.
I've heard about this.
You've not heard about this?
No.
It was
Oh,
in
come
the
on.
place. Do you
Good
not
for
keep an eye on the
When
internet?
was this posted?
I was
This week.
sharing a slice of pizza
Honestly,
with him
didn't
yesterday.
see
I
that.
said, what award have you been put up for
And you
now?
have to go to Seoul to collect the prize.
Is he going to get out there?
It's a prize for like global proper
Only
journalism.
him.
Tom Clark could take him up.
So how about that? He doesn't win the HWPA despite having travelled to a war zone and written one of the most amazing pieces ever. But he wins like the Pulitzer Prize.
He did win at the
unbelievable.
HWPA,
Yeah.
but not for that. But
Specialist writer.
there was a marvellous
Like the-
moment
like the
on
League
Sky
Cup,
Sports
wasn't it?
Racing when Gay Calloway was being interviewed at Brighton and she just had a winner and she had an entourage with her and she said, well, I'm taking all these people over to Ukraine with me. And she goes, I've got such and such from welfare, I've got such and such from the stable, I've got Ed from the Racing Post.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It was absolutely...
I
and he
posted-
literally goes...
Took a load of supplies.
I posted the clip on Workplace and he made me take it down because he was like, come on, mate. I was
So
like,
everyone calls him
come
Ed
on,
now,
It's funny.
you know.
Oh, it's funny.
Which might be a glimpse into the future, I don't know. But,
get
all right,
called all
HMS
sorts.
Seahorse, 6-1 favourite here. Captain Combi, Langadan. Who are you going for in the Coral Cup? We need to put a bet on here.
Oh, yes. Dave Orton, sorry, who do you like, mate?
Well, I really like Run for Oscar, who won our flat to
Charlie
Cesaro,
Burns.
which, like he just joined in the final furlong. He went to Haydock afterwards. That was apparently the plan straight away afterwards. And what you were told when he won by nearly 4 lengths in our Cesaro, which scooping all that pot, they were getting really excited about him going back over hurdles. They were all talking about it, Burns and the lot. Yeah, yesterday there was a horse called Biker yesterday, which you referenced earlier on
Did
the
like
show.
Biker, yeah.
This is miles better than that, and he nearly won with that. Shoot First, unfortunately, doesn't make the attempt, so I think that whatever Charles Burns runs this week will be there or thereabouts. I'd be very surprised if Run for Oscar doesn't have a say at least to the last.
Yeah, you got Phil Burns, £5 as well.
I like
He's obviously
Philly Burns.
Yes.
riding Blazing Cow without
Yeah.
a claim tomorrow.
He didn't.
So-
He wasn't suited by very soft ground in Haydock when he was 5 lengths off Botock House, and it was definitely a run to get him ready for this when we saw him on New Year's Eve at Punchestown. He is the main player for me, and I am actually pretty confident on this chap. I've got to say, I can just see it.
Anyone like Langadan?
Well, we all like Langadan, don't we? He's
Yeah, it's interesting he's running
We
there.
had the
not
Queen selection yet.
The Queen, it's you. It's you.
you got 2 in this, so they're asking me Mission Control which one you want for the trophy.
Yeah, I hate that. Well, let me talk and then I'll make my mind up because one could be. I was impressed at Kelso with Benson. Right now, Sandy's been very open that they did have a bit of a bug. It happens to every trainer ever. They had, a couple of about 5 weeks when the horses weren't quite right. They're definitely coming back to form. It is kind of the dream to get that £100,000 bonus. Of course, it happened a couple of years ago with the shunter. He did show a fair bit of tenacity, Benson, that day. I have to admit. I was actually quite impressed with him in the Moor battle. But, one of those stories sometimes I think it's too good to be true. I mean, I kind of said, can he do it at Cheltenham? And I don't know. Then I really did start to get into Beacon
He beat
Edge.
a very good horse in Colonial Mustard.
No, he did, but he was...
That's
Colonel.
what Mark Orosky called
Did he?
Colonel
Oh, he
Mustard,
could-
Colonial Mustard once.
Yeah, and he ran really well, actually. I spoke to Lorna, he did run really well. But
He's a lovely animal.
Beacon Edge, the more and more and more I look at Beacon Edge. But then this is what I do, I look at it and then the ground's fine. Beacon Edge can run on anything, yielding, heavy, soft, good stuff, fine. The only thing we have to admit with Beacon Edge, which worries me slightly, and even over this 2 mile 5, I thought the 2 mile 5 in February at Navan actually did look a bit on the short side for this horse. If you
That was
watch
in the
a
Boyne
replay,
hurdle.
you watch a replay, I just thought he looks a bit on the short side, which then puts doubt in my mind for this. He did hit a flat spot as well. There's no
He
getting
does,
away from it.
They
but
got the
he
blinkers
does.
on again, haven't they? And they're putting a tongue tie on with it.
Yeah, but he does run a flat spot. So I kind of like and ah all the time. But his last run was much more promising. So that did inspire me. And also behind the horses, like look, Garin Park at Tiapu, he raced wide, he was outpaced. Thing with Beacon Edge, he looks like he can get a bit outpaced. Benson showed better tenacity, and a horse I can't get away from is Good Risk at All.
Yes, who's got a great
Sammy
record
again.
fresh.
Yeah, Sammy again, but also for Sam Thomas, and I know time and time again, okay, Sam Thomas might not churn out your win after win after win on the, but actually when he plots,
He's got an outstanding record with horses
when
fresh.
Sam plots as well.
I will do it.
Yeah.
Our power.
Yeah.
He's a damn good trainer now, isn't he?
He
Very
is so
good
good.
trainer.
I played golf with him in a charity golf day.
Did you get on with him?
Yeah, really nice guy and
Yeah.
fantastic golfer, but he was only just starting out and he was really struggling for numbers. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
God, he's so nice. I really want him to do well.
And then
now
Di
he's
goes
absolutely
along.
flying
Yeah.
along,
Yeah.
But he's good at plotting and planning, and it pulls off when he really places those horses. So I find it impossible. So those three are absolutely just stuck in my head.
He's
all
the
three.
pick of the excellent Kevin Morning in the Trainers' Column.
Oh, what's funny about
Have I
that?
got to
It's
pick
because
one?
I always call him
call
the
him that.
excellent
Have
Kevin
I got to
Morley.
pick one?
He's the excellent Kevin
I
Morley.
think he's excellent.
Yeah.
I think he's very excellent.
And he gives you 4. He gives you HMS Seahorse,
I don't like him.
San Salvador, who I mentioned, Watch
Yeah.
House Cross, and Good Risk at All. Good Risk at All, when he won at Ascot last year, do you remember when he won on the bridle? He looked so good. He didn't look like a horse that was going to go places. He's got his ground again here. He's very interesting indeed. So we're narrowing it down for you.
So I have to pick one out of those three.
I think we're going to
Yeah,
put,
go on.
put 2 bets on for the charity here, so we have to come down on them all.
Mr. Coral Cup and the Queen.
Yeah. I think we need to go with Ecurie Allen.
Let's
'cause
do it.
I'm so mustard on this race.
Yes.
And the Queen.
Yeah, I just
I'm going to
can't-
stop calling you that now. It's getting weird.
No, it's not. It's lovely. Carry on.
Nah, I think.
I mean, I wish I was princess, but clearly I'm over the hills now. I'm just queen.
Said it
but
3 times now, mate.
Thanks, love.
You're very
start
much a
talking.
queen now.
I've got to pick between those
Sorry,
three.
now was that Benson or the
No,
other?
no, I just don't know between those three. I'm really.
Gonna need a,
Yeah.
gonna need to be snappy because if not, Phil
You were like Alan Sugar there, weren't you? When they've got the 3 and he's going,
I'd be hopeless.
I don't know what to do here because, Dave, you're useless on this task. You call yourself a bleeding salesman and you couldn't sell sand to the Arabs.
Well, let's just go good
the
risk
interviews?
at all because Sam will
risk
be
at
in
all, yeah.
like flying form. He's going to come out that way and be really positive.
Ross
He's
Bridie,
right, yeah,
very
just go
keen
for it.
on that chap. He told us yesterday on the show. It was great to have Ross back on. He joins us again tomorrow. And over Benson, yeah?
I'm going to have to, yeah.
Kills has gone for Benson
good
today.
risk at all.
I was
and
with him in the
Caroline.
ball battle.
It was a really good performance.
Yeah, okay, all right. There are selections on the screen now. I am run for Oscar. I'm trying to make it 3rd time lucky on the show today. Good risk at all for Nats. Bruce Icar Allen. Fedor for Robbie Wilders. And Control. Mission of that are going HMS Sea Horse. All
It's
right.
a race for shockers normally, isn't it? I think we had a favourite win 2 or 3 years ago, but I think the other last 6
One
winners
Fav has won in the
have
last.
been big prices, haven't
Can
they?
you name it? It was a
Is
very.
it Hendo?
It was a sort of controversial horse.
Was it Hendo?
It was, and it was a JP Hendo horse. To give you another one. And
So,
they-
sorry, what was the question,
And
mate?
it was a litigious horse because they went to court about it.
The favourite who won this in the last 6 years.
Really?
Coral Cup.
Yeah, 1 Fav, 5 to 1 Fav, and they got a couple of pounds off her back.
It was.
Which one?
Was it
Trained by Nicky Henderson.
Yes, we've established that.
Oh, right, so
Come on, Rob.
it was.
He's won this 3
Mate,
times.
it's
in the
great
last 10 years.
TV, this, isn't it?
Which
Yeah.
one? I'm trying to think. Oh, God, I'm trying to
Tumbleweed.
think.
Go on,
Damned
just-
Company
No,
was her
at least
name.
give us a letter first.
No,
I've got
Damned
that,
Company.
you
No,
did.
Rob.
No, that wouldn't have come in
Too
time.
late.
If you gave me
Too
D,
late.
if you gave me D, I'd have got that.
Too late.
Too late. And she got the £2 off, didn't she? And they went to.
Oh, that's right. They went to the appeals.
They
board,
went to the
didn't
appeals,
they?
and
Yeah.
not only did they get that £2 off, they also appealed against the appeal board because Keith Melrose was going to be on it.
Maybe it was against the heel.
Did you not hear about this? And Hendo and JP and all that wanted him off it. They jocked him off, and they got it. Yeah, and he honestly, we'll talk about that to Keith tomorrow because in the
Absolutely,
plate
yeah.
tomorrow they've done the same with So Scottish for £1.
I don't think there
It's for
should.
one
I don't
path.
think there should be an appeals board. I think the BHA should say, right,
That's it.
we employ professional, impartial
Yeah.
handicappers.
Letter of the law.
And this is our expert view. And if you don't like it, go and enter
Yeah.
yours in another race or go and try another sport. We're not having a big wrangle over £2.
Yeah, fine.
I think it's absurd. They shouldn't bow to it, should they?
Don't argue with science.
Jonathan Harding has just
science,
emailed me, actually. Ed
Is
has
it?
just emailed me, and I thought he was going to give me a nice quote
Not you
for the real
personally.
whacker.
Not
He's
you
just given me
personally,
the,
let's
he's
clear
just
it
given me the groom. Yeah, he has. Well, you've got it as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Probably.
So not you personally, mate.
He's
He's
just,
100 of us.
he's just, all right, so you're on it as well, which is a surprise, actually, that they've got you on this group. I thought he was going to give us a quote about the real whacker.
He just said the groom's name.
But guess what? It's another Neville. Brian Neville.
Family
Yeah, so it's a
affair,
family
isn't it?
thing.
Brian
So
Neville was very dapper. Best turned out groom I've seen.
That was
thanks
all the
for that,
info
Ed.
you got.
HMS Good Thing, Mission Control are calling HMS Seals. He looks like he's going to go off Fav now. They are around about 5 minutes away already from this. Let's
Let's
get
go
some
risk
socials
at all
up.
in the pictures.
Natty, you read this one out. What is it?
I'm sticking with the
MC
Cheltenham
Films.
team Langerdam for this one.
Who says that?
Some name.
MC Films.
Muck.
And Ryan Harty said Red Risk looks interesting at 40.
Another one,
glasses
Kills
on
was
that,
toying with Red Risks out there, Ryan. I
Was
can
he?
tell you. Yeah, he's got an affinity for this horse because he put up a massive price when he went to Coral Gold Cup Day. But it's, again,
Yeah.
I mean, this would be typical if you took your eyes off the Nichols bandwagon now, wouldn't you? And then this came and chinned you at 40 to 1.
Oh, I'll tell you, there's another horse I wanted to mention. The rank outside of the lot. Elvis is not dead as far as this is concerned.
Oh, Elvis Mail.
Elvis Mail, there's bits and pieces of
The
form there.
Alexander's horse.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's bits and pieces of form there. This could run into a place at a massive
He's
price.
snuck in, hasn't he?
You had a tick with you.
I've had a little bet, yeah.
Nice, yeah.
You got to, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many arrows is everyone having at this race? That's a question out there to ask, isn't it? Because, like Robbie
feel like
says, you don't often go with one.
In this kind of race, you can get sucked into having about 7 or 8 names in your list. I've stuck 2.
Yeah, I'm
it can
three.
get dangerous if you have too many because there are so many potentially well
Three,
handicapped
three's
horses.
fine, I
Yeah,
think.
three's fine.
You want to
Yeah.
you want to
I think
find
any more. I've did like 5 in one race before, and it's just.
I don't think that's a problem. No,
I think
when you
it's
play roulette,
not for
people
win
have
Yeah.
chips everywhere, don't
Not
they?
for, not for
Good
win
point.
only, but if you start doing each way, then all
But
of a
it
sudden,
depends. If
you're
you're
on your
getting 8
stakes and
places,
stuff, yeah.
that's the sensible
Yeah,
play.
true.
In a big field like this, you know, we obviously want them all to stay up and no harm at all. But obviously, the probability is it's.
Yeah,
a
things
recovery
go
charge.
wrong.
Things can go wrong.
See,
you know.
just to bring it down to a slightly more serious note, see, we obviously had the sad fatality in the last yesterday, and RSPCA came out with a tweet today expressing their dismay. The RSPCA were real staunch defenders of jump racing for a long time when on their long-serving chief executive. I
saw
can't
that.
remember, but they've started getting a little bit kind
Testy
of
about it.
yeah. They've called for ground racing to be banned, which I think's appalling.
Saw that.
I think that's really bad. I've worked in
Yeah.
ground racing, and I see the love and the care
What
those
would the
dogs
poor
get.
greyhounds do if they didn't like? They love it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Why are
I,
you going to keep them on a lead
Saw
for the rest
Harry
of
was a
their
bit
lives and just
upset
trot them
about that,
around,
wasn't he, the other day?
trot them around a show ring? and
I'm not saying that it's absolutely perfect. I'm not saying racehorse care is absolutely perfect. But whenever I'm lucky enough to go to a yard, I see horses that are treated better than most humans are. So, you know, we've got to be careful
And
here.
also, why is it so different? I'm sorry, people, but go and look at eventing, go and look at show jumping. There's the same strains, there's the same. You do not get the same fatalities because that is just a numbers game. But in eventing, you have more accidents with the riders. But look, it's dangerous. It is what it is. It happens. But the horses flipping love it. Also, we breed them for it.
Well, exactly. They wouldn't live otherwise, would
What
they?
are they
That's the
meant
other
to
thing.
do?
Racing brings equine life
What are
in
they meant to do?
huge scale, doesn't it? Someone also said, which is quite an interesting sort of point, I wouldn't call it an argument, they said 600 pet cats a day are run over.
Yes,
My word.
I can imagine that, you know.
600 a day?
No, I can
I
imagine.
thought my cat got run over Christmas.
Really?
Didn't happen. I found them, but anyway.
But you can't stop yet.
What I'd like to add something as well about the RSPCA. How
Here we
many people that work for them eat meat? Because if they do, then that's a much bigger issue than horses and horse racing.
I reckon it'd be quite low. I reckon it'd be
There'll be
one of
some,
the
though.
lowest organisations.
So you mean?
of-
Yeah, but
of
there will be some.
carnivores.
There'll be some, and
There'll be flexitarians.
it's a
you
bit
reckon?
hypocritical, I think.
Yeah, anyway, all right. Moving on. All right.
Promised us some fun today, didn't you?
I know, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You have got to.
I'm doing my brains and I've got Wilders at the end of the panel.
Stop
It's
eating
absolutely
meat.
great. Yeah, okay. All right. Loads of you out there, all chatting away. We can see it. Beacon Edge, a lot of love for that.
Any love for San Salvador? Look very nice in the paddock.
Did it? Bruce will
very,
be
very
living
nice.
about that.
Oh,
You saying that?
oh, really?
They all look
No,
the
I
same.
don't mind. Where did you see it? In the paddock?
Yeah, just before walking
Did
my
you?
house. Yeah.
Well,
just
they are. I'm
quite
delighted to say
eye-catching.
down there now in San Salvador is the Richard Deegan wife Joseph Patrick O'Brien. Of course, legendary son of Aidan, and I wouldn't be surprised if that went well as well. Have we got the bets on? That's the most important thing, Robbie.
Yeah, I'll put on Bruce's card, and then that's good risk at all.
Thank you very much, dear.
They're due off in 17 seconds, and the way they're going, they'll be off in 17 seconds. I love this punctuality, I've got to say. Goodwood, Ascot, York, the rest of you, take note.
Yeah.
And it's jumped, so I suppose they don't have to be loaded, do they? So it's a slight excuse there, but it's still, some of these festivals go off way too late. So well done to Cheltenham for that. So they're just doing that thing where they're all in one big sort of mass and they're swirling around at the start, getting ready to go, just getting into a nice body, all with their noses pointing the same way.
Watchhouse Cross needs to calm down.
Yeah, he's the naughty one.
He's the naughty one.
He's giving Rachel Blackmore a bit of a test there. Being ridden on the outside is Jack Foley aboard Scaramanga. It's hard to tell too much at this particular point who wants to be where. Yes.
I can't even see good risk at all. So there.
Right, so it's Rachel Blackmore still having all sorts of problems. It's Watchhouse Cross.
It's being a real
Watchhouse Cross, formerly with JP Manor.
So Rachel's kind of having to do this serpentine snake manoeuvre, because at the end of the day you can't just, if you just stop the horse, it might go mad. So she's actually doing her very, very best, but she's got to try somehow and keep a lid on it, which is very, very hard when a horse is excited with this many runners.
Rumours rife yesterday, not just Honeysuckle retiring, by the way.
But who?
Rachel, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, rife.
Retiring?
Yeah.
Well, she's 35, isn't she?
She looks a lot younger.
37
Let's pray you never try and run the race.
Latest betting, 13-2 HMS Seahorse, 7 Safureur, who we haven't mentioned, is actually now 13-2 favourite. Captain Combi is 15-2. Run for Oscar 8-1. Langadan 17-2.
That's a big
They're going to have a standing start. The tapes are across, and still Watchhouse Cross is being a bit of a rascal. He's got his tail pointing where his nose should be, so that's
just as you said about punctuality as well, you had to, didn't you?
Yeah, I know, I boxed it.
Scaramanga's also got his bottom. I mean, bless them. This is difficult.
What do you make of the Safureur?
I watched his race in the bookies in Maidstone when he scrambled home in a Grade 3 a few weeks ago. He's going to have to improve a lot on that form. He beat horse rate 110 before that in a photo finish.
And of course, we haven't mentioned Captain Combi, really, have we? Dusty Sheedy's horse, Keith Donoghue. What do you think of that one, Dave?
Yes, probably looks like it's been, sort of laid out for this 72-day break since it last ran behind San Salvador. Waited to reverse it, but they obviously fancy it because it was a sea of blue overnight. They're standing still.
Yeah, standing start. It used to be the white flag raised. It's the yellow and orange flag raised.
Yeah, this is not good for this race, a standing start.
No.
It's all right, doesn't matter. They'll get their gun in there.
It's just they're going to be facing the wrong way.
It's so laid back now. You're going to be a grand final.
Scaramanga's having a bit of a shocker down at the start as well.
Yeah, he is. He's just getting out. Well, they're going to get
It's an absolute disgrace, Cheltenham.
got
Late off again. It's typical Cheltenham.
I hear Scaramanga's got a good bond with his jockey.
I don't get that, do you?
Come on.
James Bond.
Come on, just because you're sitting next to Mr. Positive.
No, I'm not great with James Bond films. I like them,
Actually,
but I never remember stuff.
Don't like James Bond, mate. No.
Don't you?
You haven't done enough puns yet. I'm sort of leading you to do
fair enough. Right, they're off and running in the Coral Cup.
Oh,
2
a couple
miles,
have been
5
mullered.
furlongs. Who's been mullered?
Elvis
Dave?
Mail.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's a disaster.
He hated it.
Oh, got me off.
What's happened? What?
An
Who's gone?
extravagant jump.
Has it got blue colours?
Who was it?
Oh no,
It
It might have been Elvis. It's Elvis.
Elvis is gone.
Elvis is gone.
No.
Oh
That's
no!
a disaster.
That was Bruce Lynn, unfortunately, on his backside. He's all right though. He's up
Bruce
and going.
Millington on his backside as well. After that. Oh my goodness! Right then, so Watchhouse Cross, who was so misbehaving at the start and caused the delays, bowling along in front in the hands of Rachel Blackmore. In behind that one, in the green and white, is Rianne of Jordan Gainsford.
Tell you who else got mullered by the start, Bruce, just quickly. His Beacon Edge. Didn't like it
Didn't
at
he?
all.
Comprond, who was very well fancied, almost won last year. He is in 3rd place. The light colours, I think, are Run for Oscar in 4th. Out the back, we've got, is that HMS Seahorse or is it?
It's hard to see, isn't it?
So many colours, isn't it? It's difficult.
Yeah, well, it's
isn't
very
it?
hard when you've got
And it's gloomy as well, isn't it?
Tax for Max and Call Me Lord. Tax for Max is right at the back, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Tax
Rachel's
for
having
Max,
a
yes.
real.
White cap.
Rachel's having such a job here trying to keep Watchhouse
Pretty
Cross
keen.
to a sensible tempo. But, he's
But
absolutely
the one good
flying
thing
along.
about this, Bruce, unless you back the odds, of course, is that this has, over the years, been a real front-runners race. Remember when Evan Helpers just stacked them all up and sprinted away?
Yeah, but this isn't stacking up.
Hashtag
is it?
No, it's not.
This is having the arms taken out. Right, well, I can see I can see Bold Endeavour going well on the outside. I can see Scaramanga going well on the outside. Nicely in touch is Red Risk to give Paul Nicholls a bit of a boost. The well-fancied An Epic Song is up there. On the inside going well is Rianne. Has anything caught your eye, Nat?
I'm just trying to look at the ones on the inside. There's a couple of keen ones. Is it which one?
San
San Salvador's keen enough. The big white blaze there. I'm actually all right with our pick Beacon Edge here.
I think Safira, who went off at favourite, Jordan Gaines, sorry, it's David Russell, isn't it, is taking the bold route up the inside.
Is that him with the white cap? It is.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
They've got
Phil
Fedor next to
in
him.
the centre. Yeah,
Where's
great.
Benson? Am I going blind?
I'll tell you what, you said the moment you said that, Bruce, he just took a couple of false steps there, Safiro. He just lost a place or two. Don't know what that was, when he got chewed up or what. A lot of people saying the inside post wasn't the place to go yesterday, but then Impera
Yeah, I
passed
was
in
just
it,
looking
didn't
on the inside then just to see.
Ikare Allen is out the back along with another JP. I think it's Sporting John, so that's not very promising.
he? Mine Run for Oscar sees them in.
Watch House Cross as they go out onto the far side of the track is in front. Campron is in second. Red Risk is going well. Rianne's going well. Scaramanga's in fifth. Really nicely positioned is An Epic Song, and then in behind that we've got Good Risk all on the inside. They're trying to make a bit of progress.
Beacon
Looks like
Edge is
San
trying to make a
Salvador
little
in
bit.
a lovely possession as well.
Yeah, San Salvador is. I think Beacon Edge are just trying to get a bit more.
Where's
into the race
HMS
there.
Seahorse? That's one we should
I
try
thought
and
that was
point out
so
now.
sorry, actually.
It's in the green colours with the green sort of blacky hat.
And a little white down there.
Oh, there he is. He's right in the
There.
middle, look.
Is
He's
it
a
right in the
tiny
middle?
animal.
Right, he's tiny.
15
See
hands
how small
he
he
is.
is there.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, actually.
Which, if you don't know, that is a midget, isn't
next
it?
to San Salvador.
Yeah.
That's actually, that's
Yes,
not a bad,
that's him, that is
that's
him.
not a bad position.
Mile
to
to
be
go,
in there.
and still in front, Watch House Cross and Rachel Blackmore. Campron marking him all the way. Red Risk is in third. On the outside, Scaramanga. And then An Epic Song is going well. Sam Twiston Davis pulls Good Risk at all onto the outside. That one's in touch.
Yeah, he's got a
going
chance.
well up the inside
Langan
is the
Dan's
light
coming.
blue San Salvador. You'd want to be on that one. Yeah, the blue and yellow quarters.
Captain Combi.
They're going well. Out the back, I don't think we need to worry too much about Sporting John. Plenty in with chances. There's probably about 20 horses that can win this.
Wow.
And there's a big
ramping
peloton
up
of
now.
about
Sam
12
TD's
lengths in
ramping up a
front
bit,
of us.
isn't he?
He is, yeah, he really
Nels-
is.
And he's
Son
gone-
is there.
He's gone on the outs and he's happy
not
there,
Nels'
isn't
son.
he? Sammy Boy's, yeah, he's good here.
Epic Song.
Loads in with a chance
Run
here.
for Oscar's coming, but is he too
Absolutely
late?
tons in
Oh,
with a
with a bad
chance
jump there,
here.
good risk at all.
Wow. So many to pick out
I
here,
really
guys.
do like the look of
Look at Campron.
Captain Combi is going brilliantly in the middle of this pack in the blue with the yellow colours. He's
Campron's
really
gonna-
going well.
is that-
Campron's
has he
taking it
gone
up
too
now.
soon?
Campron 2
Come
out.
on, Sam's
Aidan
getting
Coleman.
Campron runs, jumps in front from on the outside Scaramanga. An Epic Song. Good Risk at all comes under a drive now. Going really well is Captain Combi, who is going to turn second now. But it's Campron who's going to lead over the final flight from Captain Combi, Scaramanga, and Epic
This
Song.
is gone.
Has Campron won this?
I
do you
think
think?
he's
Has
gone,
he
has he?
stolen this?
Epic Song's the
Nelson's
closer.
going to stay. Epic Song, yeah.
Langan, this would be kills his heart and mouth at the last.
So
Paul
as they
Keeley's
jump
been
the
putting this up to
last, it's
everyone. Oh,
Campron
gonna
makes a
get gums,
mess
is
of
he?
it. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be
Langan
Langan or
Oh!
An Epic Song? It's
Look
An
at
Epic
Langan
Song. Langan, but
my
still
God.
holding on his Campron on the near side. Here comes Langan for the
Wow.
Skeltons. Langan is just
Epic
about
Song,
to get it done.
Langan.
Langan wins
Wow.
it from An Epic Song and Campron. They're miles clear of Scaramanga. I think picking up the pieces was Bold Endeavour.
it
What
was.
another fantastic finish.
Well done, Bruce Millington. And that, you have to say, is compensation. Third time lucky. Not the other Skelton horse, but it is at the festival for Langan. Second to the Gold Cup favourite on Friday, Galloping de Champs in the Martin Bike. Brought down in it last year. A lot of people say, what are they doing with him? The handicap has given him a chance. He sprinted up that hill. Epic Song. Oh my God. Martin Brassel, JJ Slevin, Sean Mulrine once again second. Fast or Slow got nutted yesterday. It's just a repeat of that. And Camprond, who looked like he had them all cold coming to the last, has just faded to that.
With a better jump, I think Campron might have
And
hung on.
did he just go a bit too soon?
I think it was the jump, wasn't it? Probably, but it's a
Maybe.
hell of a finish. Great finish.
Three came well clear of Bold Endeavour. You were right, Bruce.
That was awesome, and we just saw quickly in shot, but Dan Skelton with the most enormous smile on his face, because it is a bit of a. I mean, he's so competitive, Dan. You know, it's in him.
You need that one.
In his blood,
you need that one.
you need that one.
And
You've
a
got to
lot has
keep
been
the
said
ducky
about
for the
Harry
second
Skelton at the Cheltenham Festival. There was that year, I think it was Langadan's year, wasn't it? Third time lucky, he attacked too hard on the horses, all that sort of stuff in the chases where they had the fancied runners. This time he's timed it to absolute perfection.
Yeah,
he is
he
a
has.
champion jockey, of course. And Captain Combi's run a blinder, Scaramanga, considering we hadn't seen him for ages.
Look
He was
how
good, Risk at
low
All's run
Harry
well.
gets now. You know, he's really like, come on, because you keep your neck out, because he's not actually got the longest of necks. Genuinely, anatomically, like Langadan's got quite a short little neck there, and he's really gutsy.
That
That's
two
awesome.
horses that hadn't shown their hand this season that have finished first and second there, and you could argue or actually the top three haven't, have they? Because Campron even went fences, didn't he? Poor old Kills. He got that absolutely right, and he thought it was going to be a dry Cheltenham than it was. He's run a blinder, and look, they've come miles clear, these horses.
Yeah.
It's a big boost for Pembroke, isn't it, in the county hurdle on Friday.
Extra places, folks. Bold Endeavour 5th. Who's that in
Combi.
6th?
Captain
Captain
Combi.
Combi 6th. Good Risk at All in
place money.
7th. So yeah, there you
Did we
go.
get 7 places with?
That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
You only need 6.
No,
for
7. Nat's bet. I mean,
Oh yes, sorry, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
Good Risk ran really, really well. He just had a blow, didn't he, and came on. Look at him at Aintree,
wish
I would
I'd
imagine.
Langadan.
That was great.
That was
He's
great.
not the biggest. He's so bonny.
That was great. He splattered in mud as well. I'm going to look at the times.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll tell you,
promising
there's-
that.
Dan
it's
is
definitely
beaming,
raining
isn't
there,
he?
isn't it? It's raining,
Yeah.
so it's good. What do you think we're going to be? Just soft all week? It doesn't look like it's going to chuck it
It's
down.
light
does it?
rain and a moderate breeze. If you,
I was
if you
thinking
listen to
Wednesday
them.
might be the driest day.
Well, it's become Wet Wednesday, hasn't it?
Wet
It was
Wednesday.
horrible
last year
year.
wasn't even funny. It had a real good downpour yesterday when I was there, probably around 5 o'clock. It absolutely, but not enough to.
Christ, that would have messed that hat up, didn't it? Did you own that, or
I had
did
to
you
go
rent
inside.
it? Did you hire it, or do you
Probably
own
started
that one?
growing.
No, it's because I wear a lot of these bitches Von Tresco coats, and it's Lisa Von Hallwin.
I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I knew you knew that.
I know my millinery.
You've been stalking
No,
on
she's
Instagram.
very sweet. She sends me a few hats, and then
Really, you get free hats?
Don't.
Oh.
She knows how to pedal, does this one?
Oh wow.
She knows how to
That'd
pedal.
be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, exactly that. I know. You think I don't know if I'd ever get.
Ed
I've
Chamberlain,
been trying.
he gets dressed. He's got his own tailor, and he
Yeah,
got. He
marvellous.
got,
yeah,
he
and
got
Hugh
give, have you
Barry,
seen that Bentley they've given him to drive around?
That's
Honestly.
ridiculous. Have they really? Yeah, what an
How
annoying
the other half
individual
live,
he is.
eh?
Well, quite. Times then of the first 3 races we've had so far. We'll get the Coral Cup for you, but it's definitely soft ground. Impera Pass was slow by 10 seconds, best part of 11 seconds actually, and the real whacker and Jerry Colomb, that stirring battle in the Brown Advisory, was 15.47 on the chase course, and it's the chase course that we go to for our next race. It is considered by some to be the race of the week. It is the Lightning Queen Mother Champion Chase. Before we do that, look, race is off, finished. That's it. We'll get you, Bruce got you all the places. Who got Langadan then? Who erased
One
the
of
memories?
I think it was
one of the
Muck
socials.
Lad or someone, wasn't it?
MC
Yeah, that's
Films,
right.
Ah,
Yeah, he
yes,
said Langadan.
indeed. Oh, yeah,
Well played,
MC
Tim.
Films.
So
That's
let
right,
us know.
absolutely.
You're now a hot tipster. So let us know you fancy for the rest. of the day.
I reckon it's pronounced MC McFilms like that.
Yeah,
MC
possibly,
Muck
yeah.
Please
Films.
let us know. Right out the phonetic.
Yeah,
if
it's
you can.
probably not MC.
Oh, he's doing the
Films, is it?
Skellycopter. A lot of people don't like
You don't
that,
think
do
it's
they? But why not?
Films?
What's the skeleton?
When he
MC
does
Muck,
this.
I reckon.
Films.
Oh no, yeah, you
Can
should.
you stop talking about the McFilms, please?
No, imagine if it's Films. Like Films. No, it's not going to be that, is it? It's going to be like MC McFilms.
There is a tumbleweed
Let us
emoji
know.
we can pull up. He does the Skellycopter, Bruce, doesn't he? Do you remember
I
when he
didn't know
went?
that was called the
It's
Skellycopter.
called
Yeah.
the Skellycopter, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
yeah.
made that his own, has he?
Yeah, but
Did he come up with that name as well?
I think, well, someone at the yard
he
did, I
can
think,
do
probably.
it, but some people are like, oh God, you should, because of his
Skellycopter.
balance, you might
Why
fall
not
off.
do it?
Just
I mean,
do
it's
it.
ridiculous,
You
isn't
wouldn't
it?
say to Frankie Dettori, don't do flying dismount. you
Well,
might
that's a good
twist
point.
your
Yeah,
knee. God.
Skellycopter. That's a new one on me. Yeah.
Give yourself a brand name if you can, yeah. Why not?
We are building up then to the 2023 Queen Mother Champion Chase. We're
One of my
watching the
favourite
finish.
races ever.
Well, a lot of people say it's the best race of the week. Would you agree with that, or
No,
is it still
I mean
the
the
Gold Cup?
Queen Mother ever. 2 miles, jumping, speed, accuracy, all the superstars. No, there's been a lot of criticism I found. I think this has been a split camp. Some people have got the box office clash again, haven't we? Taking on each other again. And actually some people have said it's crap race.
What, this year's
this?
Queen Mother?
I have genuinely heard that.
Who have
Genuinely.
you been listening to?
Well, I can't really say it. It's not fair, but
No,
a
okay, fair
couple of
enough.
previews have been like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really think it's that good, and yeah, I think it's a bit disappointing. I'm like, well, don't we like these clashes?
I think it's a great race. Isn't it?
Great race.
Well, let's find out who's going to
Fun.
win it, shall we?
So fun.
It's a little shame Gentleman Demise not running because
I agree with that.
Oh my gosh,
He's
I
injured, isn't he?
agree. I was so upset.
He's injured, isn't he?
He's just a bit of a new
He's my
one,
each
really.
way.
and
Was.
Great
Not,
show.
we've not seen him in Britain in a chase.
Do you reckon the top three are all going to begin with E though?
Every chance, isn't it? I think
I like the headline on the front of the Racing Post.
Oh, yeah.
The big
The big
three.
three.
That's a Paul Crabtree production. If
That's
ever
very
I've seen
good,
it.
yeah.
It's true though,
Very
isn't it?
good.
Do you want to hold it up, Bruce, so people can see that?
Okay.
Genius.
Yeah, the big
It's not too late to go and purchase your paper now as well.
three. So we've put an extra E on there. It's not a misprint.
Just-
Very good
So
indeed.
that attention
Love
to
that.
detail there, sort of light bluey,
Yeah,
dark
got
bluey,
the actual
ready.
colours, yeah.
It's really nice.
I don't think enough has been made though of ENERGUMENE this jumping right, but when he gets more tired, it's more obvious the jumping right. And if I was a jockey and you're on Edwardstone, who I think is the winner, you could play that weakness, because if you're there not letting him go to the right,
Yeah.
and ENERGUMENE wants to go to the right,
You've played this out in your mind.
I've raced the race in my
A lot of
head.
people would have done.
And in the head, and then second last, then the last, Edwardstone wins.
The bookies are enjoying today. I know that Impera Pass has won, but no fav yet in three
Didn't
races.
enjoy it yesterday, did they?
They had
God,
an
no.
absolute
Absolutely
smackaroo.
filled in, yeah.
Filled in is quite right. But we have got a clear favourite now, and perhaps unsurprisingly, we were told you about some reports of whopping bets going in, old school, hundreds of thousands on the 9-year-old. They're all the E's are 9 actually.
Yeah.
Edwardstone, Editor de Gite as well. Came from the Clarence House. Is that the line of form you want to be with? Let us know. It is almost certain that it's a repeat of the Clarence House chase, which we had at the trials meeting in January, according to the market. ENERGUMENE was sent off a warm order that day, only third. Edwardstone, 15-8. Last year's Arkle winner up against last year's champion chase winner. And the newcomer on the block, I think we have to say, unequivocally, has been Editor de Gite, who just loves Cheltenham. All right. Bruce, you've been talking about this since the start. You gave your case very candidly for ENERGUMENE. Just remind anyone that's just tuning in.
Well, I think he's a class act. Before the Clarence House, he went off 4-9 for that. He absolutely clattered the last, which put paid to any chances. I think he would have been very competitive then.
Yeah.
I just think on his overall body of form, and particularly his Cheltenham form, I think he's too good, and I think it's fantastic that the market has them so close together. So I'm very, very, very keen on ENERGUMENE.
There's a poll up on YouTube. Who wins the champion chase? You've got about 10 minutes to do that, and Bruce, you'd obviously be giving your number one to ENERGUMENE. All right, mine would be Edwardstone. I'll come round to Edwardstone, I have to say. I'm
He's a better
very
horse
impressed
this
with him
year.
in Tingle Creek.
He's a better horse this year.
So impressed.
He is
with him in
better.
He had
Tingle
a lot
Creek.
to do in the
ENERGUMENE
Clarence.
is arguably a little bit worse than last year. So
Well,
I think that tilts it in Edwardstone's
There was a
favour.
bit of a gap there, wasn't there? There was a bit of a break. Let's talk about the division since the start of it. Of course, we had the Tingle Creek, which I think was the key race, because ENERGUMENE, what he does is he turns up in races in Ireland where he's just far too good for everything. Hilly Way, and they're not the most competitive, for example. He skips Leopardstown and the Dublin Racing Festival. They always think the ground will be a little bit quick for him now. I'll tell you, if any horse is going to welcome this downpour that we've had at Cheltenham, it will obviously be him today. However, the key race has to be the Tingle Creek, because when Shishkin bombed out, I say bombed out, he was third. Did he bomb out in that? I suppose he did a little bit. Then
He was
that
a
was
bit
when
flat, wasn't he?
ENERGUMENE went odds on. Okay? And then we had the Tingle Creek winner, Edwardstone, who beat, Chris Giles' horse, Grenadine. There you go. And then he got his
Yeah, and
name totally
Grenadine's
wrong.
Cup final as well.
That's his manner, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's his gaff. And he thrashed him. That
Yeah.
was when I thought, hang on a minute. And the bookmakers, I thought they would have had Edwardstone because of Mullins, because of Townend, because of Tony Bloom, because ENERGUMENE being brilliant. I thought he would have just been around about 7-2, but he was always around about the 2-1, 9-4 mark. They didn't want to give you an each-way price on him. And I know a lot of people saying he was never 4-1, 5-1. A lot of people would be playing him, a filthy 11-4 each way if they could have got it. He's held his price. They turned up then in the Clarence House chase after Editor de Gite had taken advantage in the Desert Orchid on Edwardstone's next run of when he unseated, which was just a freak sort of rider horse sort of miscommunication by Tom Cannon. Very unusual. And we had to wait for it. A week later, we finally got it on. It was half the prize money, but thankfully we had a bigger field, and Editor Sheet was supplemented. And what he does at Cheltenham, he gets out in front. He jumps fantastically. I felt sure that he was going to get gubbed up that hill, and he fought back. And yet here he is still at 13-2. Energumene was only third in that race. Lots of debrief after that race and lots of comedy about the fact that the fences were white. Okay, and they put Energumene off. They've now painted his stable white. They were joking and all that sort of stuff. You think that's baloney? Why?
God, horses are colourblind, right? I mean, they could probably see the white possibly a bit more, but absolute rubbish it's going to affect in that way. I mean, I'd play more to no, it's a load of rubbish. Look at the white rails. No, it's crap. It's crap. They're colourblind. They'll see it lighter.
So they were searching for an excuse
I really don't believe that white between orange. And if that is the case, I may as well give up the game. But I think, I think yesterday, heart in mouth, when we were genuinely, I was at the finish line, but I had a really great view when Constitution Hill came out of Nico's hands at the last. That there was a bit of shadow, you know. The sun was bright, and I just thought, oh my word! And that's something to be mindful of. Annie Powell, we've got to be realistic. It's happened before. That they see shadows, yes, because they right before the fence, the horse doesn't see it. They've got their peripheral vision. You remember. So right before it, they don't see. Their vision's this way. So they've already figured out where they're going to take off. Shadow's problem, white and orange, rubbish.
And yet the trainers are sort of, just as a precaution, I think they've had hurdles painted white.
I don't blame them.
I think Gordon has, and so's Will.
Willie definitely has. Everything's white. Yeah,
I don't blame them, but I just think.
Look, if you're a forgiving man and you think he's definitely the best horse in the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a question of forgiving. He clouted the last. I mean, it's totally logical.
He was 4-9 to win that race.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was beaten way before that.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, we're covering it in here obviously live.
I don't understand.
I was watching Edwards. I thought Edwards to Jajit had him. I didn't think he looked happy on the far side. I don't think he really turned up that day.
Maybe.
And that would be a slight worry. And the other thing that was said coming in, one of our most watched clips on any of the shows we were doing around that time was when Tom Siegel came on In the Know and he said he's never beaten a good horse, Energumene. People went mad about it. But he's been beaten by a very good horse, but he's never beaten a good horse. Even when he won this race last year, it utterly fell apart. There was no Shishkin. He basically beat Fernand Discipula, who, of course, has come out and won a game spirit and does reoppose. Question to you, Robbie Wilders, is it a three-horse race?
Yeah, I think on this ground, I mean, if it was sort of good soft, you could make a case of Nube Negra, definitely. You could also make a case of Grenadine as well, but just the way it is, I think that's going to help the front three. Fernand Discipula would be interesting if it was a bit quicker.
It can't be that bad if Nube's taking his chance.
No, Dan was
but I mean, maybe they're thinking...
They said he wouldn't run, actually.
Yeah, but they've sort of got to run.
Prize money as well,
there's such few
options. Prize money.
Yeah.
Don't forget, they're here to win prize money, aren't they?
When we did our preview with the three wise men, we all agreed that if it was the ground that we thought it might be then, because let's face it, it had been like a Sahara.
Yeah.
3 weeks beforehand.
Isn't it?
We thought, well, Nube Negra was massively overpriced at 33. He's finished second in the champion chase. He's won a Schlur. There is only 2 visits to Cheltenham since. He's a very classy horse on his day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've really tried hard to make a case for Grenadine. I cannot work this horse out because he's got a really good CV on him, hasn't he? He's won loads. He's competitive when he runs. Do you know, my conclusion on this horse is that no horse sums up Paul Nicholls better than this in terms of placement and squeezing every last drop of talent out of his inmates. I think he's done that with Grenadine. He prepares them for races where the other leading candidates might not have focused it, such as the Horde. And I just think he embodies all that's great about Paul Nicholls.
What went wrong then in the Graham Spirit when he was 2s on to beat Fernand Discipula?
Yes, Nicholls has loads of horses beaten in that meeting. I mean, Clanders Oboe lost the Denman Chase at even money twice before winning that Aintree.
Comes around at jab time.
He uses it. He uses it as a trials meeting rather than his horses aren't essentially fully revved up. So, but I would have thought Grenadine just sort of taken this in before Sandown being his big one in the season.
He beat Altior, didn't he, a couple of years ago in that.
And also Grenadine, I always have him down as a bit better on good soft. So I think on this, I mean, have him in your mind for the celebration chase for sure.
Yeah, okay. We must go through the others, of course, before we give our tips. Captain Guinness is a horse that you just never quite...
Market support.
Is it?
He's very popular. 14's
for
really
Rachel and Henry.
Yeah, he has been quite popular, actually.
You saw the backside of Blue Lord yesterday.
Really see it.
You wouldn't have him full favourite, like, really.
Anyone like Blue Lord for the big one tomorrow? Right now.
Nah, I think Janadil's the Mullins one there.
Janadil's the Mullins one.
I think Hitman's going to run quite well. Yeah, again.
Oh, God, not again. Not just stop hitting that drum. The
I'm going to have
Hitman
to.
drum.
I've got to.
Connections are convinced he can get a place in that. But
No,
I
but
suppose
look,
I'm on him each way.
You
but-
can't-
it's just getting time, not
anything
far
can
off that.
happen. I mean, this type of race, what could happen is obviously ENERGUMENE and Edwardstone go at it, and Editor Jadit comes and takes the race. That is one very likely. I mean, not very likely, but it is another possibility. I can see.
Well, Editor come from behind.
No, but I can see the train of thought between ENERGUMENE and Edwardstone. It's all about them, and this whole thing goes
But isn't that what they did last time?
Yeah.
That's why last time was such a problem. I think that's the one thing that won't happen is that the trainers will say to the jockeys,
They will.
do not let Editor out of your
Go
sight. It's
that-
not a
yeah.
match anymore. So
Yeah.
that would be the worry for me with Editor, that he's going to be more closely marked.
Yes.
Because if you look last time in the Clarence House, Tom Cannon is way off.
Yeah,
He's
he is,
ignored the winner.
He
hasn't
can be keen, Edwardstone. That's the thing. He
Yeah,
can
he can
lift his head up.
But so yeah, exactly. So that I agree 100%. But then what worries me, I also, of course, I think ENERGUMENE is a fantastic horse. Flipping out, this is the Queen Mother Champion chase. He's a phenomenal horse. But I'm worried with this jumping to the right under pressure. Then I think we can pick holes in the closing stages with him, and that worries me jumping at Cheltenham. And that is when I think Edwardstone can come into his fore, because he can keep the pressure on but actually jump straighter.
Well, you kind of nailed it there for
That's
me
what
as
I
well,
think.
because I think he's the one horse that we know what his tactics are going to be.
Yes.
He can ride a bit closer. I don't know about ENERGUMENE. A lot of people were shouting about the tactics last time in the Clarence House of ENERGUMENE. If you remember, in last year's Champion Chase, we thought it would be a repeat of the Clarence House, where ENERGUMENE goes on, and he was all of a sudden held up that moment.
Yeah.
And we were all like, whoa, what's going on here? A lot of people still firmly of the belief that ENERGUMENE needs to get on with it. The problem for that, if that's the case, then they are going to get into a duel. And they will.
No, they won't. They won't do that. They won't do that.
But my point being, ENERGUMENE can't do that in this
can't.
race.
He
That's
can't,
what I
because
mean.
he's
Can't
got
and shouldn't.
flaws.
He doesn't
He's
need
snookered.
to. I don't think he
So
is. I don't
exactly.
think he is. I think he'll just sit. He'll sit behind that and come and grab him later on. But he will be more respectful of Editor, as Tom Cannon will on Edwards.
Yes,
it's
probably
a fascinating
right.
race. And I think, Nat,
No,
what
you-
makes this all the more interesting is that the big three did all run last time. So in a way, you should say, well, look, it's obvious what's going to happen because they all ran last time. But so much happened in that race, and it was such a tactical battle that it's almost added to the intrigue, hasn't it?
Yes,
I think
tactical
it's
race of the
fascinating.
week, potentially.
Yeah.
Yes, because if you stick to ENERGUMENE's right-hand side, you're shutting him off from jumping right.
Yeah.
That's a problem for him.
Loads of votes going up in the poll, loads of people watching. It's another great afternoon here on Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, we are 15 minutes away from this year's Champion Chase. Natalie Green deigned to join us. Bruce Millington got in beforehand with Robbie Wilders as well. And Robbie's actually leading the way, would you believe it? Soul Survivor! Soul Survivor says, I'm with the real ENERGUMENE to show up and win his Champion Chase. You're with Bruce, Team Bruce. What else have we got? One more coming up. Larry Parsnips.
Who wins in a race? Over what trip?
Well, it doesn't matter.
No, it
Any
doesn't.
trip.
Of course it does.
Any trip.
No,
I'd
100 metres.
annihilate you.
Actually, no, actually. No,
I'd annihilate you over any trip,
Oh,
obviously.
annihilate
I've
was
seen,
used.
I've seen your 5K times, yeah, you're beating me over any. No,
you
not
over
100
any-
metres.
Of course I would.
Are you still doing all your park runs?
Definitely not.
My park runs, half marathons, my friend.
You
Park
love your
runs.
park runs, don't you?
I do love a park
Yeah,
run, yeah.
come on,
yeah.
dude.
You reckon you beat me over 100 metres?
Hang on, let's get a bit testy here.
No,
You
two
don't
ways of
annihilate.
doing it. I'd annihilate him
marathons.
over any trip you like, Larry Parsnips.
Yeah.
All right.
Larry Parsnips, ask who can lift more in the gym. And then,
Oh,
and
well,
then
yeah, that's
answer
not
that.
hard, is it? Blimey. I mean,
think you
I
might
barely
laugh,
lift my
Dave, and I-
glasses.
Yeah, we'll just go and have a quick
We'll
drink,
just
shall we?
walk.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely fine.
We'll do a walkathon.
Loads of money, loads of
I
liquidity.
like that question,
on
though,
exchange for
Parsnips.
this
Keep
race
them
coming
coming.
up.
Was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Larry
did you know?
Parsnips.
Oh, sorry. Did you know? There's one really interesting factor in this race because everyone's been saying since the decks, if only there were 8 runners, you could have each way betting. But Fred Doan, Betfred, are betting 3 places in this, which makes Editor the snidiest, dirtiest each way bet of all time.
It's become a sort of enforced thing for bookmakers now, isn't it?
But
they
the-
didn't do it yesterday in the Champion Hurdle.
No, they only do it if the makeup of the race is right. You couldn't have done it in the Champion Hurdle yesterday. As it happened, Zanair was 3rd, so they probably would have got the money because everyone would have backed Vauban
yeah.
or I Like to Move It.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For certain 7-runner races, you can do it. So hats off to
Yeah.
Fred there, and he will be hoping that Editor doesn't hit the frame because, like I say, every each way thief worthy of the name is on Editor there with 3 places.
Finally getting some quotes from Patrick Neville. and the Nevilles about the real whacker coming in. We're just going to mind him for the Gold Cup, basically, is what I've taken out of it. Might go to Punchestown.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Could even go to Listowel in the autumn because it's one of the owner's favourite tracks. I think it's going to be one of these Shark Hamlin,
Yeah.
you know,
Why
Hewitt
not?
type cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
in
it.
the
isn't it?
handicap there, the what's it?
You get to go in the pub after.
Well, it would probably have to be
Yeah.
them. It would probably have to be the.
Is
There's no there's no top grade.
Limerick's the Munster
No,
National.
Kerry National.
No, it's
Kerry
not the
National.
Kerry. It's
No.
not the Kerry. Is it the Kerry
Munster.
National? Yes, it is the Kerry National at
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you're going to
I
have to
doubt
go to this
myself.
club.
I doubt myself.
Come on, let's
Well,
have a
invite me along, Phil Neville, if you can.
That was annoying as well with Hewitt in the pub, wasn't it? People were in uproar taking horse into the pub. It wouldn't go in the pub if it didn't want to go in the pub.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
It's a half a
yeah,
ton
exactly.
of animal.
Yeah.
Wants
Was
to
it,
go.
was it the effect?
What's so inquisitive? They don't-
Alcohol doesn't have any effects on horses, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, they can have a bit of Guinness. It's fine. That's all you should. They can have Guinness. It's absolutely fine.
No, I saw someone making a case that apparently horses like process are different to humans.
Oh my God! Of course it is. It's in the size of them.
Yeah.
We'd have to give Dave 4 paracetamol, and maybe have to give a horse a few bags. What are you?
Very rude.
Oh no, but you're
Why was I
big,
getting brought into this?
because you're big.
I'm the one who's doing some work here. Right, okay.
I double dose my husband all the time.
do
Have
you now?
another one. Have another. Have another, Dom. Still got a headache. Have another. You'll be fine.
We've had punting in time and double dosing. It's all kicking
Oh, I
off.
did a really good one yesterday.
Here we
Can I tell
go.
it really quickly? Went for a drink at the very end of the day with some friends. London Metrics, the most lovely guy called Valentine, made us all feel at home. There's Guinness, water, tea and everything. And he goes, also, you know, what do you know about petrol stations? And I said, being pregnant, I went, I love a good pump. It just came out. It just came out.
Did everyone start pumping?
People just looked at me like, he was like the main guy, and I went, oh, I love a good pump. And I really, really, really didn't mean it like that. I think I was thinking about electric pumps, all sorts of pumps, and it was just like that tumbleweed moment. But
You do have a habit of doing
Then
this.
he liked me. It's why he laughed.
Back to the
Blimey.
poll.
Only I was
You hadn't
saying
even
that.
had a drink, had you? Well, you'd had
No,
a
it's on
drink.
water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what to
Water,
say.
what's that? Production.
Yeah.
I've been trying to subtly off camera indicate to you that I'm absolutely suffering here through lack of water. I've been going like that
Advertising.
whenever I'm off shift.
Cup of tea while
Bruce,
you're there
can
as
you
well,
be quiet
pal.
there saying mission control are concentrating on getting this show continuing to
I
be on
want
the
a cup
road?
of tea and some of that
Mayhem
pizza in
in
the
here
kitchen
today.
ASAP as well.
Can I give you another quote
Yeah,
from
I
the Brian
didn't get
Advisory, please? Gordon, philosophical. He's been beaten a neck and he was in front after the line. I
What's a
retain
neck?
a neck. I retain the faith. He's top class. However,
Really sticking a knife.
whether he has another run this season is something that will have to be discussed with the owners. He's definitely had a hard race there. We're not unlikely to see Jerry Colomb, that means, until he goes down the Gold Cup path himself. The new breed are coming through.
They're coming, boy.
Yeah.
Come on,
11 to
Edward
10,
Stone. Look at it there.
ENERGUMENE. Look at that,
Cheers.
11 to 10, massive market confidence there. Edward Stone 15 to 8, 13 to 2, Editeur de Gite, 16 Captain Guinness, 28 Nube Negra and Grenadine, and 50 to 1 Funambule Sivola.
Give us your 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
in
what's
this.
funny about that?
Why are you saying it?
What's funny
Paul
about
Savola's
that?
a top little horse.
I haven't got a clue.
That was fine, wasn't it?
You never
So
know
you
with
said
Robbie.
Savola at the end.
Robbie hits a flat spot during his
name?
races. You've got to, this is a flat spot, I think.
Oh, we need
the air's
sugar.
going to his head.
No, I do.
Green tea.
I'm all for being mocked. I'm right up for it, but I just said Funambule Sivola.
Savola.
Hey, it's
I don't know, maybe I'm
Savola.
hearing things, mate.
Well, he's the rag of the lot, that's for sure.
No,
Give us your
I
1,
do
2,
lose
3s.
my head on RPI
Robbie,
after a couple
bring
of
it back,
hours.
please. Come on. 1, 2, 3 in the go in the champion chase.
1, 2, 3 is I've been thinking ENERGUMENE Editeur de Gite as the forecast for a while, but I'm warming. The more I hear about Edwardstone, even from this man to my right, I'm warming. So I'm going to go Edwardstone, ENERGUMENE 1, 2.
That's the
1,
forecast.
2.
You've got to give 3.
Yeah, forecaster. Oh,
1,
sorry,
2,
tricast.
3.
Oh, with Editeur de Gite third. I mean, it's kind of boring, but I just think the ground's going to suit those first
Edwardstone
three.
beats ENERGUMENE, so it's a kind of sort of mismatch.
Tell you what, if it was good soft, I'd be having a massive rethink, but it's not. So.
Social up before we get Bruce's Martin Lewis watching his money says the shock will be if ENERGUMENE doesn't win by 5 lengths. A lot of people putting
The money
eggs in your
expert
basket.
getting involved.
Yeah, if Martin Lewis fancies one, you've really got
Exactly.
really got to
quite
believe
right.
it. haven't you?
And he's taking a short price. There's safe gambling here, Martin.
Oh, you'd think you'd be reacting to the budget, wouldn't you? You'd be too busy with that to worry about Racing Post Live.
Is it
but-
today, the budget?
Yeah, it's happened already.
It has it.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he leaked it to the papers on Monday, so there's no surprise.
There's always the Twitter clips of when Gordon Brown was nearly made to resign. Well, not nearly made to resign, but all the Conservatives went absolutely potty, didn't they? Because it was Cheltenham week that they were doing the budget back in the early noughties. It was the Conservatives were absolutely, because they're all here usually smoking their cigars and watching this champion chase. 1, 2, 3, Bruce.
ENERGUMENE, Edwardstone, Editeur de Gite. They won't let Editeur get that far clear this time.
All right. I'm going to go. I might be controversial. Go on, after you.
I'm going to go Edwardstone,
Yeah.
Editeur de Gite, ENERGUMENE.
I'm going to go. Okay, so you're going for. Everyone's gone for the top 3 there in some sort of order.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the ground, isn't it? Because
I'm going to go Eddie to beat ENERGUMENE.
There's 2 Eddies.
Okay, Edward with the Stones.
Yeah.
All right, to beat ENERGUMENE. So last year's Arkle winner to beat last year's Queen Mother Champion Chase winner, and I think ENERGUMENE will finish 3rd.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think he'll beat Editeur de Gite?
I think he'll be ridden absolutely cold. I think he'll just about get away with his ground, and I think his Cheltenham foot record is being overlooked.
yeah, I mean, if you go back to that Desert Orchid,
I think Editeur de Gite, I think he might be the flop in the race.
you go back to that Desert Orchid. ENERGUMENE is odds on, and giving Editeur £6 and Editeur won at 28 to 1. I know he's improved since, but
It's a funny. It's
Selections
such a
are on the
weird
screen then from the
profile,
team.
isn't it?
he needs to be
Editeur de Gite. I mean,
fresh. Yeah.
At the start of the season, he was held up in a handicap, and you thought, right, they're trying to get him down a couple of pounds for the December Gold Cup. I spoke to Gary Moore, and what a shout prior to that. And he almost said, well, I think his actual line was, the handicapper almost accused me of stopping him that day, which
Big
he goes,
call.
that's absolutely ridiculous.
call.
You know, and of course I said, so what's going to happen next time? He didn't make that handicap because it was called off, if you remember. And he went to Kempton and just, well, whether Edwardstone would have stood up or not, he was mighty impressive with that. But ENERGUMENE followed him behind on that day. He looked to play a 2 out and he got bottomed on the soft ground that day.
Yeah, but Nube, like, his record, that was only like a month after the Schlur, wasn't it? I know, that, to be fair, it's a bit of a schooling race, but all his best form is
They
off the big old
fancied
breaks.
Nube to give weight to Edwardstone, they being the skeleton team that day. Yeah, Charlie Poster was doing the show, was really close to that camp, and he was like, you know, they're quietly just sitting their way and they're confident about this chap. Listen,
He's a good horse, mate.
I can see, anyway, that's my top 3, what are yours? They're coming out on the track.
I don't mind that at all, Dave.
I'm loving today. This is always a different change of pace. But we never knew what we were going to get with this box of frogs in
mate.
here.
We're all a bit dehydrated. Oh, actually, you've got water now.
I was struggling, and yet you two, well, we can
I'm like
see
an
your
oasis
water
of
bottle.
calm.
Hold your water bottle up. It's more like a bucket. So I'm sitting here parched, and these two have got massive, great.
Yeah, and I bet you had a
Really
nice,
cans.
healthy lunch because you're already
have a
in
little
London.
little
Have something
pokey
to
bowl,
eat.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not 5 hours and 25
Have
minutes.
you not had any nourishment?
No, I.
You're not going to pass out,
I was
are you?
so well behaved because I was so organised. I actually made a sandwich that I made last night when I got home. It was left over
Very
from
unlike
Cheltenham.
you, Natalie.
I know. So otherwise,
Where's
no,
that
I
sandwich?
don't think.
Where is the sandwich? You eating it?
I've eaten it on the train.
Oh,
I
wow.
made it.
Oh, okay, so you're not hungry.
Why are you holding your phone charger? Is it like a stress ball?
No, because I don't know. Because
You've been holding it all shut
Yeah,
up.
Nat, there's
Do
a
you want to
socket,
plug it
there's a
in?
socket down
I
there.
actually had it between my legs and it was.
Yeah, let me.
It wasn't good. It wasn't.
Don't get her going down that route.
No, I nearly sat on it.
Don't get her going down that
Spiky.
route. We might not have
There
a
we
commercial
go.
partner on this show this week, but we can still be taken off air. All right, okay, ENERGUMENE going down full of himself.
He's quite keen. He's got his head.
Oh,
down.
he's got a lot. He's
Oh, so I've now got to sit here with this.
Do you know what? Don't you
Just
swear
got a
again.
swap.
Shouldn't have said anything. No, do you like that? I don't like when they put the head down like that.
You got a reference, by the way. Did anyone watch that What a Shout Live we did with Kills and Johnny Deneen and Pat Cooney? Kills, he did what you didn't do with Goshen.
He
I was
stopped himself in time.
It was a brilliant save.
Was
Oh,
it?
really?
It was like the ball was on the line and he just got it right back.
It's like
off
when
it.
Tiger has his backswing and someone shouts and then he just stops there.
Just
Yeah, he
br-
just.
precision. He pulled it right back, but we were in fits
One of
of
my
giggles
all-time
'cause-
favourite moments working there. That. I mean, I wasn't even part of
was
it.
the Goshen.
I thought I was going
Yeah.
to get sacked. Honestly, did. And then I looked on. Do you remember this? Well, yeah, I did because I had a massive bet on Goshen, and when he fell, I dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah.
And live, and I was absolutely mortified. And I honestly thought I was going to get sacked. And then I looked at my phone during the show, and they've clipped it up and put it out on Twitter. I'm like, what are you trying to do to me? I thought you liked me.
there's a guy called Elliot.
These
Atlee running
markets-
circles
You a
there.
bit more.
These marketing people stitch you right
Well,
up.
Elliot, who was
They
running
take
the
things so out
social
of
side of
context.
it, that to him was gold dust, and it turns out that was one of our
Oh, it's
most
so-
popular
it's-
clips
it's-
of the time.
I tell you-
And then they did
Live.
one with the monkey emoji to cover it up, didn't they? Have you on it? But you
Carl
did.
Hinchley swore with me at
You encompassed what everyone was thinking at that very moment.
Yeah.
Perfect summary. I mean, if that was me, I reckon I would have got sacked.
Yeah,
You're Bruce, and I'm
Carl
Robbie.
Hinchley gave me a massive kiss at Aintree and then swore when I said, what did he feel in the closing stages? And yeah,
Really?
I apparently should have...
Live on ITV.
Yeah, but he only said shitting it.
Natalie Green.
God, we would like to
Turn up late,
apologise.
come in
We
there.
hate to
we hate that
apologise
sort
for
of
that
language.
language,
I think.
and just to say,
Nah.
she's not part of our HR, so
Also-
you
also
can
said,
throw as many eggs at her as you want.
I said bollocks earlier, and that's fine.
Look, that's enough.
That's a
Dave,
yellow
get
card,
a grip.
No, but we've had that in the headline on the website, Matt.
No,
without
that
the
doesn't matter.
asterisk.
No, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Right, get a
My
grip,
God.
I'm being told. Get a
I'm
grip
not surprised.
of your tips out there as well. I cannot wait for this race. They're kind of taking their time to get down
Yeah.
there. Robbie's losing his head a little bit. I will be on top of that, don't worry. Have we placed a bet in this race is the question. We're just going to let this roll.
Well, I think we've all got different opinions, so I
We
think we'll let it
have.
roll.
We have.
Yeah.
It is. We're just going to let this one roll. We don't bet in every race here on the show. We're in profit today for the Injured Jockeys Fund, which is absolutely superb. Whatever happens at the end of the Gold Cup, which is our final race on the show this week, that's when we go off air for the week. We will be writing that cheque and sending
Could
it
it be
off.
a shock, this race? It's just, you just never know, you know what I mean? When you have these battle of the clashes, sometimes, you know,
I've just backed Greenity.
things happen.
I've just backed Green, so I'm not ashamed to
Who
say it.
haven't you got in this race is probably the easiest question.
No, it's not. No, I've got one, two.
Have you had to get a bit on Captain Guinness as well?
No.
All right. Okay.
No,
'Cause
I've
when
backed-
you said it was a buzzer, I was wondering.
No, not at all.
They're about to go off then, guys.
It's exciting.
It is. This should be an
Edison Tajik lining
absolute.
up in front for Gamble
Speed.
Responsibly. Bruce then,
Accuracy.
over to Bruce Millington. I'm thrilled to say he's calling the 2023 Champion Chase.
Okay, ENERGUMENE, the defending champion, is 11 to 10. Edwardstone 15 to 8. Editor Dugit 7. Captain Guinness into 12. A very stagnant market, and now they are off and thundering towards the first flight. And Editor Dugit takes it up from ENERGUMENE, and they sail over the first. All 7 going well. Funambul Sivola is out of the back. Taking quite a keen hold on the inside is, I think that's Greenity. No, it's Captain Guinness on the inside. They sail over the second, they're absolutely fine. Edwardstone is settled in now. The 7 runners separated by 2 lengths. The speed looks pretty hot, doesn't it, Nat?
It does, and this is why this is so good. They've got to be just right at these fences. They are galloping here at big fences.
The first thing to say after 2 fences, Bruce, you're absolutely right. Paul Townend has literally given...
Funambul Sivola has gone on the
that was a
I'm
outside.
afraid that will go down as an unseat, but it was a blunder for sure. He's giving Noel Houlihan
Can't
no
get away with
respite
it with the
whatsoever.
speed.
The one thing to say, however, we thought Edwardstone would be a bit closer, and I know there's only 6 lengths covering the field. He is still at the back, Tom Cannon. He's still going to have to make that big pace move.
But he's not too far off, is he? You happy with all this, Rob?
Happy enough, mate, yeah. He did initially sit a little bit closer, but he's not far off, is he? And ENERGUMENE is noticeably closer to Editor Dugit.
Okay, they're jumping the fence, which I don't think I've ever seen a horse fall. It's the one in front of the best mate, and they're heading out away from the stands, and it is Editor Dugit. Going at a fairly sensible pace now, slowed it right down, making ground on the outside. Our Nuba Negra and
What's
Greenity.
doing here? I don't get
What's
this.
happening here? Because Editor's been pulled back now,
Yeah.
and ENERGUMENE has taken it up. Not a very elegant jump at that point. So we've got,
Edwardstone just a little bit
Yeah,
tight there.
he was.
yeah, ENERGUMENE is now just about the leader from Editor
gonna
Dugit,
be a
and then on the
collapse here,
outside,
guys.
Nuba Negra. Greenatine's been pulled back now into 5th place. Captain Guinness is in 4th, and Edwardstone is sitting at the back and watching it all unfold in front of him. I don't know whether this constitutes cutting each other's throats up front, but Editor Dugit and ENERGUMENE are both going hard at it. But it's only 26 miles an hour.
It is, but I don't think Edwardstone and ENERGUMENE want to get in the same battle, though.
Well, they kind of are. This is what they're doing.
Why?
It's kind of what they are. What you don't want when you're on Pace Jewellers is to be sort of neck and neck.
But is it a battle, or are they both just going?
I'd
They're
be
both
happy with
close
Paul
with
Townend
each
for
other.
sure.
Okay.
The one thing to say, the exchange doesn't mind Edwardstone. He's gone in a little bit low, but he's still holding his price just about in the minute.
The exchange
not
always
getting
loves a
into battle,
closer.
though.
Right, they're They're now taking the first of the two ditches, and ENERGUMENE has definitely got the edge on Editor Dujit on the inside. Grenadine with a poor jump. Captain Guinness very close up inside. Nube Negra has dropped right back. So we now, at the top of the hill, we have ENERGUMENE up by a length from Editor Dujit. Then Captain Guinness a length further back. Then Edwardstone 2 lengths further back. And then out the back, we have got Nube Negra and Grenadine. It looks like it's going to be between the principals, although Captain Guinness is still very much in it.
Yeah, he's cruising,
as they're bowling along now. And it is ENERGUMENE and Editor Dujit duking it out up front. Captain Guinness is third. Edwardstone is close in fourth, trying to get back into it. Grenadine. Nube Negra looks about the only one that can't win out of these. Oh, it's a poor jump there.
He's gone too on ENERGUMENE.
ENERGUMENE. I didn't think it was a great jump, but the goggles are down. He's dropped the goggles. That's always a good sign. Edwardstone
hasn't turned up today. Edwardstone.
Edwardstone in fourth is struggling. ENERGUMENE is cruising.
Captain Guinness, the biggest.
Captain Guinness could emerge as the big danger because Editor Dujit is not going very well. Grenadine. Edwardstone is right out the back. They're turning him a two to jump. And here is ENERGUMENE looking to hold on to his ground. He's a length clear of Captain Guinness. Editor Dujit looks cooked. They jump the second last, and it's ENERGUMENE absolutely cruising. He's only got to jump the last. He's 3 lengths clear of Captain Guinness. Here comes the He's over. ENERGUMENE is going to win the champion chase for the second year running. This is an absolute procession.
Wow.
We thought it was going to be close. He has not come off the bridle. Tony Bloom enjoying a fantastic afternoon as ENERGUMENE bolts up in the Queen Mum by 12 lengths from Captain Guinness. What a comprehensive victory. They are miles clear. We're still waiting for the third. That could even be Grenadine. We thought it was going to be close with the 3 E's, but it was easy for ENERGUMENE.
Oh, you've been practicing that one and you got it right, Bruce Millington. Fair play. You said this was your nap of the day.
Yeah, it was very
and
impressive.
away it goes.
Nice
and that
work.
was the ENERGUMENE that most people were expecting to see at the Clarence House in January. We'll pick the bones out of it. It was a messy race to watch, wasn't it? And I mean, this would be the distance so far, the biggest distance, because there was a big market on that, wasn't there, which race it was going to be. Champion Chase now goes into short price favoritism there. ENERGUMENE then, wow, okay, back to back Queen Mother Champion Chases and another for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend, and he just made it look so simple, didn't he? And it was the attacking move after 2 fences to get right onto the haunches of Editor Dujit. He hated that on the far side. They were neck and neck. You wondered whether he'd done too much. But if you look at Irish form, Captain Guinness cannot beat ENERGUMENE. No. It just doesn't happen. So turning in, he went into 2s on. That was too big. Paul Townend was absolutely elated. Robbie Waters, what do you make of the form?
Yeah, he's handled the ground the best, doesn't he? Edwardstone just completely... He's not run a race like that in years, basically. That was really, really quite shocking. But, yeah, I mean, completely different ENERGUMENE to the one we saw in the Clarence House. He obviously was a bit undercooked. I mean, the ground was pretty similar that day, wasn't it? So
I don't want to take anything away from this horse because he's obviously a monster. And he's
I just think he's jumped brilliantly today.
He's almost a Denman of the sort of Queen Mother division, isn't he? He's just a tank. He's so uncomplicated.
Loads of great ones now.
Everything we said, like everything that I've seen in the past, like no jumping right. He showed a great turn of foot.
But that race has fallen apart.
His engine came into fourth. The only thing, if you want to be really critical, obviously Edwardstone was reported to be lame after the Clarence House. Has that had an effect?
Joan King's only got 2 runners this week.
Bad old error from Grenadine.
He was the best.
He's done very well to get third after that.
Has he stood up? I've
Harry
never
Compton will just
gone
be
through that fence like
really.
Harry Potter. That's impossible what he's done there. That's
Harry
extraordinary.
Potter go through
No, the best.
You only go through the wall to get.
Broomstick.
I
thought we were doing a broomstick angle.
It's a wall.
It's a wall.
I didn't expect to see platform 9 3/4 referenced on RP Live.
Brilliant. On this show, do you get that? All right, next year they're already going. He was 10s, would you believe it, for next year's Champion Chase. He's now into 6 to 1. El Fabiano was given at 3s, wasn't he, for that? I mean, he has to be favourite for next year. And he's a 10-year-old, I know, but he is just an absolutely uncomplicated tank.
That wasn't great there, was he?
Pretty good, Dave.
He wasn't good there, that one at the top of the hill.
Pretty good.
He doesn't jump as well as this chap, though, does he? And this is the main man. But I can't help but thinking if I was analysing this race in my department, I would be saying it has he's won 2 champion chases that have fallen apart. No, you can't take anything away from him because he's won that on the bridle. And I think even if Edwardstone had been on his metal, he would have come off second best today. I think you have to say that.
I do.
It was a magnificent
sight. It was a weird one. Grenadine made that Horlicks of an error. Editor Dujit probably maybe a little bit ground, but he doesn't like it when they put it up to him.
Editors, he might not even have got third, Dave.
Yeah.
Look,
I
he's
think
jumped
he's
the last
walking,
10
isn't he?
clear. They've
Yeah.
absolutely walked him.
Captain Guinness is the benchmark here, Rob, right? 159, Blue Law,
Well, how you
12
rating
lengths
it?
by...
You're giving Captain Guinness a career best, aren't you? You're giving Edwardstone high 170s. I wouldn't go 180 for that.
No,
No.
me neither.
I still have El Fabiolo over him though. I
think he's basically just run to his mark. He's returned to his best.
Basically, yeah. I worry about Mullins horses when they get to the age of 10, whether they can keep up such a high level of form for so long. I think they're coming for self.
Any horse?
Yeah, any horse.
Hard,
but
10.
particularly Willie Mullins' record drops off with older horses.
Yeah, it's very, very
I mean, we're looking
hard.
quite far ahead. Sort of enjoy the moment. Congratulations to Tony
ENERGUMENE looks
Bloom.
like the GOAT, they're saying in the chat and all that sort of stuff.
He looks,
What on earth happened to Edwardstone?
Looks fit
What
as a
did
flea.
happen to
Never
him?
going. Just
No.
never going. I didn't see a bad mistake either. I just didn't pick a leg up.
I'm
did he?
right in thinking Kingy's only got 2 runners on the week, isn't he?
we don't know what's happened to home. He was reported lame after the Clarence House. We don't know how much work he missed.
He's got something in the bumper.
We don't know if he still feels sore. We don't know. They're not
Well,
gonna
that
tell
was
us.
just too bad
We're
to
not
be
gonna-
true.
We're not going to know.
If only they could talk, ain't that?
But he
Listen,
was
wouldn't it?
reported lame though. We don't know. We won't. Maybe we won't find out. Maybe, but.
Yeah, okay.
But I do agree that even if Edwardstone
he's a
on
weekend
his form, I
economist, you
think
know, so we might find out on
ENERGUMENE was excellent.
Yeah.
Really was.
Jumped
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
brilliantly.
And
None
what's
of
that on the week
right
now for Team
malarkey.
Mull?
Is it 4 now?
Four.
They're
Four.
2 yesterday, 2 today, is it?
2 today, yeah. And Tony Bloom, you know, he's just...
Noob was pulled up a long way out.
What?
Yeah.
That was a bizarre one. I thought he was going to sit just last and pick up the pieces and just running for a bit of luck. And yet he wanted a bit of the action early, didn't he, Skelton? I don't know. It was
That was
very bizarre one.
extraordinary. They were absolutely strung out there, weren't they?
There'll
That
be a
was
few people
really
on that
mad.
forecast, though, you know, ENERGUMENE and Captain Guinness, because there was a lot of love for Captain Guinness.
It was popular in the market, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It went
you
up at
said that,
12 to
Rachel,
1.
I
etc.
didn't have that forecast.
I'm just trying to work out whether the dirty each way on third on Editor's come off. I think Greenity might have got back up and got third off him.
So we were going the 1, 2, 3s. We tried to go a different way. Is Grianatine third, yeah? Yeah, confirmed.
Is he?
Look at that lovely graphic of your champion chase winner there under the Racing Post Live banner.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely superb. He's just a bit of a tank, this horse,
Yeah,
isn't
he is. Yeah, look at
Great.
his class there.
It's great.
Yeah.
And as we said earlier, what a day for Tony Bloom. He's got ENERGUMENE here, and then he's chairman of and owner of Brighton, and they've got their bitter rivals, the Mighty Palace, tonight.
It is
Will
bitter,
he get the
isn't it?
double up?
What was the last score when you played them? Can you remember?
We nicked a draw against them. We've been so lucky against
Still
them.
playing
We're
Shrub, are
due
you?
to get we're due to get
They are
absolutely hammered.
such a well-run side, you know.
Brilliant, aren't they?
They are.
They're fantastic.
They are.
Look at their scouting and the way they've. I mean,
And the
if
way
he
that
could buy
Potter went and your
racehorses
man
like
just
he
came in,
buys
yeah.
footballers. It's incredible.
Yeah, we were linked with De Zerbi like a couple of weeks ago before we turned it around.
Well, we've got one more coming your way here on Racing Post Live. That is the champion cross country race. Do you think it should still be a handicap, the cross country?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
You've been reading my analysis in the paper, haven't you?
I actually haven't written a word.
No, it 100%
That was actually
should
great
be.
from me.
It was so
Just
much.
get out of it.
It was so much better.
Inside
But
paper.
interestingly, the cross-country race is the 18th betting race, like in the top
Yeah,
23.
wasn't that
It's
amazing?
18. So like, it's a serious race for punters. So we have to have it. Hate it when people say get rid of it. It's crap.
What, the
Hate
cross-country?
that.
Why?
It's the 18th biggest race in the
People
living
like
calendar.
it now. No one calls for it to be called off anymore.
Keels
Do you remember?
has
He used
been.
to
Yeah,
get
he
really
has.
good. He
Yeah, they
used
have.
to.
No,
but
No, he has. He's been doing it all this week.
Well,
I don't even know.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes,
He said
heavily.
go for a fag, go to the bar, and then come back.
But that's
And
the beauty. He can. If he doesn't enjoy
Yeah.
it, that's fine. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, does
Not
it?
doing that well, are we? In the deal.
Do I think it should be handicapped? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because you are having graded horses running in this when actually you are squeezing out. You
we've got
are
horses that have
squeezing
run in the
out
Gold
lesser
Cup
horses.
at the moment. We've got 3 Grade 1 winners between them at the top of the market against the horse of Martin Keithley's called Back on the Lash, who
That wants the
basically
rain.
is Mr. That doesn't want the rain.
No, I saw. I saw Martin. I had a lovely chat with him in Belinda actually. Yeah, so he doesn't want the right, but it's who knows? But
Well,
it
he's the
wasn't-
cross-country sort of specialist at the moment, and obviously does
That
work.
made me worry.
Broke hearts in
Martin's
this race
face
last
made
year.
me worry because he was like, "Oh, I've just walked it." He walked it yesterday.
Wasn't happy with it.
No.
Of course, we're very thankful that the rain did come, if for nothing else, for this course. But I used to love this discipline when the old crackers were there. I think the first time I ever went to Cheltenham was a November meeting, and I saw a horse called Lyndon's Lotto, who Tony Martin trained, and he was an Empire State Building of horse. And he used to come over with no form next to his name, and he'd go in with these races. Spot the Difference used to be an absolute he was one of my favourite all-time horses. Spot the Difference. He was just
brilliant.
incredible. Jossie's orders used to go in with him. What was the other one? Quite a few of them.
Oh yeah, Cantlow.
Josie's
Another one for you.
Cantlow, great shout.
Thank you, Uncle Junior.
How's Tony
Uncle
Bloom?
Junior.
It's now 3:43, and Tony Bloom's got to get to Brighton for 8 o'clock kickoff.
Do you reckon it's a
The
chopper?
helicopter.
Heli, won't he? Look, they've got Brighton scarf on the horse.
He might have to get a helicopter. It took just under an hour and a half to get off the course in a car yesterday.
Oh, did it? Yeah. If
It
you
was
don't,
fine
if
'cause
you
we were
don't go
eating in the
before the
car.
last, it's a nightmare,
You're
isn't
screwed,
it?
aren't
We
you?
ate in the car, but it was an hour and a half to get off the track.
I'm going Friday, and I always park in someone's driveway and pay the 20 quid.
Yeah.
Because if you go into the
There's an app
Yeah,
for that,
you
isn't
don't
there? Do you do it for footy as well? There's an app for
No,
it,
no,
isn't there?
I just drive along, and
Right.
they've all got little handmade signs.
Oh, have they? Like, yeah,
and they're like,
please
come
park
on.
here.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
brilliant.
really?
And it turns out you've got Bruce Millington
You
parking.
do put like pay them a score, and then that way because if you go into the car park, you enter this funnel out of which there's one car passes at any given time. So the nap, if you're driving to Cheltenham, is to park in someone's driveway. 20 quid. I know it's 20 quid, but I promise you it will save you 2 hours of your life.
There is an app for it.
I thought you were
can
saying
do it
you-
in football.
Yeah.
I thought
Anyway,
you said
so
you do
there
it
we
without
go.
a permission
We digress.
first of all.
Oh no, you have to ask.
Everyone has signs outside the house.
We've got plenty of time
That's a
until the
good
cross
system,
country.
man.
Let's have a bit of a chat about this. What were the facilities like yesterday? A lot of chat last year about how it couldn't be any worse. People saying the queues for the coffee and the loos and all that sort of stuff. Leopardstown got a bit of a beating for that as well, didn't it? Any problems along that
Well,
side?
I have a problem with
Cash
what was it?
points or-
£14.70 for some sort of cheese board last year or something.
Wow.
Remember in that cheese and sandwich? Remember it was
Not
all
too
on
bad, is it?
Twitter.
I thought my Pokeball for a $5 at Waitrose is bad. That's terrible.
No, so I don't eat there.
Only you found that funny.
Do you like the bottle of champagne
Yes,
with a little
I do.
glass at the top? That
Yeah, but it
weird
was
thing they do.
£35.
35 quid. And it's only 2 glasses, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's a bit silly.
28 for the white Moet and for the rosé is 35. So for
I do find that racing gets a bit
Dom
hit
and
with
I
a
to
stick
have
on this
2
front
drinks,
sometimes.
but-
You know, it's very expensive with the rugby for a drink of stuff, isn't it? You know what I
And
mean?
I went to a concert at Wembley Arena recently, and the price for the food and drink there was astronomical,
Yeah.
even compared to Cheltenham. It was ridiculous.
Who'd you
I
see,
can't
mate?
really comment on food though because I took a picnic because I think that's for me that's half the enjoyment with my mates, with Richard Burton, you know, ex point jockey, talking about the sales and mares and breeding and all that. You know, it's part of the.
It's aging very well, Richard Burton. I saw
Oh,
a picture
I
of him the
loved
other day
it
at Points to Point
since
website.
Justin Vernon.
He's doing really
aging
well
very
with his
well.
bloodstock, so he's got no risk at all. Then he's going to put 2 mares to Golden Horn because I personally think anyone who's into breeding, if I had a mare right now, I'd be going straight for 8 grand to Golden Horn because he is stamping himself.
Is
as
that
an
value,
excellent
8
sire.
grand? Seems
Yeah.
pretty cheap.
For Golden Horn, yeah.
Well, compared to walking parks, like,
Yeah, Posty was
it's going to
banging on
be.
about that.
I'm telling you, as a national hunt sire, I don't have a
Posty's
mare.
doing 5 Live this week, and I noticed that he was.
Oh, that's why he's not here.
He was actually on the BBC website in the sports
Was
section.
he?
They took a quote of his about Constitution Hill on the website.
Do you reckon he might forget about us?
It's got to be his claim to fame. He's back on Grand National Day.
Bless him, he's great.
He's back on Grand
So
National
no,
Day.
I think part of it, it's having a picnic with friends, chatting about the horses, hearing their opinions, talking about bloodstock, passing trainers or people, bumping into people that you wouldn't know, food, but drink is expensive. Because the only thing they do with the little bottle mower now, they don't sell big bottles.
Right.
So there's 4 or 6 of you, you'd rather just buy a
you'd
big
share
one.
a bottle, wouldn't you? Yeah.
They make you
Oh, that's
cleverly.
poor. That's rubbish.
you can't
Not
buy a
even
big
clever,
bottle.
that's just rubbish, isn't it? But did everyone seem to be having fun? Because what I always
what I
like
was
is coming
gonna
out of
ask.
Cheltenham at the end of the day, and everyone's really nicely tanked up. I mean, I hope I don't live to sort of regret this comment, but I've never even seen like big trouble or fighting or anything.
That's great.
I just see people enjoying themselves, and I love walking out of Cheltenham. And I'm not going to have a drink on Friday. I'm going to drive down and drive back, and I love walking out and being in that kind of happy throng. Did you
100%.
get that yesterday?
100%.
Brilliant, isn't it?
If I worked for F&B at Cheltenham, I'd say the Guinness Village, they've now offered lager and spirits. No, just keep it as Guinness because the queue now is flipping enormous because what they used to be able to do is pour
Free
half
pour.
for 15, top them up.
Yeah.
When I worked in a ski resort, that's all we did. You know, we did jugs and jugs, and we were so fast. I could have 10 deep at the bar and I could get those beers out so fast. But we were in that queue for so long because it should just be Guinness.
Guinness takes longer to pour than
course it
I
does.
can make Christmas dinner in the time it takes to pour a Guinness. haven't I?
Playing a round of
Calories
18
as well.
holes, yeah.
Same calories. So I wouldn't personally have had a different offering of drinks because it slows the whole thing down.
That's
All right, Bruce, we're losing you for the week after this, and you,
Aw.
Robbie, as well.
Yeah, well, I'll still be working, mate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we've still got put up with you in the office.
So you're going just on
Friday, day trip
Brilliant.
Friday. Because when I was editor, you go 4 days, and by the time you get to Friday, you'd be absolutely on the floor. It was so bad.
Just pop a scrum.
I just wanted my mum on a Friday. I was so tired and weak as a kitten. But now, last year I did the day trip Friday, and I bowled down. I'm like, all right, everyone, how you doing? And they're all like, oh my God, just put it over. It is. I know it sounds pathetic. If you're listening to me here now at home, and you're thinking, what are you on about? You're going racing 4 days, but you're outdoors, you're drinking,
hardcore,
you're chatting, you're walking around, you're on your feet. It's cold. There's big nights potentially. Not that I even did that, but by the time you get to Friday, everyone's just broken.
Oh my God, I think you can say after. I texted Dave last night saying, I am shattered. You know, it's a couple of hours there. You're there all day, you're out, you're on your feet all day.
You are in the family way though, aren't
you?
I mean,
yeah,
to be fair.
Exactly, and so you get a bit more tired anyway, but you're talking to everyone, you're stimulated, aren't you? And then you're driving 2 hours home, an hour and a half to get off the car.
And you've looked forward to it, so you've got that nervous excitement, haven't you? Yeah.
It's normal.
There is a bit about that. So you two are leaving us for the rest of the week. After this ad break, I want to ask you what your best bet is for the rest of the week coming up. Don't miss that after this.
Best recommendation I've ever had.
I use it every day without fail.
It's my go-to for any race day.
Mate, it's so good.
It's like Frankel, but quicker.
Puts me one step ahead of this lot.
I nearly hit your head. Right, which camera you want me to look in?
Gills, what do you think of the new app?
Well, I'm on it now, aren't I? I need it for my job.
Get the app. If you've not, it's free. And we've been showcasing it all the way, and we're going to do it with a bet in the final race. But I did ask you for a bet of the week coming up. You can give me one or two if you want. Robbie Wilders, what is your nap has gone in now, Fabiano. You've had a great day today as well.
My nap today was the real whacker when I was getting WhatsApp.
That's two, buddy.
Yeah.
So what's the Thursday nap?
Tomorrow. I just, on a similar line to the real whacker, I can't really see Home by the Lee out the first 3 and stays over.
You've kept with that.
He's a different horse this season.
Be smug. What prices have you got to pay? Because you went big on your anti-postman, didn't you?
28 to 1.
Oh, filthy.
Oh. I still think he's value now though.
And what about Friday?
Friday. Bit worried about the novice hurdlers in Britain, but I quite like Stay Away Faith for the Albert Bartlett. But that's going to be huge.
Just quick, I saw Harry Cobden. Did you see him getting interviewed after coming back in on Grenadier? And a great big smile on his face. And he's having a tough week again, isn't he? Let's hope it changes. We're still not quite on the half-time whistle. Happy days. Bruce, Thursday.
If you look at the run at Chepstow, thanks for your help is just unbelievable. It just catches your eye. It's such an easy win. He's 5 to 1 Fab for the Potemps, so you should think to yourself, what am I doing back in the Fab in the Potemps?
When that went to Punchestown, I got told it couldn't lose, and he just pulled too hard.
Yeah, I think he could dot up in the Potemps, and then on Friday, I'd quite like a Gordon Elliott horse at a big price in the Albert Bartlett called Search for Glory.
Yes.
They ran a really nice race on Galmoy hurdle day, I think, and I think he's half decent. So I don't mind backing a lesser Elliott horse.
I asked Johnny Deneen for a horse that would win, that was running at this year's festival, that would win next year's festival. There were questions that we were getting from the social network.
Running in this year's festival that
would win at next year's festival, and whether it wins or not, and that's the horse that he put up.
Really?
Search for Glory.
Well, let's hope he's a year too soon.
It's the chaser in the pack. Yeah. So anyway, that's an interesting one. All right, okay. What wins the Gold Cup?
I've been against Galopin all along, so I'll stick with that. And I'll excuse A Plus Tard, and I think I wouldn't back him each way because he could blow out again. But I think if he wins, you'll go, Christ, look what I did last year, 10 to 1.
The moment Honeysuckle passed the line, that was what I asked. I said, A Plus Tard. Now you can just see it, can't you? It's just a special time of year, and it's different. Robbie, what wins the Gold Cup?
Galopin beats Protectorat by about a length.
Okay. All right. I asked you.
I quite like Protectorat.
And you were told.
Yeah. I like Protectorat, but I think Noble Yates. I'm not going to ignore
Noble. Do you fancy Noble Yates?
The more the rain comes, I think he'll run.
Who's your Gold Cup tip, Dave?
I think
you can't really give it away yet. Oh, do you just go Galopin?
Yeah, I've been on these. I've done enough previews.
Yeah, you have.
And what shouts and all that sort of stuff. And I think Galopin was one of my naps of the week. Actually, Jerry was the nap of the entire week.
Are we going to do our fancies for the later races today?
Yes,
That's a
we
great
have to do
idea,
that,
mate.
don't
Do
we?
that, shouldn't we?
We will go back to the cross country.
Yeah, we should do
Which is
that.
at 4:10. Right, 4:50 is the Grand Annual. Who likes winning that?
Me.
Go for it.
Battle over Doyen.
Oh, yes.
Massive price.
Massive price.
Massive price.
Yes.
But with loads of extra places, back him each way, and I think you could get a
Redemption
good
for
run
Jordan
him, mate.
Gainford.
Exactly.
All right, Robbie
Grand
Wiles.
Annual size in Potsy. I like to say I know Kills and Siegel would put him up, but I was
Both
first.
put him up,
I
did
was
they?
first. All right.
Were you?
I was. 'Cause I did this thing for the tote a couple of days ago. But anyway,
What's all this?
I know he
Stop
does this
clicking,
weird
mate.
clicking stuff.
I sort of do that, yeah.
He does it.
Saw
I
that
know, it's
about,
weird.
mate.
Smash it.
He's just really well handicapped. He ran in this off top weight 2 years ago. He's down to 140. He's running a couple of much better races than this behind Editor, the Gee, obviously the Clarence House, and the Desert Orchid. I could imagine this has been a long-term target for quite a while since he's joined David Pipe, and he's just really well handicapped. So he's about 18 to 1.
There's a massive gamble in the Grand Annual.
Oh,
Have
go
you
on.
seen it? This Dino Blue, who was always
That's
one
the
of it.
Deneen thing, isn't
It's
it?
been.
Deneen's treble today is in pair,
Yeah.
ENERGUMENE, and that.
And
No
that.
way.
Has he actually trebled it up as well?
Johnny,
he's all over it,
Good
yeah.
time Johnny's gone with that. Luke Dempsey got the right foot, Willie Mullins, and it's holding on to 4-1 at the moment. Alexia Denuts, I think, will go well in that for Team Tizard, even though I can't really see it.
Yeah, and it's another one it's a cavalry charge. I've got two. I've got Dino Blue, and I've got, I mean, it could be too good to be true with the Skelton team, but third time lucky. Lucky's a strong traveller. Last time he was really good under Keelan Woods, wasn't he? He's won twice at the track. It is just the closing stages that you do think, oh, crikey, will he get there? But he is well handicapped.
Okay.
And that is important, isn't it?
Bumper, Robbie Wilders.
I think, yeah, I was kind of annoyed that Patrick was riding him because the price has sort of gone, but I think Factor 5 can reverse form with
the stiffer finish.
He's actually joined, yeah, exactly. He's already won over 2.5 miles. It's all stamina, soft ground. It's going to be more of a slog here.
He wears the first cap as well, doesn't he?
Quite slowly run at Leopardstown. That's going to have suited a Dream to Share. He's by Muhara. He's all flat pedigree. I think Factor 5's a pretty good chance of winning.
I think that is the form race. I'm a humongous Dream to Share fan. 18-year-old Johnny Gleeson, bidding to do a Niles Slippers Madden and win the big race on his first ride at the track.
Wow.
Who is it? Who do you fancy?
Dream to
Oh,
Share.
Dream to Share, yeah.
I am. The one thing I was worried about was when it started pouring down last week, because a lot of it's all good ground form, but I think it was about 6-1 after that, and the Mullins horse, it's for me, wasn't it? It was fab, but I like him a great deal. I can pass on a couple of messages. I know Rich Ritchie thinks it's his best horse going forward.
Really?
Chapeau de Soleil, sorry. Yeah, they loved him, and he had a physical problem, but Richie's backed him apparently for this a while back. That's why he's running in this. But he's a very, very nice horse. And Encanto Bruno, I think that form has been overlooked for John McConnell. Do you like anything?
Fun.
Okay,
The mare.
Yeah, the mare.
Simon Manure and Isaac Simon
Manure?
Manure.
Well, he does support Arsenal.
Swede. I find those names very, very hard
Swede.
to pronounce. Swede.
Do you like one in the bumper, Bruce?
Same as Nat. Fun. Absolutely not my eye out
Martline,
last time.
lovely breeding.
Did it?
Yeah.
What a win that was. That was so powerful. I loved that. I thought it was a brilliant.
Darryl takes
and wouldn't
the
it be
ride.
nice for Darryl Jacob, because he's had to sit and watch the other
And
double greens and
he
been
is
really
I
nice.
have seen
Yeah, it
how
would
much
be.
he cheers them on. Oh, I love him.
You
He's
got
such
third on Bron.
He's a nice guy, isn't he, Darryl?
such a team player, and she was a bit keen last time, but still she was impressive.
Okay.
Really eye-catching.
They are the tips for the rest of the day then, and we bid you farewell after this coming up. It is the cross-country chase. Who remembers 12 months ago? Oh, we thought it would be Tiger. He drifted all the way out in the bedding, didn't he? And he still ran the race that we hoped for, to get nutted by Delta Work.
Some of us were on Delta Work. And,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
So the rain poured, didn't it,
We
Bruce?
were.
Go back 12 months, and everyone, and the negative vibes, and who shot Bambi's mother and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah, they were like first time around the track, but it was great, wasn't it, last year?
yeah, so he's 6-5 favourite at the moment on the track. Galvin is, he's a Gold Cup sort of last year, wasn't it? He's 3-1. He's the pick for me. But a reminder, after we go off air at 6:30 every single night, we know you've been loving it. Roscoe Briley will be coming back. Keith Melrose will be joining him in the studio tonight as well, with Tom Siegel as well, and have some fun with that. The numbers on that have been outstanding. They'll be previewing Stayers Hurdle Day, Ryanair Day. What is it? Shishkin Day? I don't know. Let us know and stick on board for that. They'll be with you then. All right, what wins this? Robbie Wilders.
I don't know. I keep changing my mind. It's not one to have a bet in for me. I think the way the ground is probably going to suit Delta Work more. Galvin's the best horse. We don't know how he's going to take to the discipline. A lot of money around Franco Laporte. He's quite interesting, but yeah, it's just wishy-washy really. It's a different race to what it used to be because you've basically got horses. It's basically like a watered-down Gold Cup now, isn't it? With the top three, it's given these horses a lifeline to win a festival race when they probably would have been finishing 6th or 7th in a Gold Cup. So yeah, I think it's just going to be between the first three. And if a gun was to my head, it's not, thankfully. I'd probably say Galvin. For no real reason other than he's the best horse in the race. And Davy Russell is riding, which is kind of interesting, I think.
You do have some reasons. I'm with Galvin because Galvin, 3 things, fresh horse, fresh legs. That's really important. And sometimes you've got to go with the vibes. And apparently he's schooling amazingly at home.
He was the talk of the preview circuit.
You're going to have to listen to that a wee bit.
He's been over quite a few times.
You're going to have to listen to it a bit, aren't you? I mean,
having an away trip and all that sort of thing.
I've always
Maybe I'll have a play then, will I? Oh, why not?
The debate about that you were having earlier about should this be a handicap? Of course, it should be a handicap. For God's sake, this is a fun race. You're not trying to establish cross-country racing as some new form of racing. So make it 8-10 to 1 the field. Have a bit of fun with it. And make it like the Beecher Chase or something, so people can get involved and have a few exotics. It's ridiculous that, it's just stupid that we're coming into a fun race like this and we've got 6-4 and 3-1 and 10-1 bar 3. Just absolute nonsense.
It is potentially going to destroy
all the rest of the week. Exactly. Like, this is one race which, and you are squeezing out.
Why did they stop it from becoming?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to remember.
What's the point of trying to up the quality of the cross country? It's a spectacle. As long as they've all got 4 legs and they'll gallop, then that's all you need.
And fun, and it's a different thing for the horses, and we all love it. And I think they are ruining it the way it is.
It's a reverse now of the campaign there, isn't it? Because of course we didn't see the cross country until January, I don't think, did we, or something like that, or whatever.
No,
it was.
because the ground was so
all the build.
But some of our wonderful trainers wouldn't have these graded horses. What a 6 in a Gold Cup? I mean, flipping out.
Exactly.
It's been a lifetime trying to get a horse 6 in a Gold Cup.
You shouldn't be providing prizes for the horses that aren't quite good enough to win.
Well, lots been said about that. Of course, the pivotal of that argument would be Honeysuckle, wouldn't it? And the Champion Hurdle, of course.
Well,
you know, we're giving an opportunity to run in
but
the mares race.
I'm all for other races. I think the mares race proved it was a good.
I agree.
But I'm just saying, in this particular instance, it's just stupid. Make it a handicap.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
Do you think it would put Delta Work and Galvin off from running?
No.
No. If it was a handicap, they would not be running.
Wouldn't they?
You don't think so?
No. They might.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
I mean, just it's a symptom of the race change. Like, I mean, a few years ago they wouldn't be running this, would they?
Okay, but I'm not excited by the fact that Galvin is running.
I'm on your team, mate. Like the races in the build-up to this are all handicaps. Like Delta Work had to give loads of weight away to the sort of back on the lashes and that. Why isn't he doing that now?
Last year's Gold Cup.
It'd be so much more
here
fun
he is running in this.
if it was back to a handicap. It'd be so much more fun. We could really get behind it. We could see our little plots. We could follow it through, and then we get to the race and we don't have this real excitement. Whereas I'm a bit the same. I just feel a little bit flat about it. I'm like, well, Galvin's a really phenomenal horse. Delta Work is. Franco Laporte is a phenomenal horse, but the rest of it's a bit like...
It used to start with a conditions race, this sphere, if you like, at Cheltenham, and then it was handicaps all the way. They've now just reversed it, basically.
It's silly because this is a dull betting race, this, isn't it? It's really dull betting.
Do you remember when Robbie said it's his favourite race of the week as a spectacle because he used to go with his family and go in the middle? Everyone makes their way over. And how many times do you go over the cheese wedge?
I was trying to commentate on it, and he's going, oh, the next one's the cheese wedges. Oh, no, the next one. He's said it about 10 times. Oh, where's the bloody cheese wedges, G-Rock?
And it's fun for us because
Here come the cheese wedges.
It's like a hint of our toy, you know. It's like it's something different.
I love cross-country racing. It's great. It's a brilliant spectacle. It's great fun. If you're new to racing, you think, wow, that's mad. Look at that crazy sort of double bump thing and all that.
Please just bring it back to a handicap.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, the top
surely
boys
they'll
still don't want to
they'll have a
run
think about that, surely.
Well, we always, on Monday, in Monday's Racing Post, we always do how you can make Cheltenham better.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that should be on there.
It's going to be up there. All right, okay. Looking at some of the jockeys that run this, of course, I mean, Richard Johnson back on Balthazar King. That was a good day.
Oh, Balthazar King. See, he was loved, wasn't he, in this film?
Nina Carberry used to
remember when he had that injury and he had all
ribs
those get well soon cards, thousands of them.
All of his practice ribs and everything, and he's
Cause of Causes won it. Do you remember him? Like, very good horse. So Gordon Elliott has won 4 of the last 6. Well, I suppose you could say,
What does anyone think about gin on lime? Any love for gin on lime?
Strange one. I don't know.
Weird weird that she's running here for sure.
Bit weird.
I think there is scope.
National entry.
It's good to see Rachel in this race, by the way.
There's scope for a big price place tours because I don't get
Dacia Abba.
I don't get this Franco Deport. Why he's so short? I mean, the fact it's Willie Mullins means that it's one of those ones that if
apparently the Sid Hosey crew have backed Lieutenant Rocco. He was 125s yesterday. Sid Hosey, of course.
I backed him for the Potem. So
Nick Schofield's on. Second time off a Windop came good. He used to be a very talented horse.
It's quite interesting. Yeah, I thought he had a chance.
If you wanted one at a massive price, that would probably be it. Plan of Attack, who's got some good form in these sort of races. He's Henry's other runner. Let's get some socials up there for the final race of the day, and then on the second race. Snow Leopardess, another lovely animal, Snow Leopardess, isn't it? Did she run in this sphere once?
Oh, she's so gorgeous. Did you see the video of Aidan schooling around? I think it was the beginning of the week or the weekend. And she really looked like she
sort of came back to herself, didn't she, in January when she looked more happy again. Then she ran really well at Haydock.
Doesn't she as well? I think she's quite sassy.
One of the highlights of this show's entirety was when she won the Beecher. That was an absolutely amazing.
Well, that jumping spectacle. So we get that with her. We had it that day, jumping spectacle. We've had it with Galopin de Champs. We had it at Carlisle with Lost in Translation. We get the odd jumping spectacle.
Yeah, he was brilliant that day,
and
wasn't he?
that was one of them. And it's
so
really
the gambles in this race would be, Delta's kind of held his form whatsoever. If Galvin wasn't in the race, we're looking at an odds-on shot, wasn't it? So you can look at Galvin, and if you don't fancy Galvin, you should really be thinking that 6-5 about Delta's a price. And Franco Deport is the interesting one. Now, Willie Mullins, the last 10 years, is not a race you associate Willie with this at all, or Banks. Although Uncle Junior, I suppose, would be the one, Robbie, wouldn't it? Who you mentioned earlier.
Old friend.
He's had three places in this race from 12 runners. It probably would have been Uncle Junior, who used to win over the Banks and all that sort of stuff. But Franco Deport is a Grade 1 novice chase winner. He's only an 8-year-old, which is a young boy
in graded races.
And this will be a hell of a lot easier for him. And he's got Patrick on him, and he's backed into 9-2 overnight.
You get it, yeah.
Are we putting a bet on?
What do you reckon to that social shout? Easy's Land.
No.
All the judges have been trying to get Easy's Land back. Like Tom, I think
I tried to get him back
certainly
last time,
Tom or Keels tipped him a massive price.
Mark Orosky came on this
show. And there was a race in which he was going really, really well, but then he blew out.
It was 100 to 1.
I can't.
Yeah, there was Mark Orosky came on and put him up at a mental price, and I was like, he's gone, hasn't he?
I didn't know when at Haydock he was bonkers in the preliminaries. Bonkers. I was like, whoa! I didn't know it was absolutely. I lost the plot when I saw it at Haydock. I didn't know it was like that.
It did look earlier on. It was like, it's gunpowder treason plot, isn't it? If they're trying to plot something into this.
Do you remember when he won this? He
absolutely
annihilated Tiger Roll. It's incredible, wasn't it?
I can't recall such a big demise. Like if he was with any other top owner, he'd been sold by now, wouldn't he? But JP O'Malley just doesn't sell his horses.
And the quote in the members club from John Doe is, "You better ask him."
Right, yeah.
Because he's that sort
I mean,
of
look,
character.
I suppose M1 there saying 50 to 1's a massive price if he's on his way back. The fact that, if you've still got the memory of his victory over Tiger Roll in your head, have a quid on, because if you didn't, you'd kick yourself.
And he looks lovely there, doesn't he, going past? He looks absolutely...
And he's only 10.
Yeah, which is sprightly in this division. Who else we got there then? Dan Allspark comes on and says, nap of the day.
What a
Franco. All right, so you're with Deport.
Well, I think Franco is going to be one of those horses that I really don't fancy, and I think it's a ridiculous price, but just will win. And I'll be like, well, look, the market knows more about it than me. You just accept sometimes you've got one wrong, don't you?
And he's a Grade 1 winner. So,
what was that? What did he win?
He was a novice winner. I can't remember what it was. Was it a Trimmore or something
I've got
like that?
I was just looking at it.
Yeah, and here's the best of them all. Tiernan Murray finishes us off in Social Corner today by saying, it's time for Delta to go to work, baby.
Love that.
I don't know why I looked you in the eyes there, Rob, when I said that.
It was the Leopardstown novice Chase Franco Deport one.
Which one?
Grade 1.
Who did he beat?
The Racing Post novice chase Grade 1. He beat Darva Star.
Who flopped in that then?
Daisy was Felix was the favourite.
Felix de G, it wasn't a very strong
But then,
division.
actually, to be fair, I can see with Franco, because then, second in the Grade 1 at Leopardstown, okay, then he flopped, but then he was second in a Grade 1 at Fairy House, then he fell. But he's in graded races, he's been sort of in the top 3-4, really, hasn't he? So it's pretty consistent, I suppose.
Okay.
I'd be very surprised if the front two doesn't win. I've actually bet in the most boring defensive way possible here. I've backed Delta Work and I've done the forecast Galvin to beat me. So I'm basically...
To save your stake.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know...
Thinking about the first two.
I can still actually end up winning money here. I'm desperately looking through the Racing Post for a course map, because otherwise my commentary is going to be hopeless. But I don't think we do one.
I mean, does anyone do a map?
So you're Galvin, I'm Galvin.
I'm Galvin. I'm just, of course, 2-3 weeks ago when we thought it was going to be slightly drier. Why not? Why wouldn't we? I thought, yes, this is going to be Delta Work getting gubbed by what happened to him last year, you know.
Let's look at festival form quickly, Dave, because as we've always said, that's a real big deal. Delta Work 2 wins here, 1 cross country, 1 Pertemps.
Yep.
3rd also in the Brown Advisory and 5th in the Gold Cup. So that's a great body of work.
This is a great feature, this, Bruce. A lot of people don't know about this.
Diesel Dallier, 4th in the cross country twice. So if you think about that for a big price, you could be in. Easy's Land, 1st in the cross country, 2nd in the cross country, pulled up in the cross country. What else have we got of any note? Galvin has been 1st in the what was then the 4 miler, I think, still in. No, it's probably the first time that it became the 3 mile 6. 2nd in the novice handicap chase they don't have on the Tuesday anymore, and 6th in a Gold Cup. And also 4th in a Gold Cup. So 4th in a Gold Cup. Sorry, what am I talking about? And Plan of Attack was 4th in the Kim Muir and 3rd in the cross country, so that's quite interesting. And Snow Leopardess was 4th in the National Hunt Chase. So Plan of Attack's got a bit of course form.
Yes, he has. He really fancied a Kim Muir, I seem to remember when he ran that.
What sort of price is he?
I thought that Dacia Abba might be. I mean,
it's just if it's a handicap, you'd really like Dacia Abba.
Yeah.
But
horses do run above their ratings in this race. We've seen it before quite a few times.
You just have to do that an awful lot above.
Who was the Tom Scooter one, Marcus? Kingswell Theatre used to run above his rating this all the time.
It's just killed the race, though, because you're asking Dacia Abba to beat
One quick social. Martin Lewis comes back on with some advice. All the right money coming for Delta, says Martin. Quite right.
Puns out.
See you on the One Show tonight, Martin. Marvellous. There's a lot of love for this race actually coming through in the chat as well, I can see. All right, good stuff. Well, look, the flag is up, Bruce. Good luck with this.
Here we go.
We've saved the most difficult one to last. You've been sterling so far.
Hang on.
There's a run and they're off.
Here we go. So, taking... hang on a sec. Have I got the right
Snow
race?
Leopardess is where we want it to be.
There we go.
She does like to be prominent.
Is that her coming steaming through to take it
It's
up?
the Rocco.
That's nice.
It's the
Lieutenant.
Yes, it
it's
is.
the whitest face you'll ever see.
Lieutenant Rocco with the white face and Snow Leopardess with the white body. And then between them is Frankie de Burlay. On the inside, very prominent, is Coupe de Pinceau. Where are the big guns at this
Galvin's
stage?
in a great position.
Oh, who's gone?
Gin Lime's
gone.
Rachel
Blackmore. Oh, no, that's no good, is it? Who's the Trev? These are Abbey, isn't it? And then on the outside, Galvin's okay. Delta Works all right. He's settled in nicely in about 5th under Keith Donoghue. So
Patrick Mullins has got Franco de Port right at the back. He's been doing that a couple of times this week, and holding up his horses quite a lot.
Upside easy.
Delta Work was scratchy at that actually at last fancy.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Galvin flew it.
The riderless is still going. That
over the entry fence.
The bigger test for Galvin could come over those awkward kind of weird
humps.
Yeah, exactly, humps as well. I was looking for.
Yeah.
Just it's really hard to know where you want to be positioned in this race, isn't it?
Yeah, because it changes a lot, doesn't it? Very changeable kind of race, isn't it? I don't know how I literally don't know how they find their way around this course, because once you jump up a fence, you're just met with this kind of array of obstacles in various directions.
I think Aidan Coleman's having a lot of fun though. I mean, she's enjoying it, this Snow Leopardess, because I think she really does come into your hands. I mean, when she wings one,
the loose horse is going nuts.
Yeah,
they're going hard as well, aren't they?
Dear.
Oh, what happened there?
She tried to jump the railings
and fell.
It should be okay.
Well, yeah. Right, yeah, so Snow Leopardess and Lieutenant Rocco are battling it out. They're about 3 lengths clear on the outside of Coup de Pinceau. So both the Sid Hosies are right up there.
Oh,
whoa, who's that almost coming off? It's Foxy
Ricky
Jack.
Doyle, good sit.
What a sit.
I don't know
how he got himself in trouble
Ricky
there.
Doyle.
Blimey, good
Good
run.
lads, that's a
Well
bit of
played,
hunting
Ricky
practice.
Doyle. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Going all right in
Feel like
mid-division
that's
is
his
Mortal, another Gordon Elliott runner.
Well, Brian Cook not happy with Rachel there. I think she jumped off. I don't think that was quite the case, Brian. Watch it back. She
doesn't work
whacked
like
the
that.
fence.
You gravity guys, you can't. You sit on these things.
Right out the back is Easy's land, so I'm afraid. I mean,
He's just not interested, is he?
Not at all.
No, I don't think he's going to finish. He could be 40 lengths behind Snow Leopardess, who's really enjoying herself.
This is
what she did in the
Pings over
beacher
that
when she
hedge.
won.
Galvin's looking good though, guys.
Yeah, Galvin and Delta are both nicely up there. Where's Franco?
Franco's moving up a little bit
sitting
now.
cool,
too.
isn't
that
he?
him
Cool
in
as a
about ninth?
cucumber.
He's moving up a bit.
It's about ninth.
I
isn't he?
want
Yeah.
to jump round this race. It looks the most fun.
It does look good. I'd just be worried about getting lost.
I'll just follow. I'll just stay behind.
No one's.
Don't
I
leave.
can't recall anyone ever taking the wrong course.
Oh,
as far
come
as
off. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh,
In the early days of this,
It
it was
used to be
absolute wacky
carnage.
races. It was
Andrew Thornton was
ridiculous.
up before the beat.
Wow,
Yeah, but, you know,
Honestly,
Over they go,
you were a
over the
kid
back.
then.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, when this started, it was about
really?
evens, not to
All
have
over?
complete
Yeah,
mayhem,
yeah.
wasn't it?
David Russell led him a mirror dance one time, didn't
We
he?
haven't had mayhem for
Where's
ages.
back on the lash?
Snow Leopardess is
Midfield.
really loving it as she
Some
jumps
jumper.
a normal-looking jump
yeah.
there. Yeah, they're all going quite nicely. I don't know if there's any market moves. Dave, you kept your eye on the in-running
Well,
market
it's
there?
just Delta at the moment, just very solid, still just around about even money. And Gal, yeah, it's just there as you are. Franco's gone out a little bit just simply because he's got so far back. And Snow Leopardess, you can still back her at 10-1 if you want.
As they're going over some sort of humpy thing with a
Quite
hedge in the
little
middle
that
of
though, so
it.
you can catch them out. It's not
They're
very
the,
big.
yeah, they're the kind of sort of parts of the race where you think these like Franco and Galvin might be caught out, but they both seem absolutely fine.
Yeah, they just don't panic, do they, at all?
So Snow Leopardess and Aidan Coleman, 5 lengths clear now from Lieutenant Rocco, and then we've got Delta Work, the favourite. On the inside is the other Sid Hosey
Easy's
runner,
lamp pulling up.
Kudapan. So in 5th, we've
Back on
got
the lash
the
is pulled up.
Frankie de Burley. Back on the lash pulled up, you're saying?
I think is he there? I can't see him.
So a bad minute,
say
a bad few
background.
seconds for drink-related horses there. Back on the lash and Gin Online both pulling up.
Nice.
A reminder of who everyone went for then. A lot of Galvins there. Just Bruce going for the Fav Delta Work. It worked with ENERGUMENE.
Yeah, Delta Work, fine.
Yeah. Snow Leopardess as she jumps on some sort of mound there.
Wow,
going very
Delta
well.
Work over that bank was incredible. Like, bat me on ice. It was
I literally haven't got a clue how far they got.
I was just
What
about
do
to
you
say,
reckon,
let's have a
halfway?
spread on how many fences we've got left.
Well, no, 2 miles gone there.
Under or
Is-
over?
I
Under
don't know.
10?
I just wouldn't know. I'm just basically once I see a winning post, I'll start talking more quickly. But until then, I haven't got a clue what's going on. I can tell you the order, and the order is Snow Leopardess from Lieutenant Rocco, and then about 3 lengths back to Delta Work. On the inside, going quite nicely, is Frankie de Burley. Galvin's keeping a close eye on them. Cuda Pinso's going well enough. On the outside, we've got Plan of Attack going nicely. If you've backed the Franco de Port Gamble, you're not doing too badly. But we finally lost now.
Who was that?
Foxy Jacks tried to get rid of Ricky
He's a right
Doyle
character,
before,
old Foxy.
and he's finally gone there, unfortunately. Who else is close up? What's that thing there? Hardline, I think that's going quite well, yeah. So there's a clutch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 10 horses that are in what you might call the front rank. They're
Big
not
drop on that
particularly
one,
tightly
no offence.
packed, but yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Franco de Burley stay here. You know, he's a really strong stayer, Roddy Owen's horse,
Yeah.
for Peter Bowen.
And where's Franco de Port? Is
Coming now.
Oh, that's him with the yellow
He's up
star
size
on his
Galvin
cap,
now.
isn't he? Yeah. Right, okay. So it's starting to get a bit serious now. We've had 2.5 miles of the 3-mile, 6-furlong trip. So that leaves 10 furlongs, and Snow Leopardess, beautiful mare, Snow Leopardess, is galloping on nicely. They're coming past the stands. They've got another little sort of circuit thing to go before they come back and finish. And let's have a look. I think they're all going perfectly well, basically. The big 3
Yeah,
are
it
in the
should
front
just start
6,
to
aren't
creep,
they?
shouldn't they?
He's
Now that,
sweaty,
like you say, the
Galvin,
big
isn't
3. Yes, Galvin is sweaty. He's got
Franco's
plenty of sweat
got
on
that
his neck, but I
wrong.
still think he looks like he's going well. Delta Work
Well, he is going well.
is going very well, isn't
Cuda
he?
Yeah.
Panso not going brilliantly. Mortal is stalking the
Delta's
leaders.
gone odds on, guys.
Well, Delta's
Yeah.
he pecked there, but he's...
I don't know why though. I mean, Galvin's still perfectly close.
I guess because he's just gone one place ahead of him, isn't it? When we got
Yeah,
that
but I mean,
long
it's
to
not
go.
much in it.
One
is
circuit
there?
left.
They're all going very nicely. So we've got a mile to go, and it is still the 2 horses with the dark jackets duking it out up front. That's Snow Leopardess and Lieutenant Rocco. Delta Work happy to sit in behind those. Frankie de Burley going well. Franco de Port just been rousted a little bit now for the first time. Galvin is very close as well. These 6 have broken away from Mortal and Cuda Panso, and going wide there is Plan of Attack, and the other one that's still going is back Is that back on the lash?
No, it's Mortal.
No, it's not. It's not Mortal. It's
Is it?
No, or is it the Trev? These are. I can't tell. Right then, so Delta now get much closer on the outside as Snow Leopardess drops right away as they go over the entry fence. And so Frankie de Burley has taken it up from Delta Work. The arms are waggling on Lieutenant Rocco. Galvin's very close. Gordon will be absolutely delighted watching this. He really, really well. So Frankie de Burley leads from Delta Work, from Lieutenant Rocco, from Galvin. Franco de Port is trying to close in 5th, but is having to be hurried along to do so, and he's got Loose Horse in front of it. Delta Work has this race in control, but Galvin and Davy Russell are keeping a close eye as we turn in.
Do you know what, David, look how relaxed the reins are on Galvin, because he's just letting him...
Oh, they all jumped towards their left there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think Franco de Port is going to have a devil's own job to beat there. Delta Work, he looks round on there, and all he sees is Galvin. It's going to be the front two of the market.
I think Davey
I've got to slug this
Come on,
one out.
Davey, baby.
Galvin and Delta Work as they straighten up with 1 to jump. Galvin and Delta Work. Frankie de Burley and Franco de Port are battling it out for 4th. They've got one little hedge to get through. Just about Delta, but here comes Galvin. He hasn't really asked Delta yet.
Galvin.
It's so close as they jump the last. Galvin just about takes it up. It's Galvin. Delta Work fighting. Got him. Delta Work's going to get this. Delta Work comes back and wins it for the 2nd successive year. He's opened up by 2 lengths. Delta Work wins it. Galvin is 2nd. We're going to have to wait a while to see who finishes 3rd. It is going to be, they are a distance behind the front 2, and it's Franco de Port. 4th place goes to Lieutenant Rocco. 5th could be Mortal. But the market said it was going to be between the Gordon Elliott horses, and so it proved.
And it was. The top
Frankie
3.
de Burley fell out the last there, guys.
The top 3.
Wow. Well, there you go then. That was the cross country, and I mean, you eloquently put in the order. We didn't have a clue where we were. We saw some banks, we saw some cheese wedges, we saw an entry fence, we saw a gate.
We saw some drops.
We saw some drops and some spills and some falls. But we have seen Delta Work, and a lot of people. I seem to remember DJ on an upping in the ante, I think around about December, was like, the nap of the week has got to be Delta Work. It was a silly price, I think. I can't remember what it was. You have to look back and reference that. People out there will know. But he's done it again, and it was a good spectacle. Let's hope people enjoyed it. So you enjoyed it. It's 11 to 10 favourite. Has gone away. So that's the first
Is it okay? I'm a bit sad, though, that David didn't win.
ENERGUMENE, sorry.
I wanted David Russell to win.
I think a lot of people were expecting that at one point. But Keith Donohoe, fair play, Mr. Cross Country does it. Right, that's the end of the action for day 2. The half-time whistle is about to be blown. It is here on Racing Post Live. 2 races after we go off air. It's the Grand Annual and the Bumper. Good luck with that. Good luck, Bruce Millington, for the rest of the week.
Thank you very much, Dave. Good luck with you. You sound like you're going down with the
No, it's the air conditioning here. Don't worry, I'll be fine.
I said that because he told me off. He goes, I'm just trying to worry.
Can't keep a good man down.
Please welcome to Dave Orton Airlines. We'd like to welcome you on this.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind owning an airline.
Don't forget to hand me the trophy on your way out, mate, as well.
Are you at the top, are you?
I'm afraid so, mate.
Robbie, well done. Oh, Bruce in 10, Natalie on 9, Dave on 6.
With Mission Control.
On the real whacker.
That's the second draw of me in Mission Control. The cretins
when I got
out there.
6 one day.
Well, hard luck, Bruce. You got pipped there by Wilders. There's not something that doesn't happen that often.
Well, can we give Robbie the trophy?
Yes, let's pass it to him, shall we?
Thanks very much indeed.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Make sure we wash it afterwards.
Well done, Rob.
It's been the Champions League in a few months, Chelsea.
There we go. All right. So it's been that highlight of the day in ENERGUMENE, I guess.
Yeah, very much so. Fantastic.
Impera pass.
Hope for the future, but yeah, it was good. Another great. Nothing was going to live up to yesterday, but it was a really, really good day's racing. Viva Cheltenham!
A lot of fun. All right then, we bid farewell to Robbie and Bruce. Tomorrow, Keith Melrose, the betting editor, joined by Ross Briley, back in the chair as well with myself and Natty along the way. This is RP Live. In the Know coming your way. Don't forget Good Morning Cheltenham tomorrow as well at 8:30. Enjoy the evening, guys.